Hello, everyone. I trust that everyone is doing well. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the channel. This story explores the possibility of Naruto being a genius born from the Uchiha and Senju trees. So, this is part 2 story. If you want to listen to the next one of this story, please complete 1000 likes on this channel. Now, without further delay, let's dive into the video. Lee gave a kick that dragged Naruto back. The spandex boy advanced and tried to hit Naruto, however he retreated. When Lee's fist retracted to throw another, Naruto took advantage and at high speed, sent a low kick with his left leg, making Lee bend a little, quickly. The Uchiha gave a low kick with his right leg, in a demonstration of skill. Naruto hit another kick in the ribs with the same leg to finish with a big kick in Lee's face. Everything had been with the same right leg like Yuji Itadori's triple kick in JJK. Lee stepped back clutching his face, suddenly lowering his guard. Naruto wasted no time and landed a left spinning kick, quickly ending with an uppercut that sent Lee flying a little into the air. However, he stabilized and landed on a statue with tiger seal shape. Lee was breathing heavily while Naruto didn't look that tired, he only had a few scratches. It's too good. Rock Lee thought, wiping the sweat from his chin with his fist, trying to regulate his breathing. Incredible, Naruto's attack is very varied. I can see the Uchiha interceptor's movements in it, but there were also counter-attack movements, boxing, even kickboxing like the one he just did. Guy thought, analyzing the Uchiha. Okay, keep it up, Naruto-kun, said Kiyomi. She no longer had to embarrass Naruto, she knew that he didn't like being yelled at in battle, although she didn't hear him. It's incredible, they both resist very well, and they are also very skilled. Everyone had their opinions, but everyone's thought stopped at Guy-sensei's shout. Lee. Take them off. Everyone was taken aback by this statement. But Guy-sensei, you said I could only take them off when I had to protect an ally from the blade or in special situations. This is an exception. Guy gave Lee a thumbs up along with a bright smile. Great. He sat on the statue and began to pull down his leg warmers, showing some kind of weights tied to his ankles. Weights huh? Said Kakashi. So he's going to take them off, said Sakura. PFFF, you really think that removing some weights will change things, said Temari. Kankuro laughed. Gaara only remained silent. Lee finally took off the weights, stood up holding the tools in his arms. Yosh, I feel much better now, said Lee. He dropped the weights, causing them to fall. The surprise factor acts. The weights colliding with the ground strongly broke the tiles, raising a large amount of dust. The weight was capable of making the sand tremble. The landscape around Lee was destroyed, and only because of his weights. Everyone in the stands had their eyes wide open, even those in the arena. Naruto below was swallowing a little saliva, he wasn't going to deny that he had been surprised. Wow, Guy, as always, Kakashi said, squinting through the dust. Guy had a big smile as he watched Lee, finally saying the words Lee needed. Go read. Yeah. Lee disappeared in a great blur of speed. Naruto was barely able to follow him, however a large blow landed on his face, sending him crawling on the ground. That must have hurt, Sasuke said, surprised. He had not been able to see Rock Lee move, only shinobi of Jonin rank could follow his movements. Naruto stood up, spitting out saliva with a little blood. Normal, when he hit me at that speed, the force was much greater, said Naruto looking at Lee. Get ready, Naruto-kun, the real battle begins. Lee disappeared in another blur. Naruto raised a block to his left, but he wasn't fast enough. The blow landed on his face, sending him dragging again. Damn this. Time he got up faster, Lee appeared behind him. Naruto crouched down in time to dodge a blow, but he was very surprised to see how he appeared crouched next to him, kicking him. The Uchiha. He crawled on the floor again. He got up and felt Lee appear behind him again. He tried to hit him, but the spandex boy disappeared in another blur and appeared in front of him, kicking him in the chin. Naruto shot forward with his back towards the ground. Lee appeared in front of him preparing an axe kick. Naruto put his arms in an X. Lee landed the kick with great force, sending Naruto crashing into the ground. The Uchiha's back collided with the ground, and it cracked slightly. Naruto didn't even have time to scream when he had to leave that place quickly, dodging another kick that cracked the ground even more. Lee didn't waste time, he got up, and in a quick movement he managed to land a strong punch on Naruto's stomach, who spit out blood. He was thrown back and fell heavily on the ground. Lee took his taijutsu stance with a determined look. And a smile. Wow, that's incredible. Sakura said. She had completely subdued Naruto, whom she considered the strongest of the genins. That's right. Not being able to use ninjutsu or genjutsu, we have focused all his time, strength and determination on taijutsu. Lee has the potential to be the greatest taijutsu specialist in the entire world. Said. I with pride. Wow, Kakashi, it seems like your genin is lost, Asuma said mockingly. No, I don't think so, Naruto hasn't shown what he's capable of doing yet. There please, that's what Guy said before. Asuma said. Maybe, but believe me, Naruto is someone who can cause problems for most of the jonins in the village, even me, said Kakashi, surprising Asuma. I don't think so, that can't be possible. Although the boy promised not to use the ninjutsu or jinjutsu he possesses, I don't think he can continue with taijutsu. The boy has already proven to be superior sensei. Just watch. Shikamaru said that Uchiha is more troublesome than he thinks. Naruto got up. Wow, Lee, you're really great, Naruto said, wiping away some blood. Yes, but you'd better give up. I don't think you can match my speed. Lee allowed himself to be somewhat arrogant. In fact, he thought of throwing a low blow. Admitted, you won't be able to beat me without the help of your eyes. Magical ooh, that was low, Sasuke said. HMPH, Kiyomi groaned. Ha 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 ha, everyone heard Menma's laughter. Wow, Lee, it seems like you're getting carried away, but there's a reason why I don't cheat, and that's because I always have something up my sleeve. Naruto performed half a ram seal. Everyone raised an eyebrow except the team. 7. Gravity seal, resistant seals. Kai the Uchiha whispered those words. Naruto's body began to glow slightly and then returned to normal. Well, I hope you're ready. Naruto disappeared in a blur of speed. Everyone in the stands, even Minato who was watching the fighting, opened their eyes. Lee looked back but there was no one. He looked up, to the sides, he couldn't see anything, he only heard Naruto's steps, which were very fast. Lee received a powerful blow to his chin and was thrown upwards. The Jonins were able to follow Naruto's path. They watched as he disappeared and appeared on the wall. He disappeared in another blur and appeared above Lee. Naruto gave a strong blow to Lee's stomach. Read that he fell hard to the ground. I told you, Asuma, Kakashi said mockingly. Asuma grumbled. Naruto landed in a corner of the arena while Lee stood up. Why, you're great, Naruto-kun, just as I expected from my eternal rival. Lee shouted with tears of emotion. Sure read, eternal rivals. Naruto felt chills. Okay, let's continue. Lee said, disappearing in a blur followed by Naruto. The frenetic taijutsu battle was not long in coming. In the view of the Genins, Naruto and Lee were nothing more than blurs that appeared and disappeared. In the view of the Jonins, the speed was similar to what they drove, Kiyomi and Sasuke. They could easily follow them thanks to their active Sharingan. The only one of the Genins who could see a little more was Neji and Mito. Naruto and Lee disappeared and appeared on the wall. They continued exchanging blows. They disappeared again and appeared on the ceiling. Everyone watched the battle fascinated. It was really addictive. Disappearance again. Where are they? Sakura asked. Look over there, said Kiyomi, pointing to the corner of the battlefield. There were Naruto and Lee exchanging blows. Lee and Naruto appeared in the center of the battlefield. The two gave each other a big blow that sent them backwards. They came together again. Lee gave combos of blows that Naruto dodged. The Uchiha counterattacked with another combo of blows that he eyebrows blocked. Finally the two separated. Naruto had scratches and some bruises and was breathing a little hard, while Lee had scratches and bruises a little heavier and was also breathing very hard. He was not a Senju. He did not have as much physical resistance. A great disadvantage in hand-to-hand combat. Read attack on Naruto. Konoha Senpu. He tried the kick, but Naruto elbowed his leg, making it hurt too much. Naruto gave a left kick to Lee's chin, followed by a quick right in the same place. The Uchiha gave a small jump, turned and landed a big direct kick to the stomach of the ninja with big eyebrows, sending him crashing hard against the wall. Lee was breathing badly. He was starting to get tired more than he should. Reed, give up now. If I continue hitting pressure points hard, I'm afraid I'll hurt you more than I want. So that's what his taijutsu is about. No wonder Lee looks more agitated and in pain, Neji thought. What are these pressure points? Ino asked. Well, basically they are points on the body that, if manipulated in some way, can cause great pain or even other effects, such as dizziness or even burning. Naruto hits them hard. Apparently he knows very well where they are and reads when receiving such damage. He is experiencing more pain than normal. Right now Lee's body must feel very sore and tired, with possible dizziness. Kakashi explained. Wow, that's deadly, said Ino. I'm not going to give up, Lee said, coming out of his hole. Naruto remained silent. I'm sorry, Guy-sensei, but I've gone too far. I want to continue, so I have no choice. Lee began to unwrap the bandages on her arms. Sakura opened her eyes knowing what she was going to do. He's going to do that thing he hurt the sound guy a lot with, he thought. Lee ran at high speed towards Naruto and began to circle around him. What are you going to do, Lee? Naruto thought cautiously. He didn't have his Sharingan active, so he couldn't predict from one moment to the next. Naruto was hit on his chin, sending him upwards. Lee appeared behind him, touching his back. Leaf Shadow Concealment Jutsu. What are you planning to do? Wait a moment, or not. Lee's bandages wrapped around Naruto, causing him to be trapped. Amit Renge. Lee and Naruto began to spin as they descended. Naruto and Lee collided with the ground, generating a large explosion. Lee appeared spinning in the air and landed in a crouch. Oh, Naruto, Sasuke said. Do you think he's okay? Kiyomi asked worriedly. I don't know, that attack looked devastating, he said. Guy, maybe you, said Kakashi, looking seriously at Guy. What did you want me to do? He can't use ninjutsu or jinjutsu. He had to exploit it in the best way, Plus he learned them safely, that doesn't stop him from being a dangerous guy, Kakashi said seriously. Lee was breathing very heavily, I hope that was all Lee said. Ouch was heard from the crater. That hurt me. Said Naruto. He was spinning on the ground, his muscles hurt like hell, and he used chakra to reinforce them. The Uchiha stood up trembling, however he managed it. I'm not going to fall for that, Lee. I know that movement, it's the primary lotus, to achieve it you have to open the first internal door, right? What are the inner doors? Said Sakura. The 8 inner gates are specific points in a person's chakra circulatory system, which limit their overall chakra flow. Although the entrances make the ninja weaker in battle, they limit the body's functions by preventing it from expiring before time. By opening these doors the user has the ability to exceed their own physical limits at the cost of extreme damage to their physical body. Kakashi explained. Everyone was surprised at that. Lee Naruto spoke with a serious voice. Give up, the internal doors are a dangerous resource, it's not worth using them, no. I promised myself that I would not back down. Ever. I worked hard for this, I will never back down, not as long as my motivation remains standing, as long as the flames of my determination remain active, Rock Lee, will not give up and will keep going. That's my Nindo. Lee placed his arms in an X shape. Lee, don't do it. Naruto shouted. Too late, I will win this battle. Said Lee. Kaiman, Kai. Second door, door of rest, open. Seiman, Kai. Third door, door of life, open. Lee's body was surrounded by a green chakra aura, his body began to turn an eye color due to how fast his veins were pumping, which began to stand out, the rocks around him trembled and began to levitate slightly. Shoman, Kai. Fourth gate. Gate of pain, open. A burst of chakra escaped from Lee, the aura around him intensified, his hair stood on end and his pupils disappeared. Toman, Kai. Fifth door. Closing door open. Another explosion of chakra, apparently Lee left his position. Oh no, Kiyomi was worried, this was too much for a normal gen in battle. If Lee hit Naruto like that, he might not tell 5 doors. Guy. Kakashi caught the attention of Guy, who looked serious. If you're willing to give it your all, I won't stop you, my little ward. Guy thought. Now what will Naruto do? Sakura said. Naruto looked at Lee in that state, he did nothing but smile. Is that idiot crazy? Sakura shouted. Wow Lee, you're impressive, but I'm sorry, I can't lose this battle, normally I would use other things, but I promised only to jutsu, so I have no choice, said Naruto placing his arms in X. Kaiman, Seiman, Shoman, Toman, Kai. Naruto exploded in chakra, a silver aura with hints of blue, the pupils of his eyes disappeared, his skin was a reddish color somewhat paler than Lee's, and his veins stood out, just a little less. What? Kakashi shouted. Wait, you didn't know your student knew how to do that? Kurenai asked. No. Kiyomi, Sasuke, did you know? The two Uchihas denied. He never told me about that. Said Kiyomi. Lee looked at Naruto in surprise. It seems Hade is too shocked to stop the battle. How about we finish this? Read. Naruto's pupils had also disappeared, his high-necked shirt was tearing, it was not made to withstand such pressure. We'll see who wins this, said Naruto taking a position. Lee also took his battle position, the internal doors were fed by the resistance of your muscles, victory will be for whoever finishes the other first, or whoever resists the most. Lee and Naruto disappeared, Kakashi had to uncover his Sharingan to even follow them a little, the speed they used was such that strong gusts of air were released from each of their movements, the pressure generated by the two was so great that some genins were shocked. They were kneeling, both emitting great heat. Lee and Naruto appeared and disappeared exchanging blows, large waves of shocks came out of their fists, Lee gave a big blow to Naruto who was thrown away, at a great speed Lee appeared behind him, giving other blows, Naruto flew away again, the process was repeated. I only have that move left to win, if he can open up to the 5th door, it means he also knows how to do it, I must do it first, I will win this battle. Lee thought, he tried to hit Naruto again, but this time Naruto turned and landed a kick that sent Lee flying. Naruto performed the same combos as Lee. They were almost invisible and too fast. The two were beginning to feel the consequences of opening the doors. We have to finish it now. The two thought. The two began to concentrate blows, the difference was that Naruto could block some. This can't continue like this, we will be in a tie, and therefore we will be disqualified, thought Naruto. He had to have a small opening, that alone was enough to execute his movement, however, he had to take care that it didn't give an opening for him to read either. I would take advantage of it. It was at that moment that Lee grunted, his muscles tore a little, generating a current of pain throughout his body. Naruto took advantage, and ignoring the pain he felt, he hit Lee with an ascending fist. He appeared behind the boy with large eyebrows, and he delivered another strong blow. Naruto did not let Lee breathe, as he sent him from one side to the other without stopping. The finish, Naruto grabbed a loose bandage from Lee, it stretched causing him to separate momentarily from Naruto, however he grabbed the bandage tightly and pulled it, making Lee return to him at high speed. Naruto prepared a kick and a hit to end with Lee. "Now to finish," said Naruto with a slightly hoarse voice. The Uchiha let out a soft growl before completing his attack. Naruto slammed his leg and right palm into Lee's stomach with monstrous force. A loud roar echoed "Your revenge, Hidden Lotus," shouted Naruto. His voice also took on an echo effect through the walls. Naruto and Lee collided with the floor, generating a large explosion that made everyone cover their eyes, avoiding the dust. Naruto shot out of the cloud of dust, the aura around him had died out and his black pupils returned, his turtleneck shirt had disappeared, leaving only the black long-sleeved sweater, his pants and sneakers were more intact, the ninja band was a little out of place, leaning to the right and last, but not least, the wounds that could be seen were not many, since only his face could be seen. Naruto stood up grunting in great pain, he barely stood up, he placed his hands on his knees and was panting heavily, the cloud of dust dissipated, showing a Rock Lee apparently passed out, the tiles around him were shattered, it was basically a field of stone and dust. Naruto was finally able to stand up straight, however he was still panting. "I guess it's over," Hate said, however. "And no, I can still go on." Naruto and Hate were surprised to hear the voice of the green spandex ninja. Lee stood with his clothes in a mess, they weren't torn, however they were dirty and had some blood on them. Lee said. Naruto, but he was surprised to see that Lee's eyes were blurry, his movements were slow, even his hair was somewhat messy. Everyone in the stands was surprised to see that Lee could keep going. After that blow, however, Naruto, the Jonins, the Hokage's Anbis and even the Hokage himself knew that was not the case. Naruto approached Lee and grabbed him by the shoulders. Lee seemed unfazed. "Now Lee, you fought too well, you've given me more problems than anyone here could have given me, at least in Taijutsu." Lee seemed not to hear his words, but he didn't move either. "You can rest now," Naruto whispered. Instantly, Lee leaned forward, Naruto grabbed him, Lee's head rested on Naruto's shoulder. What happened?" Lee seemed ready to continue, said Ino. "No, Ino." Lee was actually fainted, but, apparently, his determination was so great that his body refused to give up, even though he couldn't do anything else, Kakashi explained, covering his Sharingan. "Wow, that's so." Sakura didn't know how to describe what she just saw. Applause was heard, it was Sasuke who applauded, Kiyomi followed him, no one noticed when everyone started applauding. Lee had earned their respect, well, almost everyone's. Neji and those in the arena did not applaud. Guy came down from the box and approached Naruto. "Naruto-kun, thank you for this," Guy said with a sad smile, but he seemed really grateful. Naruto nodded and helped Guy place Lee on the stretcher that the doctors had brought. Naruto Uchiha is the winner of the match. Hayate announced, making Naruto's victory official. The nurses took Lee, followed closely by Guy-sensei, and Tenten. Naruto went up to the box and leaned against the wall. He was tired, he felt how his muscles ached, at least his chakra reserves were full. Kiyomi knelt down and landed a big blow on Naruto's head. "Hey, why is that?" Naruto asked, rubbing himself. "What were you thinking when you used that? Besides, you didn't tell us," said Kiyomi, annoyed. "Hey, I'm sorry. Yes, it was a beam up my sleeve that I didn't plan to use. Normally I wouldn't use it, I have more capable techniques, but in this situation I had no other choice. I'm sorry for worrying you." Naruto sent a look a little sad to Kiyomi. "Oh, he looks so cute when he apologizes," Kiyomi thought. She smiled and gave the boy a small hug. "It's okay, just don't use it again. I'm afraid something will happen to you, and trust us more, okay?" said the girl. "It's okay," said Naruto. "Hey, it's not that I don't like it, but could you let me go, it hurts too much," the Uchiha complained. "Oh, it's okay." Kiyomi pulled away. "Well, everyone pay attention for the last battle. Dosu Kanuta and Choji Akimichi move on to this combat arena." Hayate doubted if this was a combat arena, it was almost destroyed, only the statue it had come out almost intact. Summary. This was the shortest fight. Choji tried to crush Dosu with his expansion jutsu, but he easily dodged it. Choji was defeated by a sound wave that caused him to crash into the wall, leaving him unconscious. "Okay, all the winners, I want you to stand in a row in front of me," Hayate said. Sasuke, Kiyomi, Naruto, Menma, Mito, Dosu, Shikamaru, Temari, Gaara, Kankuro and Neji came down and stood in front of Hayate. "Okay, now, Anko will pass a bag with different numbers. I want you to tell me the numbers you draw and based on these, it will be decided who you will fight against." Sasuke. 1 Kiyomi. 5 Naruto. 10 Menma. 9 Myth. 6 Dosage. 11 Shikamaru. 7 Temari. 8 Gaara. 4 Kankuro. 3 Neji. 2 Well, the finals fights are Sasuke vs Neji, Kankuro vs Gaara, Kiyomi vs Mito, Shikamaru vs Temari, Menma vs Naruto. And Dosu is a wild card, so he will go to the second phase. "Well, please listen to me," said Minato. The third phase will be carried out in 1 month, use that time to strengthen yourself and perfect your skills. I wish you good luck to the future generation of shinobi," said Minato. A month, eh? It seems like it will be a good thing, I already have the complete Hiraishin, I just have to practice, besides, it's enough time to see what Orochimaru is doing here, I just hope that Kabuto gives me more information than I think, Naruto thought. On the other side of Konoha. A sigh was heard here again, it's never bad to see you Konoha. Well, since I'm here, I can go visit Minato, and the others. A white-haired man was entering the doors of Konoha. Well, I don't think you'll mind if I go and investigate a little first. The man's cheeks turned red, oil kanji on his ninja band, he disappeared in a blur, straight to the Konoha hot springs. Ouch. Hey, don't squeeze me. Naruto's pained voice sounded. It's your fault for using that technique. Kiyomi said somewhat angrily. It's okay, it's my fault. Kiyomi laid Naruto down on his bed. Wow, that was really crazy of you, said Sasuke. Yes, well, I had promised Lee that I would only use Taijutsu. Naruto excused himself. Well, the way your body is, I guess you won't be able to start training right away. No, actually I have a strategy to get rid of the pain, yes. What is it? Kiyomi asked. Well you don't have anything right? Sasuke asked. Well, maybe I can go to the hot springs and I don't know be cured as. Well, hot water relaxes the muscles, and my muscles are tense, so that would be the first step. Well, that's actually very good, said Sasuke. Okay, I'll go. Wait a moment sir, said Kiyomi. What happened? You haven't asked my permission. Sorry. That's right, I'm in charge of your recovery. Who decided that? Come on, but I'm older than you. 2 months doesn't make a difference. Actually yes, I'm 60 days older than you, so nothing at all. Okay, can I go to the hot springs? Okay, but first. Kiyomi placed her hand on Naruto's shoulder, gave a light squeeze, Naruto's shoulder thundered loudly. Ouch. Wow, wait a minute. Naruto started moving his shoulder in a circular motion. Wow, it doesn't hurt so much anymore. Naruto said surprised, he and Sasuke looked at Kiyomi impressed. Well, maybe I'm starting to study medical ninjutsu. Oh really? Well, a little. I'm studying the key points of the human body and I'm trying to learn some jutsus to heal minor injuries. I see, that's why you didn't use it. It's the forest of death. That's how it is. And what did you do to Naruto? Well, I used a little jutsu to reduce his pain a little and I snapped his shoulder to reduce the tension. Well, in my opinion, you're on the right track, said Naruto. Thank you, Naru-kun, what are you waiting for? Go to your hot springs. Kiyomi hugged Naruto. Okay I guess, said Naruto leaving. You're very affectionate with him, aren't you? Sasuke said. What are you saying? I'm just being compassionate, she said, turning around. Sure. But Naruto was walking calmly through the village. It had only been a day since the preliminaries. Those who were too hurt had been taken to the hospital, such as Aku, Hinata and Lee. Surprisingly, the one who was the worst was Hinata, even though Lee had several broken bones, a time of rest, and some therapy left him as good as new. However, Hinata had direct damage to her heart. As if she had been hit directly and that would take a while. He had also been thinking about his new Manjikyu ability. Kamui was more than anything a great defensive ability, with the ability to become intangible. You just had to think about the great possibilities. Other than that, he didn't know anything else, how to access its dimension. I was very curious to know what its dimension was like and how to send things to it, and finally, he realized that he was not taking advantage of his full potential. He was an Uchiha with his Sharingan completely mature, possessor of Manjikyu, at least secretly, a great ninjutsu user with 3 affinities and a great repertoire, a great fighter. Melee and great sword user, great Jinjutsu user, please, disciple of Itachi himself, great Shunshin user at the Shisui level, and if that were not enough, a level 10 Fuinjutsu master. And he also thought about the danger of Orochimaru and a possible invasion. He stopped thinking when he finally came across the entrance to the hot springs. He entered and went to the reception. Good morning, sir, you're here to relax, aren't you? That's right, Naruto gave the receptionist a smile. Okay, you can use the bathroom on the right side, that's the men's side, pick up a towel for yourself, remember that your time will be monitored and the more time you spend, the more you pay. I have it clear. Naruto headed to the hot springs, took off and put away his clothes. 1 hour later, this is really relaxing, I feel much better. Naruto was lucky to be completely alone, for him it was somewhat uncomfortable to be naked in front of so many people, even if they were also naked. Anyway, he closed his eyes, enjoying it a little more. This was an incredible feeling for him. Sometimes it was better to forget everything and simply be happy. Naruto's tranquility was affected when his sensor sense was activated. He felt a chakra signature that was on the ceiling on the left side. On the women's side, his hearing managed to pick up the voice of the woman speaking, which means that the person on the roof was spying on them, really, having to deal with a pervert now, although I don't know if he's a man. Naruto went to his folded clothes and put them on. He had black pants and white bandages on his ankles. The upper part was covered by a simple dark blue high-necked shirt. Naruto came out and paid his time. He went to the exit and looked at the ceiling. He could see a tree next to him. He hinted that this was how he had reached the ceiling. He finally looked at the pervert. The only thing he could see was a long white and pointed hair, was in a ponytail. Well, it's time to take it out, Shunshin, and appeared behind the person. Hey, Naruto whispered. Ah! The guy shouted, alerting the women. Hey, who yelled like that? A pervert. Let's go from here. The girls left. Oh, it can't be, said the guy. Well, it's about time they realized there was a pervert, said Naruto. Oh, brat, who do you think you were? The person stood up completely, turning to Naruto. The guy had spiky white hair. On his forehead he had a ninja band with the kanji for oil. He had a kind of green clothing under a large red sleeveless haori. Underneath everything he wore a Mayan armor that could be seen on his ankles and sleeves. He carried a large scroll that rested on some ropes. Naruto narrowed his eyes when he saw who it was. Incredible. Now I'll have to come back tomorrow. The guy jumped off the roof and started to leave. Wait a moment, sir, said Naruto, who appeared in front of the guy. Hey, what is it? I feel like I've seen it before. A smile was growing. I almost had it. Don't go any further. I'll introduce myself. I'm the hermit of Myaboku Mountain, the wise and immortal spirit. Be careful, women, you might faint with my presence. That's me. Jiraiya the gallant. Jiraiya said, kind of strange pose. Wow, incredible. You're Jiraiya, one of the 3 legendary Sannin. Naruto barely contained his excitement. That's right, it seems like it's the first time you've seen someone so amazing. Well, not exactly, but it's still impressive. Ah, okay, but anyway, I have to go since you've interrupted my research investigation. Yes, well, you see, I have a novel, more like a book. Jiraiya took out an orange cover book from his haori. It can't be, you write those books for perverts, said Naruto. That's right, it's a success. Jiraiya kissed his book. I don't think so, due to its content it is not at all popular among women. As for men, this book is only read by perverts due to the ahem scenes it has inside, said Naruto. Are you a robot? Also, my book has a very beautiful background. Yes, sure, wait, what are you doing here? Now that I think about it, well, I've come to see my godchildren. Easy to guess, you were the master of the Yondaime, so I can guess that Mytho and Menma are your godchildren. Wow, you're pretty smart, so what do you want, an autograph? No, I've never read your book, you should. Well, this Naruto. The two heard the voice of Myth calling Naruto. Hello, Naruto. What are you doing here? Mito looked at the Uchiha who was next to his perverted godfather. Wait a minute, Naruto, don't tell me what. It's not what you think, Naruto interrupted Mito. You better, the blonde replied. So you're not going to greet your favorite godfather? Jiraiya said to Mito. You are my only Iro-Sannin godfather, don't call me that, brat. The two began to argue. In the middle of the discussion, there was a thoughtful Naruto. He was in the middle of a Sannin who was not lost, a Sannin who was still in service of the village. He was a person who, despite the first impression, surely he was strong and had great experience. Without a doubt he would be a great teacher. After all, he trained the 4th Hokage. Wait a moment, teacher. Jiraiya-sama, said Naruto. Hey, what's up? The Sannin asked. I would like you to train me, please. Naruto gave a slight bow. Mito opened his eyes, and Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. Why do you want me to train you? Jiraiya asked. Well, you are one of the legendary Sannin, the only one who is still at the service of the village, and if I am not wrong, you must be the strongest. I am currently in the Chunin exams just like Myth. Well, you see, I don't have anyone to train me, since my sensei will train my 2 teammates, and honestly, for me it is more effective to train with a teacher, Naruto explained. I don't know, I don't have time to train a brat. Please, Jiraiya-sama, I'll do anything. Whatever. Jiraiya's cheeks turned red. It can't be Iro-Sannin, said Myth. How about you bring me a mature, tasty and curvy one? Huh. If you manage to bring me one, I'll train you. Really, that's it? Great. Naruto quickly headed towards the center of the village. Wow, I can't believe I'm seriously going to do it. Mito said in surprise. Ha. These were great. 4 minutes later. Here I am. Mito and Jiraiya heard Naruto arrive. Turning around, Mito held back his laughter, and Jiraiya made a face of disappointment. Naruto carried in his hands a large watermelon with a very strange shape. Here you have, Jiraiya-sama, a tasty, mature and curvy girl. Naruto said, smiling. Why, you're stupid. That's not what I meant. Ha. Naruto is very innocent on that Iro-Sannin topic. What did you mean then? A tasty, mature and curvy one, Jiraiya said again, but making curved movements with his hand imitating the figure of a woman. That's what I meant, said Naruto, leaving his watermelon on the ground. Give me that. Mito said, picking up the watermelon and taking out a kunai. Do I really have to bring that to him? Naruto asked. Jiraiya nodded his head. Naruto was quiet for a moment before getting an idea. In fact, I can give you something that might be better, yes. And what's a boy? Asked the white-haired man. Easy, just look into my eyes. Jiraiya thought for a moment before shrugging his shoulders and looking into the boy's eyes. It was then that he saw a fully mature Sharingan turning slightly, the environment around Jiraiya distorted, turning into hot springs. That was when he realized that he was naked and in one of the waters. This isn't starting out too bad, despite it being a Jinjutsu, said Jiraiya, and to think that that brat has the Sharingan of 3 tomos, that's impressive, Jiraiya thought before hearing a voice. Jiraiya Sama, the laughing voice of a group of women was heard. Jiraiya turned his gaze to blush intensely, and a truly depraved smile appeared on his face. Outside the Jinjutsu. What did you do to him? Asked Mito, who was cutting the watermelon. Well, I put him in a Jinjutsu. What's inside? Basically, he was in a hot spring with women, and Naruto watched as Jiraiya began to move his hands in a strange movement, as if he were preparing something. Oh shit. Said Naruto before releasing the Jinjutsu. Hey. What are you doing? I was having fun in there. Jiraiya said indignantly. How can you be so perverted? Said Naruto. There you are wrong, I'm not a pervert, I'm a super pervert. Jiraiya corrected Naruto. That doesn't make Jiraiya-sama any better, but anyway, can you train me now? Said Naruto. Okay, but on one condition, said Jiraiya. Which one is it? Naruto asked. But you put me in that Jinjutsu whenever we train, no way, you get carried away a lot, said Naruto. Then there is no training, Uncle Jiraiya. If you don't train Naruto for that reason, I will tell my mother, and I don't think she will like it, Mito said, eating a piece of watermelon. Jiraiya paled at the mention of myth. It's okay, just don't tell Kushina. Well, follow me, said Jiraiya. Naruto followed him enthusiastically, although he didn't show it. Mito followed them from behind, eating watermelon. This watermelon is really ripe and tasty, said Mito while tasting. And with curves, how the hell did that brat get that watermelon? Said the Kyuubi in Myth's mind. I don't know, Naruto always surprises, he responded. Jiraiya led Naruto towards a clearing with some waterfalls. Well, before training you, I would like to know what you are made of. You are a young Uchiha, but with a mature Sharingan, let's see what you have. Jiraiya got into a combat pose. It seems perfect to me. Naruto stood in his battle pose, without the Sharingan active, for him it was another tool. He's a Sannin, so I think he'll be serious, Naruto said, making a half-ram seal. Kai, he whispered, and his gravity and resistance seals went out. I release a few seals, said Jiraiya. Hey brat, do you study Fuinjutsu? Said Jiraiya. Since I was 7 years old, in fact I am a level 10 seal master. What? Jiraiya couldn't contain his surprise. How? Shadow clones and a lot of time, plus a great intellect, said Naruto. So he knows the shadow clones, and he knows their secret. If I manage to complete the Fuinjutsu with clones, it means that he can do many, which means that he has large chakra reserves. I must be careful, he is an Uchiha, so his affinity must be with Kaiten. I can counter that, Jiraiya thought before making a sign with his hand for Naruto to rush towards him. Come, he said. Naruto didn't think twice and rushed at Jiraiya at great speed. Quickly, the Sannin thought, narrowly blocking Naruto's blow. He had been careless due to Naruto's speed, which disappeared again and appeared behind Jiraiya with an aerial spinning kick. Jiraiya crouched down, dodging the attack. Very fast, he thought. Without further ado, he began to send blows towards Naruto, who managed to block them well. He's very good at Taijutsu, and he doesn't even have his Sharingan active. Too good, thought Jiraiya, who managed to land a blow on Naruto's stomach, turned and concentrated a kick that Naruto blocked, but was dragged backwards with great force. Crashing into a tree. What's wrong, kid, is that all you have? Jiraiya asked mockingly. Don't underestimate me. Naruto disappeared and appeared in front of Jiraiya, who blocked his attack. You come with the same thing, come on, said Jiraiya. Naruto smiled and began to send blow after blow to Jiraiya, who was impressed by the change of pace. Now they are faster, and they come with great force towards my weakened pressure points. I must not let them hit me. Naruto jumped and sent a combo of kicks that Jiraiya blocked with his palms. The Sannin grabbed Naruto's leg and threw him. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Said Naruto. 4 clones appeared. All the clones went to Jiraiya and began to attack him. The Toad Sannin was becoming overwhelmed, so he increased the level. The clones were eventually dissipated. What was that for? The clones didn't attack seriously. Jiraiya thought, however he opened his eyes when a Naruto appeared in front of him trying to kick him. Jiraiya narrowly dodged it and hit Naruto hard. However, it exploded in a current of electricity that electrocuted Jiraiya, an electric clone. But when? And where is the original? Here. Naruto shouted, appearing in front of Jiraiya and landing a punch. However, Jiraiya exploded, revealing an almost broken trunk due to Naruto's blow. Ugh, very close, but at least I electrocuted him, said Naruto. But now where is he? He asked himself. He looked up, to the right, to the left, and behind. There is only one direction left, he said, and jumped just in time before Jiraiya appeared from beneath the ground with an uppercut. Well done, brat, said Jiraiya. Naruto smiled and performed 3 hand seals. Kaiten. Kakaku no Jutsu. A large fireball came out of Naruto Doton. Doryuheki. Earth style, earth wall, said Jiraiya, placing his hands on the ground from which a large wall of earth came out, crashing against Naruto's jutsu. The wall began to crumble. Jiraiya was scared by this, but luckily the fire stopped. Ugh, his ninjutsu is very strong, said Jiraiya. Kaiten and Raiten. Jiraiya thought those are their two affinities. The Sannin was surprised to feel how Naruto appeared too quickly behind him. Naruto gave a big blow to Jiraiya, who was thrown backwards. Oh my back. That boy hits hard. I should be more careful, Jiraiya thought. How did he move so fast? Jiraiya didn't have time to think. Naruto appeared again surprisingly. Jiraiya blocked the blow. Naruto appeared again in another direction and gave another blow. Jiraiya dodged it. Shunshin level 2, thought Naruto. The Uchiha appeared and disappeared, sending really fast attacks towards Jiraiya, who received some but was able to recover quickly. Jiraiya managed to predict Naruto's move and hit him hard, however Naruto managed to block to reduce the damage. Jiraiya decided to test the boy. Suiton. Sudan no Jutsu. Jiraiya threw the water bullet. Kaiten. Kakakyu no Jutsu. Naruto launched a smaller fireball with less chakra. The two jutsus ended up colliding, creating a small mist. Jiraiya sent his senses to their maximum, trying not to be taken by surprise again. He jumped, dodging a flurry of small fireballs. The Sannin began to perform acrobatic movements, dodging more fireballs. His senses caught the sound of the air cutting. He took out a kunai and deflected several kunai and shurikens that were heading towards him. Great was his surprise when he saw how one of the kunai turned into a clone of Naruto. This clone threw a kunai that Jiraiya narrowly dodged. The kunai cut a bit of Jiraiya's hair. Good strategy, brat, the Sannin thought, but he was confused when he saw Naruto smile. The kunai that he had embedded in the ground turned into a Naruto that tried an upward kick. Jiraiya blocked it. Suddenly the clone started to shine. Oh, Jiraiya thought before the clone exploded loudly. The smoke dissipated, showing a log almost in ashes. I think it happened, even though the explosion was low level, said Naruto. His sense of danger jingled loudly. Back. Naruto crouched down, dodging a backhand blow, leaned on his hands and with great force jumped, turned and directed a kick at Jiraiya, who blocked it. The Sannin disappeared and quickly appeared behind Naruto, who was still in the air. It's too fast. He thought, activating his Sharingan. When Jiraiya tried to hit him, Naruto grabbed his arm. With a great acrobatic movement, Naruto turned and managed to rest his foot on Jiraiya's shoulder. He jumped and made 3 seals of hands. Futen. Rinkuden. Puffed his chest and spat out a large bullet of pressurized air. The bullet apparently hit Jiraiya, but when the smoke dissipated, another log could be seen. You are very slippery, Jiraiya-sama, said Naruto. That's right, Jiraiya appeared leaning on a tree. This was fun, said Naruto. Yes, Jiraiya disappeared in a burst of smoke, but I win. Jiraiya appeared behind Naruto and placed a kunai on his neck. I guess I should leave it at that. I would have liked to continue. Naruto deactivated his Sharingan. Well, you are too good for your age. You have 3 elemental affinities. You could definitely beat a Chunin, even a Jonin maybe, thank you, but you can still improve your Taijutsu, and I would like to see how good you are with elemental ninjutsu. But first tell me, do you have any summoning contracts? Yes, in fact I have 2, said Naruto. Oh, that's a shame. It would be amazing if you were also a toad summoner. And tell me, what is your summoning contract? Crows and fox. There is no fox contract, said Jiraiya. If there is, I am the first and only summoner. Yes. So how do you have it? Naruto told the story of how he got it to Jiraiya, who was surprised that Naruto could talk to the Kyuubi. Well, if so, I would like to see you summon one. Alright, Kuchiyas no Jutsu. Naruto summoned Kairon, who was now bigger, almost reaching Naruto's waist. Hello Naruto, what's new? Said Kairon. Well, I went to the final of the Chunin exams and I have a month to train, said Naruto. Great. Answered his fox. Meanwhile Jiraiya looked impressed at Naruto's fox, who turned to look at him. Wow. But you are Jiraiya. The great wise toad. Said Kairon. Jiraiya smiled arrogantly, a summoning contract that he didn't know if he knew him. That's right. I'm the great, please Iro Sennin, don't start with that, said Myth, who finally made his presence known. Insolent brat, I was just about to introduce myself. It is an honor to meet you, Jiraiya-sama. Said Kairon. I'm sorry to disappoint you, little fox, but he's a first-class pervert, said Mito. Hey. Super. Pervert. Said Jiraiya. We already told you that that's not better. Said Myth. Anyway, I only summoned you so that Jiraiya-sama could see you. You see, I'm going to train with him. I swear we'll talk later, said Naruto. No problem, again, it was a pleasure, Kairon said, disappearing. Well, there you go, said Naruto. Well, now it's time to see your ninjutsu. What is the strongest jutsu you have for each of your elements? Jiraiya asked. Naruto thought for a moment. Well, I think that the Kaiten would be the Kaiten. Karyuenden, although I have hardly used it because I have not seen the situation. The Futen would be the Futen. Shinkajoku or perhaps the Shinkuha, they are not destructive, but they are deadly, and finally the Raiten, the strongest one I have is the Chidori, said Naruto. Well, I must say that I am surprised that someone your age can do those jutsus, especially the Karyuenden, you know the Chidori, I am not surprised, I know that your sensei is Kakashi Haddock, that means that you control the chakra transformation very well, but tell me something, do you know how to handle the transformation of the form? Said Jiraiya. The transformation of the form. Iro Sennin, will you teach him that jutsu? Mito asked. It may be, you see Naruto, you can not only transform the transformation of nature, but also the shape of the chakra in its pure state, achieving it is usually difficult, in addition, people do not use it because there are not many jutsus from the state, however, the fourth Hokage, Minato, managed to create a jutsu that is considered the greatest representation of the control of the chakra form, the Rasengan. Don't tell me that that's right, I will teach you the Rasengan, I will hope to pass that power on to you, but it won't be easy, we will see if you are really a prodigy, after all, someone as intelligent as Minato spent 3 years creating that jutsu, what? 3 years? Naruto asked Adamito. That's right, I decided to accept training you, we will work on your physical strength, I think we can improve it more, you are very fast, and I see that you know how to handle Shunshin very well, in Fuinjutsu I can't teach you as much due to the level you have. We can always work on the chakra control, and I can teach you a method to make your fire jutsu stronger, besides, it is the only affinity we share finally, the Rasengan yes. Thank you, Jiraiya-sensei. Hey Iro Sennin, I also want to complete the Rasengan, can't your father help you with that? If it's true, well hope it goes well. Mito. Retired I didn't leave any watermelon said Naruto, that's the least of it, it's time to start ya. Time skip. 2 weeks later. The training with Jiraiya was going well, Naruto, and he practiced mainly with sparring partners, Jiraiya had helped him improve his taijutsu, he taught him espionage techniques, which were very good, there is no doubt that Jiraiya was very good in that area. And finally helped him with his taijutsu and quite strong physical strength training, chakra control only improved, and Naruto was already able to do jutsus with a single seal or two. Jiraiya also taught him a few seals, finally, Naruto also trained alone, and it must be said that he had great ideas, he was thinking about creating his own jutsus, and he already had an idea, currently he was only working on a Raiten jutsu and another Futen jutsu. When talking about the subject, he realized that Kiyomi and Sasuke were also working on their own jutsu, in addition to their Chidori variants, which they said they would use in the finals. A great advance in addition to his new physical strength was that he learned the Rasengan, and Jiraiya had been surprised by the speed at which he did it. Flashback. Okay, this is the first step, said Jiraiya, taking out a balloon full of water. What am I supposed to do? Naruto asked. Jiraiya did not respond and instead extended his hand, the sound of a great rotation was heard when a blue sphere appeared in Jiraiya's hand, it seemed to rotate at high speed. Wow, that's the Rasengan said Naruto, surprised, looking at the energy sphere. That's right, you know, you could copy it, and that's it said Jiraiya. No, that's the easy way said Naruto, it's not that easy, even though you copy it, you still have to master it, but it's your decision, well, the first step is the rotation of the chakra, the trick is that you make the water rotate inside the balloon, and your body must also rotate. Chakra to exploit it, when you complete the first step come find me, I'm going to investigate a little he said, and left in a big jump. Naruto spent about 4 hours until he was finally able to burst the water balloon. Okay, it's time for the second step Shunshin, and appeared in front of Jiraiya at the hot springs. Look sensei, I've already completed the first step. Naruto said happily. Wow, that was faster than I thought said Jiraiya. And without clones? Said Naruto. Don't brag anymore, then I guess you're ready for the next step, that's right. Said Naruto. Well, here, Jiraiya threw a rubber ball at Naruto. Time to practice the power, you already know how to rotate your chakra, now you have to blow up this rubber ball, it's at least 100 times more difficult. Jiraiya said. Okay said Naruto and left in a Shunshin. Naruto was practicing all day, however, he could only make the ball shake, it was the next day that if he directed his attention to a specific point inside the ball, his chakra gained more intensity, he practiced for a few more hours, until he managed to completely exploit the ball, he went to Jiraiya to give him the last step. Jiraiya was surprised by how fast he was advancing, finally he gave him a water balloon again, told him that the last step was the fusion of the first and second steps, he had to practice compression, basically rotating the chakra in the balloon. Without it exploding, in order to assimilate the shape of a sphere, according to Jiraiya, this was the most difficult step and it took him 2 months to complete it. Naruto wasted no time and began to train him. Over time, he discovered that with a clone, he could handle the power and form, but he wanted to do it alone, without the help of a clone, so he trained more, and in one day, I managed to do it with one hand, and I managed to master it. Jiraiya congratulated him, he said that it was the shortest time that anyone had learned it, Jiraiya himself had taken a few months to master it, now it was time to try Naruto's Rasengan. Flashback. Well Naruto, it's time to test the power of your Rasengan, for this Jiraiya extended his hand, a perfect Rasengan appeared in his palm. You're going to collide your Rasengan with mine, are you sure Jiraiya-sensei? Of course, don't worry, nothing will happen to me, okay. Naruto raised the palm of his hand, the sound of rotation was present, and a Rasengan appeared in Naruto's hand, it was a blue color a little darker than Jiraiya's. Well, whenever you want. Said Jiraiya. Naruto ran towards Jiraiya who began to run towards him as well, the two met and clashed their Rasengan against each other's, a strong gust of wind came out of the clash, while the earth beneath them seemed to crack, the sensei's and the disciples' hands they trembled, indicating the great pressure and strength of the attacks, finally the Rasengan cancelled each other. Jiraiya looked at his hand noticing some small scratches, heh, not bad, brat Jiraiya thought. End flashback. Finally, Jiraiya revealed to Naruto that the Rasengan was an incomplete technique since Minato had tried to add elemental chakra to the technique but had not succeeded. Naruto proposed that one day he would practice with that goal, but it would not be now. Currently, Naruto was in his apartment with Kiyomi and Sasuke, there were about 2 weeks left before the finals, and everyone was resting after a hard day of training. So, how did it go for you? Naruto asked. Well, very well, Kakashi is a better sensei than he seems, said Sasuke, drinking some water. So what have you been training for? We won't fall into your trap, we will probably have to face each other in the finals, so we can't give you details of our training, Kiyomi replied. Okay, the Uchiha's conversation was interrupted by a ball of smoke that appeared in the middle of the room, from which a small black fox with 5 tails emerged. Good evening Naruto-sama, am I interrupting something? Kuro asked. No. Not at all, I suppose you come because you already have information about what I told you. That's how it is, what exactly are you talking about? Naruto explained to Kiyomi and Sasuke about the suspicions he had in Kabuto, about Orochimaru and how he sent Kuro with his squad to investigate. I see, Sasuke said. Very well Kuro, inform me, said Naruto. Well Naruto-sama, first of all, what I have is not good news, the Uchihas made serious faces. Well, let's get to the point, this Kabuto guy is a spy and subordinate of Orochimaru. Just as you suspected, the Kabuto guy headed towards a kind of village on the borders of the Land of Fire called Atogakure. Atogakure, that's where Zaku, Dosu and Kim came from, said Kiyomi. That's right, this Kabuto guy seems to be a too close subordinate to Orochimaru, who is posing as the cage of the Atogakure village, but here comes the most worrying thing, what is it? Orochimaru plans to invade the village, along with Sunagakure and Atogakure. What? Kiyomi shouted. It doesn't make sense, Sunagakure and our ally Sasuke said. So it seems, but sad news is coming, the Kazekage was apparently murdered by Orochimaru, who at the same time is posing as him, everyone opened their eyes. It can't be, that guy. I killed the Kazekage, continue please Naruto said, he looked too serious, Kuro nodded. Well, Orochimaru plans to invade the village during the finals of the Chunin exams, he says he has a beam up his sleeve, like a special weapon, it must be Gaara, since he is the Shukaku's Jinchuriki. Yeah, that guy looks pretty unstable. If it's unstable, so is its eel, so Naruto opened his mouth in surprise. Does Orochimaru plan to release the Shukaku in the middle of the village? Sasuke asked. That would be terrible. Said Kiyomi. That's all I have, Kuro said. Thank you Kuro, but I need you to stay here for a while, we are going to report this to the Hokage. Kuro nodded and climbed onto Naruto's shoulder. Let's go with you Sasuke said. Okay said Naruto, Kiyomi and Sasuke grabbed Naruto's shoulders, the three disappeared in a shunshin of fire, created by Naruto, lately he had been experimenting a lot with shunshin. Hokage office. Minato was finishing signing the papers with his shadow clones. Since he discovered that this way he could shorten the time with paperwork, his life had changed. His attention was called when a kind of line of fire appeared in the middle of his office. The line went down until the figure of the three Uchihas slowly appeared, Naruto carrying a small fox on his shoulder. Excuse me, Hokage-sama, said Naruto. Wow, but if it's you, what do you have? Minato asked. Well, I have some news to tell you, but I would like you to call Jiraiya-sensei and Shikaku-san first. Why should you call them? Minato asked. Well, what I have to say is something of utmost importance, please Hokage-sama. Okay, Anbu. Minato called and instantly an Anbu appeared kneeling in front of him. Yes. Hokage-sama, I need you to look for Shikaku Nara and Jiraiya-sensei please said Minato. Hi. Said the Anbu and disappeared in a burst of smoke. About 10 minutes later, Jiraiya and Shikaku were in the Hokage office. Well then, what do you have to tell us, Naruto? Actually, my summoning here will help me a little, it has been helping me for a long time. Alright Naruto and Kuro told everything about Orochimaru's plan and everything we already know. Minato had a frown after what he had just heard. The former third-year student did cause problems. To be honest, it was better for him that the Sandaime Hokage had taken care of him when he had the opportunity. I guess the man was too much. Gentle, so, what do you think about it? Minato asked. Knowing Orochimaru, he will try to enter in the most unnoticed way. I suppose he will enter disguised as the Yondaime Kazekage, at least that's what I think, said Jiraiya. If your objective is to destroy Konoha, you will surely attack not only internally, but you will also have troops on the borders of the Leaf to take care of its security. In addition, I suppose you will also want to attack the main points of the village, like which ones? Jiraiya asked. They could be the academy, the hospital, the Anbu barracks, the orphanage, and other important buildings, said Naruto. That would be ruthless. There are many innocent people in some of those points, said Minato. What do you propose to protect them? Excuse me, Hokage-sama, but I have developed a pretty good barrier seal. Yes. And how does it work? It's simple, it is a sealing matrix that is capable of adhering to any place. Any ninja will need to supply it with chakra. Once the seal comes into contact with the chakra, a barrier will be activated. I guarantee that these barriers can withstand A-rank jutsus below. The ninja maintaining the barrier can let someone in, but not let anyone out, unless he decides to lower the barrier completely. Wow, could you show us those stamps? Sure, they're at my house, said Naruto. Well, I don't think anything bad will happen if we go. I'll go too. Kushina kicked the door. She had been listening to the conversation from behind. Kushina? What are you doing here? Minato said. I've been hearing all about the invasion, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the seal that Naruto developed is like. There's no problem with her coming, right? Minato asked. Why did I open a problem? Kushina asked. Not at all, they can come. They all disappeared in a shunshin and appeared at Naruto's house. He invited them in. Well, follow me, Naruto-sama, if you'll excuse me, my work here is done, I would like to return, Kuro said. Sure, thank you very much for everything, said Naruto. See you. Kuro disappeared in a ball of smoke. Naruto guided everyone towards a door which was closed. The Uchiha put his hand on the door. Instantly, kanji flashed white before a click was heard. Naruto opened the door, showing a room full of shelves with books, a table with various papers and some fujitsu materials. Sorry for the mess, usually only I am here. Minato looked at one of his three-pronged kunai. I see you still have that gift, Minato said. That's right, it was very helpful. Now I have my own Hiraishin formula, although the design of the kunai is more subtle. Naruto pointed to a sheet of paper next to Minato's three-pronged kunai. Minato picked up the blade and saw a drawing of a kunai that seemed to be normal, except that the handle had Naruto's Hiraishin formula engraved on it, which was very similar to his, only that some kanji were different. In addition to some small kanji add on each side, the kunai was normal, except for the edges that seemed to be a somewhat silvery color. Nice design, it is subtle and can take anyone by surprise, that's the idea, Naruto responded. Naruto opened a drawer and took out a sheet of paper with a stamp in the middle. Can Minato-sama follow me? Naruto said. Clear. Naruto disappeared in a shunshin followed by Minato. The others looked around the room a bit. Well, I think I'm going to get ready to sleep, the truth is I'm tired, see you another day. Said Kiyomi, leaving. Good night. Sasuke also said, leaving. Good night, guys. Kushina said. She and Shikaku were left alone. I think you don't need me anymore, with your permission, I'm leaving, all of this is problematic. Shikaku left in a shunshin. BFFF, how lazy. Kushina said. He stayed checking the shelves for a bit until he stumbled a little. He leaned on the shelf, causing some books to fall silent. Oh no. Now I have to fix it. He began to pick up the books until he saw what appeared to be a folder. Yuinjutsu Project. Bijuu Transfer. Kushina was surprised by the title of the folder, and when she opened it she was even more surprised. There was a very complex sealing matrix, it had too many details and was very well made. Next to it the following seals were written. Ram, hare, bird, dog, monkey, horse, rat, tiger. Jiraiya, come see this, Kushina said. Seeing, Jiraiya was very surprised to see the project. What does this mean? It's like a kind of seal to transfer something, said Jiraiya. That's right, but I would like to ask Naruto. He was going to ask Naruto what it was about. Just when he thought about that, Naruto and Minato appeared in a shunshin. They had tested Naruto's barrier seal with the Hokage Tower, and it had worked wonderfully. Now the seal was in a state that Naruto had called rest, where the seal would only activate when a stream of chakra touched it. Well, your seals work wonderfully. Tomorrow morning you will go with Jiraiya to put the seals on the aforementioned points at the meeting, said Minato. Hi, Hokage-sama. Naruto. Kushina said. Yeah. Could you tell me what this means? Kushina held up the folder, making Naruto swallow. Well shit, I had forgotten because I didn't let anyone in here, Naruto thought. Dear Kushina-san, I can't lie to you, that seal, I have been creating to transfer half of Menma's Kyuubi to me. What? Everyone shouted just as you hear it. No. Absolutely not. Why would you? Kushina asked. Well, everything has an explanation. Naruto took out a small notebook, he gave it to Kushina, Minato, and Jiraiya approached to read what it said. In the notebook it was written the reasons why Naruto was moving the Kyuubi towards talked about the bad relationship between the Kyuubi and Menma, and how the dark chakra of the Kyuubi yin hurt Menma. And about Naruto's slight suspicion that Menma's attitude was being affected, and the overflows of your emotions. Kushina, Minato and Jiraiya read the entire explanation. Well, I can't deny that your reasons are valid, but still, how do you guarantee that Menma won't die after you transfer the Kyuubi? Plus, how does it work? Minato asked. Well, the seal works as a bridge between the seal of 8 trigrams of Menma and the seal of 8 trigrams that I will make myself. Once the seal is activated, the only thing the Kyuubi has to do is go from one seal to another, along with a part of his chakra. The other part will be left to the old bearer who, together with the chakra seal and a small health boost, placed in the main seal, will cause the old one's chakra coils to normalize. And they are completely restored with the help of the Kyuubi's chakra, thus stopping their death process after Menma survives. As I possess the Kyuubi itself, its chakra will regenerate, but this time in my seal. Naruto finished his explanation. Wow, just wow, said Jiraiya. And all that in a seal, said Minato. However, it should be said that he was not going to use it without your consent. After all, it was his decision to seal it in the first place, said Naruto. Minato and Kushina were silent for a long time. Naruto waited patiently. Minato was considering Naruto's idea. A new stable Jinchuriki was better for the village than an unstable one. Besides, he wanted to help his son. Kushina was a little hesitant. Was this really the right thing to do? Anyone would think that Naruto simply wanted the Kyuubi for power, but in the explanation he made it more than clear that he was not doing it for his own good, but for Menma's and the boys. Kyuubi. Besides, she trusted Naruto and the Kyuubi also trusted him, as strange as it was. A few more minutes passed until Naruto I accept that you transferred the Kyuubi to you, said Minato. Me too, everything is for the good of my son, Kushina said. We trust you, the two said. Thank you, said Naruto smiling. When will you make the transfer? Minato said. During my battle against Menma in the finals. By the way, for the seal to be completed, Menma must take out at least one tail of chakra almost. So I'm going to have to provoke him, Naruto said. Okay, but be careful, Kushina said. Well, if you'll excuse me, the seal is still missing a few things, so I'm going to have to work a little more. Okay, good luck and take care of yourself. Kushina gave Naruto a hug before being grabbed by the waist by Minato and disappearing in a flash of yellow. You continue to surprise me, Gaki, keep it up, you'll go far, said Jiraiya. There is no limit to great minds, said Naruto. Well said, Jiraiya disappeared in a burst of smoke. Well, Naruto made half a ram seal. Instantly, 10 clones appeared in front of him. They know what to do, said Naruto. Hi, said the clones. Naruto sat with his clones who began to work and create more barrier seals. The original directed his gaze towards the drawing of the kunai with its Horatian seal. These finals will witness the power of Naruto Uchiha. Believe it, Naruto thought. One day later. In the morning, Naruto had gone with Jiraiya placing the barrier seals. The Jonin and Anbus ninjas were informed about the invasion and were planning a counterattack strategy. After all, they were facing 2 villages. One of them was one of the big 5, who despite being the weakest of the 5, is still strong. After that, he went to visit Rock Lee in the hospital, where he was recovering little by little. He said that he would promise to recover quickly to see the finals. Naruto laughed at that. After that, he spent the day training. He had quite a few things ahead of him, the Kyuubi seal, the final battles, the invasion, Gaara and Shukaku. Everything was a kind of weight on his head. He just hoped that when it was all over, he would have something rest, and who knows, for now, he's just working on his jutsu. Naruto made hand seals. Rat, ox, dog, hare, monkey. Naruto lowered his arm with his palm open. The sound of birds chirping sounded loudly in the clearing where he was. It was night and the breeze was blowing strongly. An intense purple glow appeared in his hands, while chirping birds and lightning sounded. I'm almost there, said Naruto 2 weeks later. Kunes, ready. Shurikens, ready. Chikudo, ready. Sealed. Seals, ready. Naruto took out some kunai that had some kind of seal on their handle. You guys are ready to be tested. Naruto sealed everything in his special wrist seal, which was kept under his sleeve. It's time. Naruto was wearing his typical black long-sleeved shirt. On top of this, a short-sleeved and high-necked shirt typical of an Uchiha. He had the clan logo on his back. To his clothing he had added a pair of short fingerless gloves of color black and a metal plate, dark gray Anbu pants and black bandages on his ankles. Finally, a pair of black sneakers. His clothing was all dark in color. But he liked that color, it was good and matched with everything, and what's more, you went unnoticed. Well, let's go. A gust of wind disappeared. Konoha Stadium, 12 o'clock hours. The Konoha Stadium, a gigantic construction with a circular figure, the stadium was a little far from Konoha itself, since it could easily accommodate half of the village. It had no roof, because the shinobi combats took place, no matter what the weather. Well, this was the place where the final of the Chunin exams would take place. Inside the stadium, there were the stands which were full of people who did not stop talking, because they were excited. They would witness the final battles of those who managed to pass the other 2 tests of the exams. In addition to the tough preliminaries, they knew that they were all strong, but they had faith in the children of the Yondaime. And also in the last Uchiha, the stadium also had a special box where the Hokage stayed. This time, both the Hokage and the Kazekage would stay in this place, although we all know who he really is. Inside the stadium in the lower part, there was a tunnel that led to the waiting room. There is where all the participants of the exams were. There were the 2 remaining members of Team 11, Menma and Mito. Menma was wearing a kind in an orange sweatshirt with his dark gray pants and blue sneakers. He wore his ninja band on his forehead. And also had white bandages on his ankles and a kunai holder on his left leg. Myth, on the other hand, had a tighter orange jacket with touches blue. He was wearing orange shorts that were a little short but not too tight, improving his mobility, black stockings that reached up to his thighs, a kunai holder on his right leg and blue sneakers, a ninja band on his neck and on his back. Hair pulled back into a ponytail with 2 strands framing her face. In the room there was also the complete arena team, and Dosu, for some strange reason, was not there. Shino was in a quiet corner, Niji Hyuga looked at everyone with indifference, and finally, there was also Shikamaru, who was watching all with a bored expression. Everyone's attention was called when Kiyomi and Sasuke appeared in a swirl of leaves. Kiyomi was wearing a purple skirt, underneath it were shorts that couldn't be seen. She also had a kind of beige shirt with the clan logo. Uchiha behind, his hair was loose. He also wore large stockings that reached his mules and black sneakers, a ninja band on his neck. Sasuke was wearing a black high-necked shirt with the Uchiha clan logo on the back, dark gray pants with white bandages on the ankles and blue sneakers. He had bandages on his left arm and his ninja band placed on his forehead. Nice entry, said Myth. Thank you, I take it you're ready. Mito said again. That's right, but where is Naruto? I don't know, it hasn't arrived yet. Just when Mito said that, a large gust of wind crossed the room. Small gusts of wind began to spin and gather together. When they all came together, Naruto appeared in the room with his clothes and with his hands in his pockets. Does everyone make ridiculous entrances now? They're problematic, said Shikamaru. Heh, I guess, said Naruto. And when does this start? Sasuke said. Well, Dad is about to make the announcement. Well, we just have to wait, said Naruto. In the Hokage box. Minato was behind a curtain, in which he was being escorted by 2 Anbis. I hope you did what I asked, said Minato. Hi, Hokage-sama, said the Anbis. Okay, let's do this, said Minato, passing through the curtain. Minato walked towards the end of the box. Minato directed chakra into his vocal cords to amplify his voice. Listen to me, people of the leaf, said Minato. Everyone in the stadium fell silent, paying attention to their Hokage. First of all, I want to thank you for coming here to witness this great event. Today, in this stadium, the new shinobi who committed themselves to protecting the lives of their villages will be consecrated. Today, new talents who have borne through effort and sacrifice. Each of the participants in this event have gone through different tests that were not easy at all. But each of them managed to overcome it successfully, and now, they are here to fight for the title. What have you been looking for? Minato announced, causing the crowd to cheer. Now, I would like to announce our special guest, since he also has participants in this event. I want everyone to welcome the Yondaime Kazekage with applause. Minato said, pointing behind the curtain from which a man in a robe emerged. White with a full body, he had a Kazekage hat and a band covering half of his face. Everyone in the stadium applauded the arrival of the Kage. Thank you for the welcome, Hokage Dono, said the Kazekage, sitting down. It's nothing, Kazekage Dono, said Minato. I must admit that he disguises himself too well, Minato thought. Well, and now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to the Genins who managed to get here. Minato pointed to the tunnel from which the Genins began to come out. They all headed towards the center of the arena where they stood in a row. Well, let me lead this event, Hokage-sama, said Genma Shiranui, a Jonin with a ninja headband in the form of a scarf and a senbon in his mouth. Okay, go ahead, Genma, said Minato. Well, we will start with the first battle, said Genma. A question, said Shikamaru. Yeah. Where is Dosu? Remnants of his blood were found. It is believed that he is dead, said Genma. Only Naruto noticed how Gaara clenched his fists. Now yes, the first battle, Sasuke Uchiha vs Niji Hyuga. Genma said. The others went up to the stands, while Sasuke and Niji stood facing each other with Genma in front of them. Well, the rules are the same as in the preliminaries. I will stop the battle if I think it is necessary, although it may not be that way. Sasuke and Niji separated a little. Are you ready, Uchiha? Sasuke nodded with a serious look. This guy had hurt his friend without any remorse. He would put on a show in this battle. Are you ready, Hyuga? Genma said. Neji nodded too. He would show this Uchiha that his destiny is to lose to the Byakugan. Okay, then start. Genma jumped back. Why don't you give up? Uchiha, your destiny is to lose to me, Neji said arrogantly. I don't believe in destiny. You, on the other hand, are too stupid to believe that destiny is something real. I will show you that it is not so. After all, my destiny was to die that day or simply fall in hate, but it wasn't like that. At least I gave you the chance, said Neji, taking the Jukin position. Okay, let's go. Sasuke took his battle stance. He is a Hyuga, so Taijutsu is dangerous. I can hold my ground in that place. Besides, I have all the advantage in ninjutsu and jinjutsu. This battle is mine. I'm going to be Chunin, Sasuke thought. Neji and Sasuke launched themselves at each other. The two began to hit each other. Neji seemed to have a slight advantage over Sasuke, however he was able to recover some of Neji's blows due to his counter-attack style. Neji sent a blow with his right palm, Sasuke crouched down and sent an uppercut towards Neji, who blocked it. Now that he thought about it, Sasuke had to be careful with the slightest contact from Neji, because in the pre-eliminations, he showed that he was capable of closing the chakra points by just blocking your blows. Neji and Sasuke separated. The two had different blows, although there were not many. I told you, you can't beat me. Do you really think you can beat me in Taijutsu? Neji said. In the stands. It's amazing how Neji is able to keep up with Sasuke-kun. Ino said. What did you expect? His specialty is Taijutsu, it's what his clan specializes in, said Shikamaru. Something tells me he's holding back, Naruto said to Kiyomi, who giggled. There's a reason you're smart, but what if Sasuke shows you what he can do? Kiyomi said. I guess that would be fine. In the audience were the Hyuga elders with Hiashi Hyuga, the head of the clan, and his youngest daughter, Hanabi Hyuga. Neji Nai-san is very strong, there is no way that Uchiha will be able to beat him, said Hanabi, with full confidence in the representative of her clan in these exams. Maybe, but how about you keep watching your cousin? Hiashi said. Hi Two-san on the battlefield. Well, I think it's time to teach you a lesson. How about we raise the level? After all, we are in a stadium. Sasuke stretched his arms to his sides, pointing to the stands. We have to put on a show, Sasuke said, and disappeared in a blur. Neji opened his wide eyes wide, activated his Byakugan, trying to be as alert as possible. However, he was not able to see Sasuke in the stands. It can't be, said Naruto. What's wrong, Naru-kun? Kiyomi said, amused. That guy, he managed to be almost as fast as me without weights, said Naruto. Impressed, aren't you? Kiyomi said. Maybe, but remember that I have also trained this month, said Naruto. Ow, that's not fun, you don't let yourself win, Kiyomi pouted. Naruto looked at Kiyomi with a smile. She looked very cute. Naruto tapped Kiyomi's forehead with his index and middle fingers. Don't do those things, you manipulate me easily, said Naruto, looking back at Sasuke. On the battlefield. Neji did not see the blow that landed on his face coming. He was thrown backwards, but was able to stay on his feet. However, Sasuke appeared behind Neji and managed to land him another blow. Incredible. He reads faster without stamps. Neji thought. Sasuke began to go on the offensive, hitting Neji multiple times, who began to get desperate. He quickly recognized his mistake and took a deep breath. He had already fought against Lee before. He could handle this with his technique. Neji began to spin very quickly on his axis. Strangely, a dome of chakra began to appear protecting Neji. Hakesho. Kaiten. 8 trigrams celestial rotation. Sasuke sensed the danger and quickly moved away, narrowly avoiding the chakra dome. The chakra dome suddenly became strong, raising a lot of dust. Sasuke cautiously observed the chakra dome, which disappeared when Neji stopped spinning, surprised. That's Kaiten, the best defense technique of the Hyuga clan, said Neji, standing up. Yeah, I have to admit that was impressive, said Sasuke. In the stands. What? How is it that that member of the secondary branch can do that technique? Only the main branch can practice that, said a Hyuga elder. Who taught him? Hiashi, you must punish him, this is unacceptable, said another elder. Sometimes you should pay attention, he is representing us, if it weren't for the technique, the Uchiha would have destroyed him. Besides, no one taught him the technique, he learned it alone, he is a prodigy, the best of the Hyuga clan so far, said Hiashi, looking at the battle. On the battlefield. Well, now continuing, Neji launched himself at Sasuke with his Byakugan active. Sasuke kept his distance a bit, because now with his Dijutsu active, it was easier for Neji to close the chakra points, which would be very bad. Now what's happening? Are you just going to escape? Neji said, trying to hit Sasuke, who was dodging with agility. I'm just keeping my chances, Sasuke said. Have you realized that you can't win? Not really, Sasuke took a big leap back. Well, then let me show you. Niji took another posture, a more crouched one, his right arm extended behind him and his left arm forward, while he seemed to have an image of yin and yang beneath him, around him were kanji. It's time. Niji launched himself at high speed. Sasuke was surprised by Niji's speed, he only had to try to dodge. Hakesho. Haki Rakujkin SHM, 8 trigrams, 64 palms. Niji threw punches too fast that Sasuke could barely see. 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms. The Uchiha dodged the blows of the wide-eyed prodigy as best he could, however, some blows fell like stones on his body. For Sasuke, it was one of the worst pains he had ever felt. He could feel the strength and chakra ceiling behind each one of those blows. In the stands. This is bad, he had to receive at least 40 hits from the 64 palms, said Naruto. Yes, it's bad, I wonder if there is a way to reopen the chakra points. Kiyomi said, somewhat worried, she could see Sasuke's grimaces of pain. Well, to open a chakra point you need to drive a lot of it into the point to force it open, but that will hurt a lot, almost like punches themselves, and you could risk hurting yourself more, or you could wait for the points to heal. Chakra will open on their own, which won't be soon, said Naruto. Kiyomi remained silent with a serious face, watching her brother's game. It's incredible how Sasuke is at a disadvantage, Chaoji said. This can't be possible. Ino almost screamed. Well, what did you expect, Sasuke? Kiyomi and Naruto are not the only strong ones in these exams, as if that were not enough, Niji is a year older than us like everyone on his team, he has a little more experience than us, but if I've learned anything from those troublesome Uchihas, it's that they always find a way. Shikamaru said lazily. In the combat arena Niji finished his attack with a large double palm that Sasuke had to block by flying backwards. I still wonder, why haven't you activated your taijutsu? Because if I do I would beat you easily, Sasuke said, rubbing his arms. The I don't think so, even with your little red eyes, you couldn't beat me, the Byakugan is better than the Sharingan, said Niji, exuding pride. I'm not going to say anything about that, we'll decide who's better, for now, I'll prove to you that I'm good, even without Sharingan. Sasuke channeled a large amount of chakra into himself, he felt like something was uncovered inside him. But it hurt too much. Arg. Sasuke let out a cry of pain as he felt his chakra points being unblocked. So you've decided on that, huh? Naruto said with a serious face and arms crossed, it was a good alternative, Sasuke could now handle his chakra without problems, but in exchange his body received damage, and it's unknown why. Measure. Okay, time to teach you a lesson. Sasuke launched himself at high speed, again, Niji couldn't see him. That strategy again? Niji began to turn. Let's see how strong that dome is. Sasuke made hand seals. Kaiten. Kakaku no Jutsu. Sasuke launched a large fireball from his mouth. The fireball collided with the growing dome of chakra which protected Niji incredibly, the fire dissipated, showing an almost unharmed Niji. Niji looked at Sasuke with a serious face, it seemed like he was testing him. Sasuke disappeared and appeared in front of Niji, starting to fight in taijutsu. You see taijutsu again, is he crazy? Niji thought. Niji blocked and sent blows to Sasuke, who also blocked them, he was so fast that Niji couldn't block his chakra points. Sasuke grabbed Niji's palm and quickly extended a fist that landed in the Hyuga prodigy's face. Sasuke didn't lose time, his counterattack began with one more simple blow, he made different consecutive blows with his left arm and ended with a big right that sent Niji to crawl on the ground. The Hyuga got up, backed away acrobatically and took out different kunai and shuriken that he threw. Toward Sasuke, the Uchiha took out a kunai and deflected all the projectiles so that they all shot upwards, remaining suspended in the air. Sasuke jumped, grabbed the kunai and shurikens and threw them at Niji, who jumped to the sides, dodging the weapons that had previously been launched by him. Sasuke appeared in front of Niji and landed a huge attack on the Hyuga's stomach, who was thrown backwards. Sasuke passed through hand seals. Kaiten. Hasenka no Jutsu. Small fireballs came out of Sasuke, so Niji could only dodge, however, 3 fireballs were able to hit him, sending him badly injured towards a wall, he grunted in pain while he had some burns. He opened his eyes only to see Sasuke at a distance from him. Before I beat you, I have a question to ask you, Sasuke said. Tsk. Niji growled. Why do you hate the primary branch of the Hyuga so much? It's none of your business. Niji shouted. So? Well, it seems like it became everyone's business after you hurt Hinata that way, why did you do it? Was it out of envy? Niji frowned. Was it because of a small slip? Or what? Said Sasuke. It's because of what they do to us. Niji shouted. What do you mean? The Uchiha asked. I don't know who came up with the idea of dividing the clan into 2 branches, if I had him in front of me, I swear I would kill him. Who decides who is in charge? Just because they are from the main branch, we have to serve them. So much. We are family. Why do we have to be their slaves? Niji asked helplessly. Hinata watched sadly from the stands, she didn't like that mentality of her clan either. The elders, Hiashi and Hanabi looked on with stoic gazes, although the youngest seemed to hesitate, they don't know how we feel, they treat us like accessories or objects or however they see us, it's wrong, it's no way to live, it's their fault my father died. What do you mean? They couldn't cross that line, said Sasuke, not even his own clan was so ruthless. Let me show you something. Neji removed his ninja band from his forehead, showing that beneath it was hidden an X-shaped seal, which was surrounded by 2 light green lines. Naruto sharpened his gaze as he observed Niji's seal, Kushina did too. What is that? Sasuke murmured. This one here is a seal that is placed on each of us from the secondary branch. This is used to mainly seal our Byakugan at the moment we die, so that someone else does not discover our secrets. However, it also has the ability to control us in some way. A member of the main branch is able to activate it with a hand seal, and this seal will be responsible for destroying our brain cells. Sasuke gulped at that. In the stands. How can they possibly do that, it's too cruel. Kiyomi said, covering her mouth with her hands. Naruto didn't say anything, he remained calm. Don't tell me your father died because of that. Sasuke said. Something like that, but it's not your business, and neither is the moment Neji put his ninja band back on. Neji stood in the 64 palm position. Now, I must win this, said Neji Hakesho. Haki Rakujkin SHM, said Neji, throwing blows at Sasuke who received them without opposing. What are you doing? Kiyomi shouted. Naruto maintained his silence, knowing what was happening. 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 64 palms. Neji strongly hit Sasuke who fell to the ground forming a crater, a cloud of dust rose when it dissipated, he was seen Sasuke lying on the ground. I told you that your destiny was to lose, it was a mistake on your part not to activate your Sharingan, said Neji with a serious look. However, he was surprised to see how Sasuke exploded into smoke. He had no time to react when Sasuke came out of the ground and gave a big punch to his chin, sending him flying. I've wanted to try that strategy for a while, said Sasuke. Hey, listen to me, wide-eyed guy, I already told you, destiny may exist, but it is not completely decided, as long as you have the determination to be what you want, it is possible. Don't let that silly thought blind you from the reality. Neji got up after a hard fall, his Byakugan was still active. I already showed you that I can kick your ass without my Sharingan, but do you still want to see it? Well, you have it. Sasuke closed his eyes and when he opened them, they were red with 3 tomos spinning determinedly. Neji launched himself against Sasuke, however, now Sasuke could see Neji's every move in clear detail. The Uchiha perfectly dodged the blows and counterattacked strongly, little by little. Neji held his stomach, giving Sasuke more time, who delivered an uppercut straight to his face and finished off with another kick that sent Neji crawling, but he still didn't fall. Raiden. Jibashi. A really aggressive electric current came out of Sasuke's hands towards Neji that he couldn't dodge and was electrocuted. The weakness of your rotation is that it takes a while to take full effect, attacks faster than yours will break your perfect defense. Neji fell to the ground, Genma was about to declare Sasuke the winner, but no, it's not over yet, I can continue, I refuse to lose like this. Neji stood up once again without his Byakugan active. I must admit that you really are incredible, you oppose the rule of your main branch, and you continue fighting to maintain the pride of your clan. I guess there is still some affection, but your mentality about destiny, it's clumsy coming from a genius like you. Neji was surprised. Genius? He asked, stupefied. That's right, you learned the most difficult techniques of your clan even though you were from the secondary branch, when you were only supposed to serve and protect Hinata. However, you hurt her, a part of you didn't want to do that it wasn't the way to vent, but still, do you know what you did? You changed your destiny, from just being a servant to being one of the best genins in Konoha, Sasuke said. Neji looked down. You have some of my respect, but remember that you owe someone an apology. I'll end this now at high speed. Sasuke appeared in front of Neji and grabbed his head, making Neji look him straight in the eyes. The Hyuga gasped. Sleep. The tomos turned as the Sharingan shone, Neji's eyes closed and his body fell unconscious to the ground. It's over. The winner of the fight is Sasuke Uchiha. Genma shouted and the people cheered loudly. It's incredible how they only focus on the fight they saw and not on the background. Well, what can be expected from them? Sasuke thought going up the stand. Sasuke finished climbing the stairs until he reached his leaf companions, who were waiting for him. Congratulations on your victory, Sasuke, Kiyomi said, happy for her brother. Thank you, Kiyomi, said Sasuke, who stared at Naruto. What? Aren't you going to congratulate me? Sasuke said. Are you talking to me? Said Naruto, who was thinking. Yeah, congratulations on your victory, Sasuke, said Naruto. What's wrong with you, Naruto? You're more thoughtful, said Kiyomi. Don't worry, it's just that there's a lot to think about, don't you remember? Naruto whispered to his companions. Don't worry, Naruto, we already know, you don't have to worry, the plan we have is good, said Sasuke. Alright, the three stopped when they saw how Genma was preparing to speak. Please. Come forward, Shikamaru, Nara and Sabaku no Tamari. Genma shouted. No, I better go, this is very problematic, said Shikamaru as Tamari confidently walked down. Don't be acting like that, go fight for the honor of the blade. Ino said, pushing Shikamaru down the steps, who fell face up in the sand. What's wrong with this bum? Don't you want to fight? This guy doesn't have my support. People started throwing trash at Shikamaru, who couldn't care less. Troublesome blonde, he pushed me here, now I have to fight, Shikamaru thought. Are you scared? Tamari said mockingly. It's so troublesome to fight only with women, Shikamaru thought. Well, if you're not going to start then I will. Tamari started running towards Shikamaru. Wait. I haven't said to start yet. Genma shouted, trying to get Tamari's attention, but she turned a deaf ear. I forgot that this girl was as impulsive as a myth, that's also problematic, the Nara thought again. Taking out two kunai, Tamari took out her closed fan from her back and tried to hit Shikamaru, who apparently blocked her blow with the kunai, however, it could not be known due to a large curtain of dust that was raised by the collision. Tamari was surprised to see that Shikamaru was on top in front of her without any scratches. The truth is, whether I become a chunin or not, it makes no difference, anyway, I think I shouldn't let myself be won by a girl, said Shikamaru, smiling. Tamari growled and opened her fan on the third moon, blowing a great gust of wind that raised another large curtain of dust that, when it dissipated, revealed Shikamaru's two kunai stuck in the wall, while the Nara was gone. He's fast, at least for hiding, thought the Tsunagenin. Shikamaru was hiding behind some trees. The truth is, it wouldn't be polite for a boy to beat a girl, but who said I was polite? He thought again, nice try, he's trying to make me come closer to the shade of those trees, but it won't be like that, I won't fall for his game. Shikamaru could hear the shouts of a haughty Ino supporting him from the stands, however, he was in another world. How I would love to be a cloud, just to be out there, floating without making any effort, just going wherever the wind takes me, that is a life for me, thought Shika, who subtly observed the hole that Sasuke had made. Created on the ground at the moment of hitting Niji. You won't hide forever. Fuden. Kamitachi. Tamari fanned and released a great gust of wind that cut the bark of the trees where Shikamaru was hiding. The wind again raised a large amount of dust. Tamari was alarmed to see a shadow that stretched out from the dust. She jumped back as fast as she could, trying not to let the shadow touch her. She continued until the shadow seemed to extend no further. Summary. Tamari kept everything under control. She calculated that Shikamaru's shadow could extend about 15.32 meters from its starting point. As time went by, she discovered that it could extend further due to the shadow that the large walls of the stadium generated. She sensed that Shikamaru was waiting for the sun to set more, so that the shadow would lengthen. Shikamaru stood in his thinking and meditating pose, which confused many, but Asuma explained that his IQ was super high, over 200, so he liked to take everything in stride. Tamari, who was good at long-distance attacks, took advantage of her position and sent gusts of wind that hurt Shika, who had taken off his jacket for some reason. Shika threw some kunai to distract Tamari from his shadow that was getting longer and longer. Tamari, upon completely moving away from the shadow, thought that it would not extend any further until his brother warned him to look up. Tamari saw a small parachute created by Shikamaru's ninja jacket and sash, which was holding a kunai. The small shadow created by the makeshift parachute was enough to expand the range of Shikamaru's shadow much further. Alarmed, Tamari backed away as much as she could until the shadow stopped. It was basically much further away from Shikamaru, but she didn't care about that. She placed her open fan on the ground and stood behind him making hand seals with the intention of finishing it. The fight, because if it spread any further, Shikamaru would win by the shadow of the walls. However, she was surprised to see that she could no longer control her body. She asked Shikamaru the reason, until she herself realized she was right in front of the hole that Sasuke had made in his battle against Niji. Shikamaru was not trying to catch her with his previous attempts, he was only leading her to his main trap. The shadow of Shikamaru entered through the entrance of the large tunnel that Sasuke held and left through the exit, which was right behind Tamari. He took into account all the ways of extended shadow except one, the underground shadow. End of summary. That's Shikamaru. Shouted a really excited Ino. That lazy guy, he's really good, said Kiyomi. I didn't expect anything less. Shika has the essence of one of the true values of a ninja, patience and strategy, said Naruto with a smile. Shikamaru walked forward making Tamari do the same. I'm completely at your mercy, it can't be. She thought, frustrated Tamari. When they were face to face, Shikamaru raised his arm, Tamari closed her eyes waiting for something until. Well, it's over, I give up, said Shikamaru lazily. Everyone was left with blank stares, even Naruto. What did that sloth say? Ino shouted. I told you he would give up, I know Shikamaru better than your Ino. Chaoji said, eating his 15th bag of chips. What? But why? Said Tamari. Meh, I'm low on chakra, I spent it all trying to catch you, my jutsu would have only lasted about 10 seconds longer, said Shikamaru, shrugging his shoulders. Yes, I don't have any chakra left, he says, don't fool me, I can feel that you still have enough chakra left to maintain the jutsu for about 3 minutes, Naruto thought, but he left his friend in peace with his decision, of course. I'm sure he wants to sleep, he thought. That guy is very unique, Genma thought with a smile, the winner of the match is Temari no Sabaku, due to the surrender of your opponent, please withdraw to continue with the next battle. Shikamaru went up lazily while Temari went up shocked. Okay. Everyone ready for the next battle. Please come forward Mito Namikaze and Kiyomi Uchiha. The time has come Kiyomi, good luck said Naruto thank you Naruto-kun, but I don't need it, I'm going to show what I'm capable of Kiyomi began to go down towards the sand, you better not lose to that Uchiha, you hear? Menma said to Mito. Who are you to force me hot tomato? Mito said to Menma as she raised her fist. Good luck daughter, show them everything. Tebane. Kushina said, thanks mom. Mito went down the stairs quickly. From what I know, those two girls are very close friends, this will be interesting, Genma thought as he watched the Genins get off. Mito and Kiyomi came down completely and positioned themselves opposite each other, in the middle was Genma ready to start the battle. The Jinchuriki of a half Kyuubi and an Uchiha with Sharingan, this battle will be worth it, Orochimaru thought behind his disguise. So, are you ready Myth Namikaze? Always are you ready Kiyomi Uchiha? The girl nodded. Well then, let's get started. Genma. As usual, jumps back, without wasting time, Mito quickly launched himself towards Kiyomi, stretching out a punch that was dodged by the Uchiha. Always so impulsive, aren't you? Kiyomi asked. It's part of my charm, I can't leave it behind, replied Mito. The girls began to exchange blows, from afar you could see the mastery that the two girls had over their taijutsu style, Mito attacked with quick attacks that were dodged with great movements by Kiyomi, it was then that the Uchiha tried to counterattack, however, Mito also kept her defense high, in general, the battle was very even, and neither of the two received damage. Wow, look how they move. Said Sakura surprised. Yes, it's incredible Ino responded to her friend. Mito knows how to overwhelm Kiyomi, normally almost no one forces her to directly block blows, Sasuke said. In addition, the battle style he uses can be seen from afar, which his father taught him, they are fast and non-stop movements, normally making an attack this continuous requires great resistance on the part of the user, which is not a problem because of his blood Naruto gave his contribution. Kushina was in a dilemma, on the one hand, she wanted to support her blood daughter, however, she also wanted to support Kiyomi, daughter of her late best friend, furthermore, the girl had also earned her affection, with nothing more than think, I opt for the easiest action. Come on, Kiyomi, Mito, you can do it. Don't make it easy for either of you. Kushina shouted. The two girls heard the red-haired woman scream, they both smiled, it was exciting, the fight, the cheering, the speed and the adrenaline, everything was ecstatic, at least in this context, another blow from the blonde was dodged by the black-eyed girl, who, even without her Sharingan, was very skilled. The Uchiha sent a fairly strong counterattack blow that Mito tried to block, but it was too late, thus receiving the damage. First hit his mind thought the Uchiha, sending another flurry of blows, due to the hit previously received, she was put on the defensive, now the blonde girl was witness to the offensive power of the Uchiha. Finally, Mito was able to catch a blow from Kiyomi, without wasting time, he sent an upward hook to Kiyomi's stomach, a sharp blow. The fist hit its target directly, making the black-haired woman bend her posture imminently, the blonde grabbed Kiyomi's arm. And began to spin rapidly. Mito's strength made a spectacle when he completely lifted the Uchiha from the ground. Mito released Kiyomi, causing her to fly through the air. The Uchiha recompassed herself by tracing seals. Kaiten. Hasenka no Jutsu. Kiyomi released several small fireballs at Mito. So you already go with ninjutsu huh? The blonde dodged the fireballs by jumping and doing somersaults. The flurry of attacks ended. My turn. Myth passed through hand seals. Suiton. Suiton no Jutsu. Mito launched two very dangerous pressurized water bullets towards Kiyomi. I don't believe it hand seals flew Kaiten. Endin. A small burst of fire came out of Kiyomi colliding with Mito's water bullets, creating some haze, nothing to block the vision of the people in the stands. Kiyomi put herself on guard, a running myth came out of the fog attacking Kiyomi, he neutralized her and led her into combat, however, the Uchiha was surprised to see that two other myths came out of the fog. Cage Bunshin's Kiyomi said, being overwhelmed by the myth clones, and she didn't wait for more to come. This won't be enough Kiyomi activated her Sharingan, now she had the advantage, she moved her head, while her eyes left a trail of bright red and faster than lightning, blows fell on the shadow clones as the Kiyomi's body was spinning, the explosions of smoke did not wait. Wow, that was too fast, Chaoji expressed his surprise. The Uchiha girl deactivated her Sharingan. It was a very good strategy. Her Sharingan helped her in situations in which she was in danger, and thus she could counteract the myth strategies. Now where are you? Kiyomi started looking for Mito everywhere, front, back, right, left, up. No way. Kiyomi jumped just in time when Mito appeared from the ground trying to catch the Uchiha by surprise. You are an expert at copying Sasuke strategies, said Kiyomi. It's not copying, you don't know what it is, it's copying, said Kiyomi. If you're trying to make me feel bad, it's not going to work. The blonde girl gets into a battle stance. Kiyomi does it too. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. The Uzumaki makes the characteristic seal of the jutsu, and 15 clones appeared trying to attack Kiyomi. The Uchiha girl decides to increase the level of her battle. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Kiyomi created only a clone of her prepared to fight against the myth clones. The Kiyomi clone manages to disperse 6 myth clones with quick blows and the occasional flash of the Sharingan. However, the myth clones manage to dissipate the Kiyomi clone, leaving only the original. I won't let you beat me Sharingan. Kiyomi's red eyes were present. Kiyomi could see all of Mito's movements. However, the amount of Mito managed to surpass Kiyomi. A clone of Mito managed to kick to Kiyomi, who cornered herself against the wall. The 3 remaining myth clones, one of the blondes gave an uppercut towards the black-haired woman who flew away. However, she recompassed herself and stuck herself towards the wall. The myth clones followed her. A clone tried to hit her. Kiyomi crouched down and swept, taking out the blonde's clone, which recompassed itself. Wait here with me, said the original who was on the ground. The clone nodded. Kiyomi turned around again with his Sharingan shining. 2 really quick hits, 2 clones dissipated. Kiyomi jumped dodging an air bullet. Being in the air, he looked down with his Sharingan shining. His eyes widened. Futen. Tatapa. The original myth released a large gust of air. Doesn't he know what he's doing? I have an affinity for fire, Kiyomi thought. Kaiten. Dikakyu no Jutsu. The large ball of fire came out of Kiyomi's mouth, the wind fanning Kiyomi's fire. Suiton. Mizurappa, Mito and his clone launched a large burst of water that almost extinguished the fire, a large curtain of steam. However, Kiyomi was surprised to see that bullets of pressurized wind passed through the steam. Kiyomi with his Sharingan managed to dodge a little, however, it was in the air. It tried to turn, however, he could barely dodge the bullets, so they began to make slight cuts that were somewhat deep. Kiyomi fell to the ground and staggered a little. Shortly, Mito lunged at her with a fist, but the Sharingan came forward again, dodged a blow and returned the punch that Mito could not dodge. A great combo of punches, left punch, right hook, kicks, and he managed to send Mito back. Without time to react, Kiyomi launched an electric blast Raiden. Jibashi. The rays hit Mito's defenseless body, and she was electrocuted and in the process gave her some paralysis. It's time to end this. Kiyomi approached Mito who was paralyzed. No, I can't lose like this, Mito thought somewhat desperately. I guess there's no choice, I won't let my hostess lose to a girl with those eyes, you better bear it and don't forget it. Control your emotions. Said the Kyuubi in Myth's mind. Thank you little fox. Thought Myth, don't tell me like that. Said the Kyuubi. A reddish chakra appeared around Mito, a rather strong killing intent appeared in the stadium. The civilians who survived the Kyuubi attack felt the same sensation as that same day. Mito disappeared in a blur of speed. So your fox friend is already helping you, right? Mito appeared behind Myth, his features now more savage, aggressive red eyes with a slanted pupil. Let's say yes, Myth's voice was somewhat deeper and raspier. Well then, if we go like this. Kiyomi jumped back and got into a battle stance. 2 blurs of speed and Kiyomi and Mito began to exchange blows. It's incredible how the Yondame's daughter is able to control the Kyuubi's chakra, she must have great control over her emotions, thought Orochimaru. Kiyomi and Mito moved at a speed that was almost imperceptible to civilians, the other ninjas were able to see them. Mito threw really fast punches towards Kiyomi who came forward with his Sharingan. Kiyomi's body failed her thanks to the cuts she had on her body. Mito took advantage and hit Kiyomi in the stomach, who almost screamed because of the pain she felt. Mito continued hitting her friend with some cruelty, bruises appeared on her body. Kiyomi's body, however, managed to dodge some of the blows and counterattacked. Now it was Mito who was receiving blows from the Uchiha. Kiyomi kicked Mito hard, who leaned against the wall of the stadium. Time to show my jutsu ox, ram, monkey. Chidori. Senbon. The sound of the Chidori sounded in Kiyomi's hand, however, she made a cutting movement towards the air. Suddenly, Senbon made of lightning appeared and at high speed headed towards Mito, who ran by the wall dodging the electric projectiles. The myth passed through hand seals. Futen. Shinkajouku. Mito spat out quite a few vacuum air bullets. This time you won't hit me. Kiyomi did a somersault, moved her arm throwing more Senbon that this time gave birth to Mito who was electrocuted again and this time, cut. Mito was distracted and Kiyomi took advantage. At an amazing speed, the Uchiha appeared in front of Mito, giving a big kick to the Uzumaki who shot upwards. The spectators raised their gaze observing the blonde's body. Kiyomi threw a kunai that passed by Mito. The kunai became a clone of the Uchiha. The clone quickly hit the blonde hard with a kick and she fell into a tailspin. The real Kiyomi leaned heavily against the wall and launched herself strongly against Mito, attacking her. However, the Uzumaki managed to grab the Uchiha, turning around in the air, leaving to Kiyomi helpless. Mito raised his fist for a while. Kiyomi opened his eyes wide, seeing how chakra accumulated in his fist. He tried to do something, but it was too late. Take this. Mito hit Kiyomi hard in her stomach, sending her hard against the ground. The Uchiha hit the ground hard, raising a large curtain of dust. Mito recompassed herself in the air and landed standing in front of a Kiyomi almost buried in the ground, a large crater around its body. "This is over," Mito said, grabbing his knees. "It's amazing," said Sakura. "This is bad, very bad," said Naruto. Mito's blow was really shocking. His chakra plus the Kyuubi's chakra must have been too strong, thought Naruto. "Come on Kiyomi, you have to get up," said Sasuke. Well, apparently the Hokage's daughter won. I really expected more from the last female Uchiha, Orochimaru thought. Kiyomi fought very well, but in the end, Mito came out on top, Minato thought. Well, the winner of the match is Genma was about to decide Mito as a winner, however. No, it's not over yet. Kiyomi started to get up, Genma jumped back as the fight continued. "I'm sorry Kiyomi, but I will be the winner, you already lost." Mito raised his fist trying to hit Kiyomi, however, Kiyomi managed to predict Mito's move, stopping Mito's blow. "You're not the only one who can copy the moves." Kiyomi gathered chakra into her fist with her great chakra control. "How about I return the favor?" Kiyomi hit the Uzumaki hard, who was thrown towards the wall, creating another crater. "Wow, now everyone's copying moves," said Sasuke, sighing. It seems that he managed to get rid of her, but those blows are too strong. Now the fight is more serious. They are not going to get out of this unscathed, said Naruto. "TSK, that hurt." Mito grunted, even though he was in the crater of the wall. Kiyomi stood breathing too hard, that hit in her stomach. "This blow really hurts me too much, but I can't lose. I won't let myself win, not that far." Mito made the seal of the cage Bunshin. 30 Mito clones appeared around Kiyomi ready to hit her. "Keep trying, I won't give up." The clones launched themselves at Kiyomi. "You know, this reminds me of a lot of things," Kiyomi thought, fighting the clones. Mini flashback. "So, you train in this field?" asked a 9-year-old myth. "That's right, it was Naruto Shisui and Itachi's training camp," Kiyomi said, throwing some kunai and shurikens. "So why did you bring me here?" asked the blonde. "Well, the truth is, why else am I bringing you to a training camp?" said the Uchiha, sarcastic. "Well, I guess you want us to fight, don't you? Yeah, how about you give me the best you've got, huh?" Kiyomi jumped and got into a battle stance. "It's okay, just don't be sorry." Cage Bunshin. 20 myth clones appeared. "I guess if you're serious." Kiyomi activated her Sharingan. And flashback. "I can't believe how long we've been together." Kiyomi turned around hitting 4 myth clones. "But we are equal." Flashback. "So, that's your goal?" "Well, it's basically Naruto's, but I want to help him. I'm impressed by the mental strength he has." Kiyomi said. "Well, I guess looking for an S-rank criminal is not a very smart thing to do," said Mito. "I know, but it's something that the three of us want. If you want, you shouldn't accompany us," said Kiyomi. "Hey, don't worry, you're my friend. What I mean friend, my best friend, with you until the end." Mito said, raising his fist. Kiyomi smiled and gave her friend a fist bump. "Thank you." And flashback. Another 8 clones were dissipated. "Heh, I guess we're special or something." Kiyomi thought. Raiden. Jibashi, lightning bolts came out of Kiyomi's hands, dissipating the remaining clones. Finally, the original myth manages to emerge from its crater, descends quickly and rests heavily on the ground. Seeing how his clones were dissipated, Mito prepared for his final attack. "I guess we have to finish this, right?" "I can't take all day," said Mito. "Heh, now you're arrogant like your brothers." "Don't compare me to him," said Myth. "I love him and everything, he's my brothers, but he has to change. Anyway, but hey, we have to put an end to this." Yes. Myth created a shadow clone. Mito opened her palm, while the clone made some rotation movements. The sound of chakra rotation rang throughout the stadium as a Rasengan appeared on Myth's palm. "Wow, that's the Rasengan Naruto is talking about," said Kiyomi. "Is that so?" surprised. Said Myth. "A little, but I can't lose." Kiyomi bent her knees and lowered her arm, opening her palm. The characteristic sound of the trilling of thousands at once resounded with a great roar of lightning that intensified with each second. "There is the Chidori, it looks like something that can counter my Rasengan, but I'm not afraid, it's already gone too far." Mito dispelled his clone and prepared to advance. This is something quite interesting. If the two of them collide that attack, I don't know who can win, Naruto thought. Wow, I guess I can't trust 100% of who is going to win anymore, Sasuke also thought. So, let's see who wins. How about we finish the show, best friend? Said Mito. Nothing would make me happier. I'm tired, said Kiyomi. Haha, let's go. Mito's feet made cracks in the ground when the blonde launched herself against the Uchiha. I will win. Kiyomi's feet also broke the ground, launching herself against her friend. Here we go. The distance between the two genins was shortened in an instant, the red eyes with Kiyomi Tomo's observed for a moment, the red ones with Myth's torn pupil. May the best win, they thought before the final clash. Rasengan Chidori. The two attacks collided, a large number of cracks were located under the sandals of the two Kunoichis who were fighting for domination. They were not aware of the large amount of energy they accumulated. The techniques caused big gusts of wind that made people in the stands cover their eyes. Wow, they're too strong. Ino almost screamed. Incredible, they have great flames of youth. Rock Lee shouted with tears in his eyes. Mito, Kiyomi, you really outdid yourselves, thought Kushina. I'm proud of both of you. No, I'm going to lose. Kiyomi's Chidori rays intensified, taking on a dark blue color. You're strong, but I am stronger. Mito drove more chakra into the Rasengan, making it take on a purple color due to the fusion with the Kyuubi's chakra. Even a small air red took over his body. I'm going to win. The two thought. The red eyes of the two girls shone brightly. The two girls gave a final scream, a large explosion of chakra took over the stadium, everyone covered their eyes due to the light. Finally the light faded, small fragments of chakra fell from the sky like snowflakes. What happened? Sasuke said, uncovering his face. I don't know, it seems like the chakra got overloaded and exploded, said Naruto. What? So what happened to them, are they okay? Kushina's concern was present for the two younger Kunoichis. Genma was stupefied, he did not expect the fight to end that way. Right now he was searching with his eyes for the two genin, however he could not find them. There were quite a few fragments of chakra remaining, however, when it dissipated a little, it disappeared. I could see two figures still standing. Mito and Kiyomi stood staring at each other, the Kyuubi's eyes faded, as did Kiyomi's Sharingan. His arms had burns that looked a bit serious in plain sight. Finally, the eyes of the two Kunoichis closed, falling backwards. Neither of them moved. Genma couldn't find his words. Since both girls were passed out, I declared this a draw, so both participants are disqualified. Genma announced the result of the match. There was a ghostly silence throughout the stadium, until from one moment to the next, all the people in the stadium began to cheer and applaud the two girls. I must admit, they are two splendid genins you have there. Hokage Dono Orochimaru expressed his impression of the fight and the result of it. This battle has had its fruits. Now he knew more about the Uchiha girl, and why not, of the Hokage's blade. Thank you very much. Kazuki Dono Minato accepted Orochimaru's congratulations. I guess you're more interested in her now, right? Damn psychopath. The Hokage's thoughts showed his true feelings. Thank God the Sand and Snake was not capable of red minds. What are we supposed to do now? Sasuke asked Naruto. I don't know about you, but I think they can't move, huh? Naruto jumped from the stands, landing next to Kiyomi. I guess you're right. Sasuke jumped and landed next to Mito. The two Uchihas picked up the Kunoichis from two nuptials. The flakes of chakra were still falling, but in smaller quantities. They had certainly made a big mess. You could see that the cracks extended to the walls of the stadium. The two Uchihas were carrying the girls towards a stretcher that would take them to the infirmary. I1. Naruto heard the soft and weak voice of Kiyomi, who dreamed of victory over her friend. No, Naruto responded simply. Did I lose? Kiyomi said to herself sadly. No, they were tied, but both were disqualified. Naruto clarified the Uchiha's doubts. I see, don't feel bad, remember that here you qualify regardless of whether you won or lost. Plus. To me, you fought tremendously, you really are very strong. Thank you, Naruto-kun. How about now we go to heal those wounds? You still have to watch my game, I wouldn't miss it, I'll be supporting you, you never fail me. I never will. Naruto looked at Kiyomi, the Uchiha's tired eyes seemed to captivate Naruto's infinite black ones. We're always going to be there for each other, right? Kiyomi told the Uchiha. Yes, you're right. Naruto gave a smile to the girl who also smiled. She is closing her eyes, enjoying the closeness with the boy, warm and comfortable. I like it, the girl thought. I don't know if you're listening to me this time. It was Sasuke who was speaking. He was carrying an apparently fainted Myth. You fought quite well, despite being a heavy and hyperactive blonde, Sasuke said casually. Gentle. And you know when to say things, don't you? Stupid emo. Sasuke froze when he heard Mito's voice. Be glad, at least I'm recognizing how well you fought. Do I need your recognition to feel good? No, but I'm glad you're this strong. I like it again. Sasuke didn't realize what he was saying. A blushing Mito looked embarrassed. Sasuke realized it and turned away. Made him nervous. I mean, I like that look. I mean, I like how you fight, you understand me? Ugh, Sasuke's mind burned. Thank you, stupid emo. The blonde turned her gaze Sasuke. Just continued on his way, calming down when he saw that Mito had not taken it the wrong way. A mischievous Kushina watched the interaction of the four from the stands. Haha, it's getting better and better, he said, rubbing the palms of his hands. You Kushina-san, said Kakashi next to him. Oh please. Don't you see it? Finally, after taking the two kunoichis, Sasuke and Naruto returned to the stands. A regular ninja used a Doton Jutsu to restore the battlefield. Okay, now I want you to come forward, Kankuro no Sabaku and Gara no Sabaku. Excuse me, instructor, I surrender. Kankuro shouted. What happens that today people keep giving up? Gemma asked herself with a tired expression. Well, the winner is Sabaku no Gara due to the surrender of his opponent. Genma raised his hand and closed his eyes, announcing the result. There's only one battle left, and it's yours, huh? Orochimaru thought, looking at a certain black-haired man. Well, there for the final battle of the first round, I want Naruto Uchiha and Namikaze Uzumaki Menma to come forward. Genma shouted with some excitement. He was certainly waiting for this battle, as was everyone in the stadium, the new Uchiha prodigy versus the son of the Hokage. Naruto went down in his new Wind Gust Shunshin, and Menma went down in a Water Shunshin. Well, it's time. Menma was overflowing with anticipation. The entire stadium was silent, waiting for the battle they were going to experience. Menma smiled, showing his teeth. He was eager to put this Uchiha in his place, while Naruto kept a serene face, everything ready to start the next match. Uzumaki Menma vs Uchiha Naruto. This fight is going to be good, more than you think, because what makes you feel the most emotion is what you least expect. In Konoha there was a large amount of noise that could be heard even outside the village. The cheers of the villagers kept alive the Konoha stadium that was about to witness a great battle between the Hokage's son and one of the last Uchihas. Menma looked at Naruto with a big misplaced smile, because there was about to be a fight. Naruto kept his stoic face, which hid the feelings he really felt. It was a mix between anticipation, excitement, worry and seriousness. He was about to execute a great plan that would change Menma's life, and with any luck, it would change for the better. Kushina was quite worried about what was about to happen. The plan that Naruto had told her was quite risky, and she was also worried because if the process went wrong, her son and perhaps Naruto himself would not survive, but Naruto had made it clear to her that she could believe in him, Minato observed with a look. Serious from the box, Orochimaru saw him with an amused look. What's wrong, Yondaime? Orochimaru asked, trying to mock Minato from the safety of his disguise. Well, almost safety. I only ask you to watch this battle carefully. Kazuki Dono. Minato placed his hands covering his mouth waiting for the fight. Tell me it hasn't started yet. Sasuke was surprised to hear his sister's voice behind him. Hey, aren't you supposed to be in the infirmary? Sasuke asked. That's supposed to be, but it wasn't like that. I'm not going to miss Naruto's fight. Kiyomi began to look towards the arena with great emotion. So it's going to start now? I should have thought you would be here too, said Sasuke, addressing the blonde Uzumaki, who appreciates not being hurt in any way. It seems that your fox friend is of great help to you. That's right, he's an excellent doctor. If you say that to me again, oh please, okay. Everyone pay attention for the final battle of the first phase of the finals, or something like that. Genma got a little tangled anyway. The only thing left to do is this. Menma Uzumaki, are you ready? Menma nodded his head, the smile still adorning his face. Naruto Uchiha, are you ready? The Uchiha nodded with his serene gaze, taking light breaths. Everything is going to be okay, you have it planned, you can do it, well then. The wind blew gently, moving the red and jet black hair. The leaves of the different Konoha trees swayed with the wind. In the middle of the sand, there were only the two boys, the one who was always in front and the one who tried to reach him. With all his strength, and now, that boy believed that he had his chance, and in his mind he believed that he would take advantage of it wholesale. This time, I will beat you. Dadabeo. The Reed thought before the announcement began. Menma and Naruto launched themselves against each other. You could see the images of certain small children running towards each other. When the two were close, finally the fight of the two big ones began, with a violent clash of forearms that took off a slight gust of wind. The two separated and the battle began. Menma threw blows that Naruto dodged by crouching or retreating. A direct blow went towards Naruto, who blocked it with his hand, pushing Menma's limb. I get up immediately after being laid down. Menma sent more boxing punches towards Naruto, who dodged each one by turning his body and blocking the fists with his palms. Finally, after a while, Naruto began to counterattack. He sent blows towards Menma, who also blocked them with some difficulty. Menma managed to catch a fist from Naruto, who also caught a blow from Menma. The two stared for a while until a knee he fell on Menma's stomach, who bent a little. Naruto kicked his leg, destabilizing him, and then he turned on his axis, giving a powerful kick with his other leg, sending Menma dragging to the ground. However, Menma was not even lazy. He acrobatically raised and took out kunai and shuriken, throwing them towards the Uchiha, who took out a kunai and blocked them all. Naruto threw his only kunai at Menma, who blocked it with his own weapon. Menma launched himself towards Naruto, with his kunai held firmly in a reverse grip. The Uzumaki attempted a cut against Naruto, who was agilely dodging it. Menma attempted a horizontal cut with which the black-haired man crouched down. With a great acrobatic movement, Naruto turned on the ground and with an upward kick to Menma's hand, making him release his grip. Kunai, with his hand resting on the ground, Naruto turned and placed a kick on Menma's stomach, who again grabbed his stomach, another turn, and another kick landed, this time on Menma's face. The Redeed separated from Naruto, allowing him to compose himself. Menma wiped some blood in his mouth. TSK Menma growled and lunged at Naruto again. Another great Taijutsu battle took place. Wow, Menma has advanced too much in his Taijutsu, before he couldn't even touch Naruto, Sakura said surprised. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like Naruto is holding back, Kiyomi whispered to her brothers. You can't jump to conclusions that quickly, you have to keep watching the battle, Sasuke responded to his sister. Okay, but I hadn't seen Naruto's movements that rigid, the girl gave her opinion. What do you mean by that? Says Sasuke. Well, he doesn't move as fast as he normally does, it's like he wants to prolong the battle, Kiyomi said. I see, you're right, but he's probably thinking about something. Sasuke said. Could be. Menma continued attacking Naruto, who limited himself to dodging and launching accurate blows when Menma let his guard down. Naruto grabbed Menma's arm and hit hard with his other arm, separating Menma from him with a big kick. Kaiten. Dikakyu no Jutsu. A large fireball came out of Naruto's mouth, heading dangerously towards the Uzumaki, who made hand seals. Suiton. Sujinheki. Menma spit out a light stream of water from his mouth that then spread, forming a wall made entirely of the liquid. The fireball collided with the wall, creating a large curtain of steam. Naruto's senses activated when he heard the air cut off. The Uchiha turned acrobatically, dodging kunai and shurikens. Naruto dodged without any problem, however he also noticed quite dangerous pressurized air bullets. He learned more air jutsus, thought the black-haired man, who landed and made hand seals. Futen. Tatapa. A large gust of wind came out of Naruto's mouth, dispersing the large curtain of steam. When the steam dissipated, Menma could be seen next to some shadow clones. Now apply the quantity strategy. Menma's clones launched themselves against Naruto. But he forgot about Konoha's specialty, quality. Naruto dodged a blow from a clone and elbowed him, dispelling it. The other clones launched blows in a row, and sometimes disorganized, trying to distract the Uchiha, who didn't seem phased. A large flurry of blows dispelled 4 of the clones. Naruto jumped and gave a big kick to another clone. Another clone grabbed him from behind, trying to stop him. However, the Uchiha pushed off the ground and jumped, turning around with the clone. Naruto extended his legs. Kicking 2 more clones twice, finally falling with an elbow to the clone, who dissipated on the ground. Naruto got up and dodged a blow from the original Menma. In an acrobatic move, Naruto did a backflip, landing his feet on Menma's back, propelling himself with it. The Uchiha jumped back, kicking Menma. When the Uzumaki turned around, he saw Naruto in the air tracing seals. Futen. Renkiden. Naruto inflated his chest enormously and took out a really big air bullet. It was more or less half his size. Menma was barely able to dodge it. The bullet hit the ground and expelled Menma back. He recompassed himself. The air, but upon landing, he fell due to slight cuts on his arm. The air bullet managed to hit me at one point, damn. Menma got a little angry. This guy, he's ahead of me again, and he hasn't even activated his Sharingan. Menma thought. Naruto, what kind of training did he do? He's holding back, but he's still able to cope with Menma, which is not that easy, plus he hasn't activated his Sharingan, Kiyomi thought. Menma got up. What's wrong? Is that all? Naruto asked. He seemed to have an arrogant expression on his face. Maybe you're provoking him, what do you have in mind? Kiyomi said. I don't know, Naruto doesn't normally act like that. Besides, he doesn't know that practically nothing, you know. Yes, but this is strange, what did you just say? Asked a red-haired boy. You don't seem really demanding, said Naruto. Okay, now I don't know what's happening, Kiyomi said. Damn. How dare you? Menma was getting angry. It is what it is. Naruto's face was stoic, more or less the same as Itachi's. His attitude seemed arrogant. TSK, you're going to regret it. Menma's wounds were healing quickly. His chakra seemed to become more evil. It seems that the Kyuubi's chakra is beginning to appear, but his chakra feels more sinister than myths, Naruto thought. Menma's eyes glowed a torn slit red, his eyes were bloodthirsty. You're going to pay for your words. Menma's voice was deeper than normal. Well, the plan begins, said Naruto, swallowing saliva. What do you think of this? Menma showed himself with a battle stance, his red eyes looking furiously at Naruto. Naruto refused to activate his Sharingan. He has confidence in himself. Menma came out with a great shot of speed towards Naruto, who almost lost sight of Menma due to the great increase in strength. Menma stretched out a big blow that Naruto dodged thanks to his danger instinct. The blow, when dodged, unleashed a great gust of wind. His physical strength increased too much, Naruto thought. Menma hit at high speed that Naruto dodged. Naruto jumped back dodging a big kick from Menma. "Don't escape, you bastard." Menma shouted, launching himself towards Naruto again. Menma launched an axe kick towards Naruto who doubled his body. Menma's foot broke the ground with a loud crash. Naruto sent a high kick that broke the block, another large gust of wind. "Naruto increased his strength too," said Kiyomi. "That's how it is." Naruto sent a combination of boxing blows. Menma crouched down and sent his body to the right to dodge Naruto's flurry of blows. Menma launched a counterattack. Naruto crouched and sent a sweep of his legs towards Menma. The Redeed jumped back with a spin. "Let's see what you think of this." Menma threw a punch. Naruto took a few steps back. Menma grabbed his hand and gave the cross-hand seal, creating a cage Bunshin that was holding onto his hands. The clone let go of Menma, and the two began to attack Naruto. "I shouldn't trust myself anymore." Naruto activated his Sharingan and gave two quick blows, avoiding the rest of the clones. Then he deactivated his Dojutsu. Naruto without wasting time attacked the original left blow. This was repeated 3 times, and then he gave a hook with his right. Menma resisted the blows with great strength and punched Naruto who received it. "Ugh," Naruto growled. Menma finished off with a kick. Naruto's feet dragged along the ground and he remained stable. "Those were good hits." Naruto kept one eye closed in pain. Erg Menma gave a roar trying to deliver a downward blow. Naruto headed back and landed a downward kick on Menma's face who did not fall. Menma grabbed Naruto's foot and started to lift him up. The Redeed tried to crash the Uchiha into the ground. Naruto leaned on the ground with his hands, grabbed Menma's head with his feet and with great force slammed Menma into the ground. "Looks like it didn't go well for you," said Naruto. "TSK, don't fuck with me." Menma's deep voice overflowed with pure anger. Naruto quickly compassed himself followed by Menma. Menma launched a large flurry of kicks. Naruto dodged them all while watching the Uzumaki's wounds regenerate. "That chakra, it doesn't suit you." Naruto was dodging Menma's furious strikes. He could feel her chakra. He felt disoriented and almost completely cut off. "What's wrong with him?" Kiyomi said. It may be what Naruto explained to us about Menma's lack of control over his emotions and the hatred he has for Naruto. But why does he hate him? Naruto hasn't done anything to him. According to what I believe, it is because Naruto has always been a hard blow to Menma's ego. "What are you talking about?" "Come on, Kiyomi, you know well what's happening. Menma has always been arrogant. The people of the village always praised him for being the son of the Yondaime Hokage and the savior of the village, possessor of one of the halves of the Kyuubi. That's why it bothers him, both the fact that someone is superior to him and something he thought he was very good at. Naruto always stayed one step ahead of him in ninjutsu, jinjutsu, taijutsu, intelligence, in everything that bothers him too much, and combining that with the fact that he doesn't get along with his half of the Kyuubi and how quickly he gets angry, it's not a good combination." Sasuke watched as Menma threw himself at Naruto without remorse, throwing blow after blow with only one goal: to make the greatest possible damage, no matter what happens. And the more blows Naruto dodged, the more Menma increased his speed. It's like he's taking advantage of the fact that now he can get out everything he feels, but I still can't explain why Naruto doesn't take greater measures. It's like you say, it seems like he keeps himself at bay, although if I were him, I wouldn't stay confident, given the situation you are experiencing." Naruto jumped away from Menma. "Suiton." Mizurapa. A strong blast of pressurized water came out of Menma's mouth. "Kaiten." Gakakyu no Jutsu. Naruto concentrated some more chakra. A dark orange fireball collided with the jet of water. Naruto took advantage of the steam, activated his Sharingan, improving his vision. He could not see completely, but he was able to feel the chakra signature that was waning more clearly. Futen wind began to swirl strongly in Naruto's palm. Rapusho. Naruto threw his palm forward from which a large gust of wind came out that hit Menma in the chest. The Redeed spit out saliva and a little blood. The internal damage had been strong. Normally I wouldn't use this jutsu, but taking advantage of the fact that Menma is a Jinchuriki, I don't see a problem, Naruto thought, running forward. Upon reaching Menma, Naruto launched a high kick that threw Menma into the air. Naruto himself created a clone that jumped and hit Menma with a downward kick, making him fall quickly. However, the Uzumaki managed to compose himself with pain and land on his feet, jumping towards him. Behind the clone of Naruto stayed next to the original that kept the half-ram seal. Menma's wounds began to heal quickly. "You can't beat me, as long as I have this chakra, this power, I am unstoppable." Menma and his arrogant expression were still standing. "No one in this world is invincible," Naruto said softly. "What are you saying?" "No one is invincible." Menma. Naruto looked up with his Sharingan shining brightly. At least not for now." The clone of Naruto disappeared and appeared behind Menma. The clone shone brightly and exploded with a loud bang, the curtain of dust covering almost half of the arena mid-high level explosion. "Hopefully this will make him as angry as I need." The smoke cleared, revealing a Menma lying on the ground. He was face up with smoke coming out of his body and some burns. What the hell is wrong with him?" Myth shouted. This I don't know, from one moment to the next I went from being passive to aggressive, and half Sasuke said aggressive. He basically exploded a chakra bomb next to my brother. Mito said, somewhat worried about Menma. Hey, remember that Menma has the Kyuubi chakra, Naruto sure has something on his mind Kiyomi. Tried to excuse Naruto. I don't know Mito didn't know what to think. Time to drop the real bomb Naruto thought. Did you already lose? That was nothing, is that all you have? Naruto gave an arrogant look. What's wrong? Naruto isn't like that, Kiyomi said, somewhat worried due to Naruto's sudden change in attitude. No, I honestly don't know anymore Sasuke. Didn't know what to think either. Menma's red eye opened with great fury. Unfortunate Naruto now got into a battle pose. His danger sense sounded loudly, and his sensor sense went off. You're going to pay me. Menma's chakra was skyrocketing. His fangs grew exponentially. The marks on his cheeks did too. The bubbling chakra began to take over Menma's body, while he stood up quite angry. I'm going to. Menma stood up completely. The bubbling chakra completely took over his body. The chakra formed around him, on top of his head. It looked like ears, while behind Menma's back, a tail made entirely of chakra began to swing. I'm going to kill you, Menma's deep voice wreaked havoc on the crowd, but what Kiyomi expressed her doubt. What's going on? Sasuke said. I don't know, Mito responded. Heh, so that's what I wanted to do, huh? The voice of the Kyuubi Yang sounded in the blonde's head. What's wrong with Menma? Asked the girl. Well, let's say he accessed more chakra belonging to me, at least from my other part. Menma got so angry that the dark chakra of my other part emerged, giving him access to the chakra cloak. Chakra cloak. It's like my chakra is made into a mini armor around my body. My chakra is so aggressive that it seems like it has a life of its own. Honestly, taking into account your brother's attitude, it's not a situation anyone would want to be in. I'm not liking this, said Myth. Now that Menma has awakened so much of the Kyuubi's chakra, I can now give way to the next phase. Drrrr, Menma let out growls, as if he were a predator. Come, Naruto dared Menma to come bra. Menma launched himself with a great roar towards Naruto. Naruto did not trust himself anymore and activated his Sharingan, dodging Menma's quick blows that each time they were dodged, launched a strong gust of wind. His strength is off the charts. Naruto thought with surprise, if he ever hits me, it will hurt a lot. Naruto dodged and sent blows that at the same time were blocked by Menma, who does not appreciate being in his right mind. Naruto dodged a blow and sent a big kick that Menma received, but he didn't seem to have felt the pain. Arg, another roar escaped Menma. Sharingan predicted it. The Uchiha was able to dodge the blow. He turned backwards, sending a sneaky kick. Menma dodged it and counterattacked. Naruto jumped back, dodging Menma. It's very fast at great speed. Naruto counterattacked Menma with his eyes, leaving a red trail, indicating the effort of his eyes. A few punches, he turned to the left, sending a palm blow with his right, leaned to the right, finishing with a left fist, hit his chest, and then his chin, ending with a big direct kick, sending Menma to drag his feet on the ground. TSK Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Menma's distorted voice recited the jutsu of the physical clones. Many, but seriously many clones of Menma with a chakra cloak appeared surrounding Naruto. The clones literally appeared throughout the arena, scattered, and all with a rather angry look. Oh, Sasuke said. Be careful, Naruto. Kiyomi thought worriedly, her hands together in a kind of prayer. The Uchiha's sandals dragged on the ground when the clones launched themselves at him. The dust managed to enter the eyes of the first clones. Great blows and kicks fell on the first circle of clones, causing the noise to dissipate. Whitish smoke. Naruto turned and dodged blows from the rabid clones who were making friendly fire, dissipating more and more clones. However, there were still many. Naruto's feet dragged. He seemed to dance and spin, hitting the hundreds of clones with chakra cloaks. Naruto grabbed one of the clone's arms and with great force turned the Menma, causing him to hit the others. He crouched down, dodging an attack of a clone that dissipated, bending his body. Naruto made a great sweep, supporting his hands. Naruto gave acrobatic kicks with great skill. He let his feet leave the ground and leaned on his only hand placed on the ground, turning his wrist. He managed to deliver a big roundhouse kick. He seems to handle it pretty well, Sasuke thought. Wow, Naruto is very skilled. He can even fight against all those Menmas with that red cloak. Sakura finally spoke after witnessing the movements of the battle. How is he so strong? Ino asked. Well, that boy had always been training in his free time, Shikamaru interjected, remembering a little black-haired boy who said he was going to train instead of eating, and the little chubby boy who complained about that statement. Also, he told me that he was trained by his own brother, Shunshin no Shisui. Naruto is the brother of that Shisui, the one who invented Shunshin. Sakura said, that's right, he was also trained by someone else if I'm not wrong. Do you know who he was? He asked innocently. Well, he told me that he was trained by what's happening? It's nothing, it's just that name is pretty bad in fame in this town, said Shikamaru when he realized that Sakura and Ino were no longer paying attention to him, turning their eyes towards the fight. Shikamaru knew all that. Naruto had great trust with Shikamaru, after all, he was one of the boy's first friends outside of the other Uchihas. Naruto jumped and gave a double kick to two clones who dissipated a clone through a kunai. Naruto Sharingan followed him in slow motion, he grabbed the kunai, turning, and threw it hitting the same clone that dissipated. Four clones went under Naruto with a kick, Naruto flew into the air, a clone of Menma jumped spinning forward, he's going to do the myth move Naruto thought, remembering his blonde friend in the preliminaries, Uzumaki Renden. Said Menma with her raspy voice. You even change his name. Naruto just made the horse seal, with great strength he forced his body to spin in the air, blocking the Menma clone's kick with his elbow. I finish with the tiger seal. Kaiten. Kakaku no Jutsu. A large torrent of fire in the shape of a sphere came out of Naruto's mouth, falling towards the Menma clones who dissipated. Naruto fell gracefully, some Menma clones were still left in the sand suiton. Miserapa. A clone shouted, a very strong burst of water came out of the clone's mouth, oh Naruto only had time for hand seals. Doten. Doriheki Naruto placed the palms of his hands, making a wall of earth come out of the ground. Since when has he known that jutsu? It's not in his nature. Said Kiyomi, surprised and somewhat excited. It must be because I train with Iro Sennin, he has earth nature, that jutsu should have charged him a little more chakra. Chakra was almost never a problem for Naruto, although it doesn't have as much for in Uzumaki, the earth well effectively stopped Menma's jutsu, however as he left, Naruto had to dodge Menma who lunged at him. If only you could look at yourself. Naruto dodges and blocks Menma's attacks with his forearm, it's not you anymore, Naruto looked at Menma who was delivering blow after blow without resentment. Inside Menma, there was a dark Kyuubi, who endured the discomfort of being forcibly taken away from his chakra, I'm going to help you both of you even. If it's seen as a selfish act, Naruto grabbed Menma's hand making the horse hand seal with his hand, Naruto crouched down, hit Menma's face with his other hand, and as they separated, Naruto joined their hands again, but with the seal of the tiger. Naruto hit Menma on the shin making him kneel, he still didn't release the seal, Naruto kicked 3 times with his leg, the last one being the strongest, Naruto flew into the air. Kaiten. Hasenka no Jutsu Naruto spat small fireballs, Menma dodged by jumping back, however, some fireballs managed to hit Menma. A large ball of smoke appeared, Naruto landed and looked at the ball of smoke in front of him however, Naruto's senses were triggered when some species of hands made of chakra lunged at him. What is this? Said Naruto, dodging the chakra's limbs. The chakra hands began to come out of Menma's body, who was on all fours, different hands came out of his chakra cloak, some larger than others, and they moved aggressively, the hands crashed into the walls cracking them, and then they came out and chased Naruto, I think it's time to use it. Naruto stood at the top of the wall, taking out a kunai with a seal in his hand, he extended his hands and placed his kunai in the palm of his hands, what is that kunai you have in your hand, it has a different handle said Sakura. It looks like he's already going to use it Kiyomi said, apparently she seemed excited. Yes, there it goes, it can't be. He's going to use it now. This will be great. Kushina couldn't maintain her excitement, at least in her mind. Hey Kakashi, that doesn't look like a kunai like the Yondame's guy said, referring to Naruto's kunai. Yes, only this one doesn't have 3 points, it only has the seal on the handle, maybe the Kakashi was expectant. Naruto threw the special kunai next to Menma, it didn't give it any importance, because he was focused on the Uchiha. I just hope I'm ready, Naruto performed the tiger seal, closing his eyes in concentration, feel the chakra Naruto felt how his seal connected with the will he now. Minato thought from the box. What are you going to do now? Orochimaru thought, standing on the edge of the chair. Menma, seeing that Naruto remained still, took advantage and sent all his chakra hands towards where he was, the hands were about to touch the Uchiha who had his eyes closed Naruto. Kiyomi couldn't stand it, she thought Naruto was about to give in to the Kyuubi's corrosive chakra but sometimes when you see something so fast that's the problem when things are so fast that you can't even see them, not even when you are as attentive as possible. Konoha revived the yellow flash but it wasn't a yellow flash it was rather a rather peculiar color had they ever seen a silver flash, as fast as who knows sound. Even faster. The chakra hands were about to touch the Uchiha's face, literally, just the rose of a small air of air, however, before the touch, before the contact, a silver flash appeared, in less than a second, Menma, it was embedded in the wall, with large wounds and a large cut, what the hell happened? Ino screamed, she hadn't seen anything, the only thing she remembered was how the hands were heading towards, really fast Sasuke could barely look at the flash, even with his Sharingan, he wasn't able to see the moment of the attack, Naruto was standing in front of his special kunai what? Orochimaru was startled and stood up from his chair quickly, knocking it down. Keep like this, and you'll get your roll Orochimaru Minato thought, although he couldn't deny that he was impressed, that Hiraishin was very fast and he didn't know the possibilities of what he could do in the hands of someone like Naruto. Naruto bent down and picked up his special kunai in the end. If I master it, he thought, well then, I guess it's time to finish. Menma's wounds began to heal at a fairly rapid rate. Naruto grabbed his kunai in a reverse grip and placed it in front of his face, his Sharingan spinning and shining. He was ready for his final act, the Fuinjutsu he had been working for a long time. Menma separated himself from the wall and stood on all fours, or hands with feet on the ground. Menma launched himself with a great explosion against the Uchiha, who jumped, avoiding the Jinchuriki. Menma stopped his advance and charged at Naruto again. The Uchiha disappeared in a blink of Shunshin Kage Bunshin no Jutsu once again. Too many Menma clones appeared in front of Naruto. Naruto jumped into the air and took out 2 more Hiraishin kunai, throwing them in different positions among the clones. Come on, a silver flash was present. Naruto appeared in the middle of all the clones when all of them exploded in a screen of smoke. Minato analyzed Naruto's attack, observing that the other kunai he threw were no longer there. He didn't teleport once, he teleported 3 times in such a short time. Naruto's Hiraishin has quite a bit of potential, thought the Hokage. TSK, disgrace. Menma couldn't finish his sentence. Naruto hit his face hard, he didn't stop and continued hitting. A great blow with his right, then a great combination of kicks. Naruto turned and sent quite strong kicks. Menma came out crawling on the ground. He got up, but the Uchiha appeared behind him. He tried to hit him, but he disappeared. Then, different images of Naruto appeared. Menma tried to hit them, but it was impossible. The images of Naruto hit Menma mercilessly. He received blows from everywhere. The Redeed roared, sending a shock wave that caused some in the stands to cover their faces. Menma hit the ground with great force, raising large debris. However, the images of Naruto continued like this, flashing without stopping. Naruto appeared in front of him and kicked him upwards. Menma shot into the air, and Naruto appeared behind him and punished him with an axe kick. Menma landed on his feet but had to move after seeing a large fireball descend, resembling a large meteorite. A large hand of chakra came out from Menma's back, stopping the fireball that refused to go out. However, in a flash of silver, Naruto appeared behind Menma, who did not notice due to the speed, charged Rasengan in hand, ready to hit your target. The large sphere of chakra hit its target, sending Menma flying, who crashed against the wall. Again, the fireball exploded. However, Naruto was no longer there. The Uchiha was standing at the other end of the wall, where a Hiraishin kunai was stuck. Menma fell to the ground with quite a few wounds, which were healing, but more slowly, because Menma was getting tired due to Naruto's constant attacks. It's time. Naruto raised his right sleeve and went through a large sequence of seals. Menma was barely on his knees. Upon finishing the hand seals, a small white flame appeared on Naruto's fingertips, while the kanji for bridge appeared in a somewhat small form on his palm. Menma got up completely, but it was too late. At great speed, Naruto appeared in front of Menma, clasping his fingers tightly against Menma's stomach. A few seconds passed before Menma began to scream in pain. In the mind of Menma, the Yin Kyuubi was lying on his front legs when he felt that a presence appeared behind him, or rather, a kind of accumulation of chakra. What's that? The Biju asked himself. A large white bridge was present when Naruto's voice was heard throughout the mental space. Kyuubi, do you hear me? Yes, I listen you. That's great. It seems to be working great. What are you talking about? Is that the seal you said you were going to make? Kyuubi remembered his first conversation. That's right. Well, listen, I don't have much time. If I keep in contact with your chakra like this, I'll end up hurting myself. You could see how outside of Menma's mind, the chakra that covered the Redeed was spreading through Naruto's arm, which had burns appearing. Sure. Tell me what I have to do. The Kyuubi was somehow anxious. Do you see that thing behind you? Yeah, you must pass your chakra and your soul through there, leaving some chakra in Menma's body. Why leave chakra? I need it so that there is less chance of Menma dying. Why not kill him? That guy tortured me besides. He's a pain, I know, but understand, despite everything he did, there may still be goodness in his arrogant heart. I can't believe you're saying that. Hey please, I'm asking you, okay? Okay, I'll believe what you say. The Kyuubi passed most of his chakra and soul through the bridge, while leaving some chakra in Menma's body out of the mental space. The layer of red chakra that surrounded Menma moved towards Naruto, hiding within him. An insurance sound sounded when the flames on Naruto's fingers went out, and he separated his hand. Naruto and Menma stared at each other. Menma's eyes returned to their usual blue. The eyes that previously showed infinite anger were now bright and playful. Beep-boo, good fight. Menma whispered before falling unconscious. The Kyuubi's remaining chakra quickly filled his reserves, stopping his death due to lack of chakra. Did it work? Naruto asked himself. Yes, that's right. Naruto was surprised to hear the Kyuubi's deep voice in his head. The wounds that were on his hand began to heal quickly in the box. It worked, Kushina thought with surprise. She could feel how her son's chakra was still active, confirming that he was not dead. In addition, she could feel how Naruto's reserves were significantly larger. He really did it, Kushina. said Genma, who was coming out of his shock, was finally able to move. He had had to move several times to avoid being hit by the attacks of the genins, who no longer knew if they were real genins. He observed how Amenma was lying on the ground, while Naruto was standing, without injuries, but breathing heavily. The winner of the fight is Uchiha Naruto. He announced to the public, who burst into cheers. They no longer care that the Hokage's son has already lost. The fight was exciting, as always. They don't see the background of things, and they settle for the spectacle. Naruto was well, it was a feeling of tranquility, since in his opinion, everything had gone well, although he knew that there was still an obstacle ahead, a very big one. He looked with his Sharingan towards the box of the Hokage, more specifically looking at the fake Kazekage who stared at him. You can't fool us anymore, the Uchiha thought. Believe me, in the end you will regret having planned all this. He stared at the arena Jinchuriki, who looked anxious and desperate. The blood of someone as strong as him has to be mine. Gaara thought macabrely, clenching his fists. The doctors picked up Menma quickly, while Naruto went up to the box. Upon setting foot on the stands, Naruto was greeted by a jet stain. What the hell were you thinking, provoking Menma like that? Kiyomi scolded Naruto, although it didn't seem like a scolding in the middle of a hug. Don't worry, I'm fine. Don't repeat that. I'm not worried, do you hear me? You always do such risky things, and if one day something happens to you, I will. Hey, calm down. I know I shouldn't worry you so much, but I appreciate you doing it. You know, don't thank me. That's what friends are like, right? Okay, but did we hug for so long? No. Kiyomi separated, blushing. Sometimes I do not understand. Yes, sometimes you tend to be very innocent. I didn't think that about you. The Kyuubi spoke in Naruto's mind. Naruto only saw the color black in Naruto's mind. You know, your mind is still just as uncomfortable. The Kyuubi was still behind a cell. Naruto's mind assimilated a large room that was equally giant, with a yellowish hue. However, it had small blue lights that floated. Apparently yes, you're still behind a cell. Naruto was small compared to the dark Kyuubi. But while we're at it, I'd like to ask you a few questions forward, because you are darker in color than the other half. Well, maybe the other half has more hate, but there are two forms of hate, at least for me, the hate that destroys everything with rage, and the hate that consumes everything slowly from the darkness. That part of me was more angry. However, the amount of dark chakra that I possess is greater than that part, so to speak. Contrary to what many think, darkness is not total madness. Also, it is calm. That makes me calmer than my other part. Are you still the strongest of the Bijuus? That makes me proud. Even though I'm divided in half, I'm still the strongest brother. The Kyuubi overflowed pride. Can you become a whole again? If they put me together with my other part, obviously, and what would happen if the two halves became two whole beings? I see what you think. It's interesting. Honestly, that's beyond my knowledge, but with two beings so powerful in the world and they get along, I don't see destruction in a future like that. I think I see. Besides, I think a cell is too uncomfortable for someone like you. What do you plan to do about it? Are you forgetting something? This is my mind. Naruto closed his eyes. The cell and the large room disappeared in a completely white space. Suddenly, Naruto's mental space was replaced by a large plain of green grass and a somewhat dark sky with stars that shone brightly, some small ones. Forests appeared in the distance, and a great river of crystal clear water appeared. A full moon reigned in the night skies of mental space. The space was filled with more plains and some mountains, sakura trees and certain strange flowers. Everything, all in all, it was a pretty nice space. What have you done? Easy. I arranged my mental space so that it is more comfortable. I chose the night because it is the part of the day that I think is calmest. Also, there are some sakura trees as decoration, and the details don't matter, boy. Hey. In all the years I've been alive, no Jinchuriki has ever done this for me. The Kyuubi's voice was calm. So, thank you, just thank you for this, for everything. You're welcome, Kyuubi. Kurama, sorry. What are you saying? Kurama, that's my name, boy. It's a great name. Yes, I know. Well, I guess I have to go. One more thing before you go. That Naruto's reserves filled quickly, making him have all his energy again, even more. Wow, I feel great. What did you do? Well, refill your chakra reserves. It's a gift. Thank you. You're welcome. Now come back. Remember that when you are in your mental space, you stay in a trance in real life. They are waiting for you for the second round. Okay, I hope we get along. Naruto disappeared like a mirage. I don't doubt it, boy. Kurama lay down on his front paws. Do you think he's the father? He looks a lot like the description of the boy you said. Kurama closed his eyes. This will be interesting. Out of Naruto's mind. Hey. Kiyomi passed his hand in front of Naruto's face, who seemed lost, then blinked. Hey now, I'm here. What happened? I was talking to my new friend. I see. I would like to see it sometime. It will be someday. Well, everyone pay attention for the next round. Everyone paid attention to Genma. Since we can't match the Genins, one will go to the finals directly. The Genin with that luck will be Genma. Put his hand in a bag with the Genin names on papers. Sasuke Uchiha announced the Jonin. What good luck, said Kiyomi. Well, you qualify by performance, right? Not if you win the tournament. The fights that will take place next are Uchiha Naruto vs Gaara no Sabaku and Sabaku no Temari vs Uchiha Kiyomi. There will be a 5-minute break, looks like you're up against the Sand Boy and you against the Wind Girl. If Sasuke makes it to the final, that means we have to fight in the semi-final. Yes, although we both know that won't happen. Yes, I wish things were different. I believe in a future that will be like this, but for now we have to face what the world throws at us, right? As we have always done. Yeah, good luck, we need it. Kiyomi thought for a moment. He responded with a playful tone, so, let's go, let's wait, right? Oh yeah, the battle arena had been arranged by the Konoha ninjas with the nature of Doton. Since the battle of Naruto vs Menma had been quite destructive, but due to the disproportionate attacks of an uncontrolled Menma. The 4 remaining participants were the key to the end of this tournament: Sasuke, Temari, Naruto and Gaara. Whoever won the semifinals would go on to the final to fight for the glory of first place. Well, the 5-minute break is over. No one could have rested from those battles in 5 minutes. Sakura complained about the minutes to rest. You don't have the right to complain when you haven't fought, Harazita. Ino mocked Sakura. You too, pig. Thank you to everyone who stayed silent, unlike the 2 brats over there, Genma shouted. How did he hear us? Ino asked himself. Don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next battle. Move on. Uchiha Naruto vs Sabaku no Gaara. Straight to dessert, huh? Although the truth is I'm worried about what Naruto might do to Gaara, Orochimaru deduced in his mind. Naruto prepared for battle. You're okay, you just fought not long ago, said Kiyomi. Yes, the Kyuubi filled my reserves. Naruto wasn't sure if the Kyuubi wanted him to tell his name to someone else. You will tell them my name if you fully trust them, they won't tell anyone else, Kurama said. Alright, so your new friend is quite useful, isn't he? I don't like to see him as a tool, he is a companion, said Naruto. Okay, but be careful anyway, you're going to fight another Jinchuriki, and this one seems more unstable than Menma. Don't worry, if everything goes according to plan, Orochimaru's main weapon will be unusable. It's okay, I trusted you. The girl approached Naruto, the soft feeling again, warm, soft lips. Naruto grabbed his blushing cheek. Hey, and that? Naruto asked. It's for good luck, you know. Well, thanks. Naruto looked at Sasuke. What are you waiting for, a kiss from me? Of course not, good luck anyway. Thanks, I guess we'll see you in the final. Well, if everything goes well, if you beat me, said Kiyomi. Naruto started to go down the steps. Gaara also started to go down too. Gaara, be careful with that boy, he's very good, I don't need that, I can beat him on my own. Gaara responded to his sister rudely. Temari sighed. That boy gave him a bad feeling, and if he was capable of angering Gaara to that point, it was worse. After all, he was the only one in his entire life who managed to hit Gaara. Naruto stopped going down, and in a wind shunshin he appeared in the sand. Gaara did the same with a sand shunshin. Naruto and Gaara walked until they were in front, Gaara with his arms crossed, Naruto keeping his hands resting in his pockets. Well, prepare for battle, mother asks for your noble blood. Uchiha, you must be careful, I may see yours for the first time, Naruto responded. Okay, stop the threats. Naruto and Gaara separated at the referee's shout. Well, the first battle of the quarterfinals or something like that, Naruto Uchiha vs Gaara of the arena. The people in the stand sat on the ends of the chairs, attentive to the battle that was about to begin. The wind was moving the hair of the fighters, the two with their calm gaze, although Gaara's was moving. Anxious. Begin. Naruto didn't wait and jumped back, avoiding Gaara. Are you escaping, Uchiha? No, I'm just keeping some distance. That's no use, you can't escape from me. Mother will have her blood. Gaara's sand suddenly came out of his gourd. Make me feel alive. Uchiha. Gaara smiled sadistically, the sand quickly headed towards Naruto. Gaara's sand is not a mystery, the Ichibi must give him that ability, and of course it is not a perfect defense. Naruto dodged the sand's attacks. According to what I saw, it consists of 2 parts, the normal sand and a sand armor that is attached to his body. He dodged another sand attack with turns, took out kunai and threw shurikens, the sand rising like a wall, protecting him from the projectiles. The sand is easy to pass, I just need pure speed and for the sand that is acting as armor. Naruto began to surround himself with small rays of electricity. I just need this. Nature. Naruto disappeared in a blur of speed, appeared in front of Gaara, and landed a blow that broke some of his armor, but it regenerated. That guy, he hits Gaara very easily, Kankuro growled from the stands. I just hope that Gaara can defend himself in a good way. Gaara made a clone of himself with the sand. He grabbed Naruto's arm and tried to unite it with the sand, but Naruto disappeared in another blur and appeared in front of Gaara, connecting with a big kick. Now you're trying to grab me, I guess I'm a fly, one I want to kill, Gaara whispered, standing up, the sand swirling around him protectively. Gaara's sand is normal, so I can heat it and turn it into crystal, so I could get rid of his only way of attacking Naruto went through hand seals. Now that I have more chakra, I can be more intense. Haha, yes, the Kyuubi laughed. Kate. Naruto's voice sounded thick, some smoke came out of his mouth, as if he were a dragon. Kiryu Enden. A really big burst of fire came out of Naruto's mouth. Gaara put his hands in the shape of an X in front of his face protectively. The sand was covered in front of him, making a wall about 3 times bigger than the previous one. Naruto did not stop with his flame and continued like this for a few more seconds. The heat was intense, the people in the stands turned their faces thanks to the change in temperature. It seems that now that he has great chakra in his favor, he will not hesitate to use the most powerful jutsus in his arsenal, said Kiyomi. Well, who wouldn't do that, please? Sasuke spoke. I wonder what other jutsus he has. Kiyomi activated his Sharingan. Do you plan to copy them? We shouldn't always use good with our Sharingan, right? In the ninja world there is no foul play, said Kiyomi. You know what, you have a point, do what you want. Finally Naruto stopped breathing fire. Gaara's sand wall had been turned into glass, which seemed to collapse. Naruto straightened up and blew some smoke out of his mouth. Yes, maybe I should control myself a little, he said. Some sand broke the glass wall. It quickly headed towards Naruto. Keep trying. The Shunshin was enough for Naruto. With it he could dodge and hit easily. TSK. Stop running away. More sand came out of Gaara's gourd. So you had more. Naruto took a big leap back. Large gusts of wind came out and tried to catch the Uchiha, but he was spinning. Naruto turned back and grabbed a gust of sand, jumped and dodged another one that collided with the other attack. As soon as his feet touched the ground, Naruto disappeared. A large curtain of dust began to spin around Gaara, implying that Naruto was spinning around the sand ninja. From one moment to the next, Naruto appeared in front of Gaara and hit his face. He hit Gaara's face again. The sand returned quickly trying to protect Gaara, but Naruto disappeared and appeared somewhere else. The sand headed towards Naruto again. Heh, you fall into traps easily. Naruto disappeared again and again. Gaara was bombarded with blows in the standers. It seems that Gaara falls easily. Kakashi made an intervention. Yes. Why do you say that? Said Kurenai. Well, the only thing Naruto does is distract Gaara's sand. He makes it move a great distance away from him, taking advantage of the vast field, and when it seems that the sand is about to reach him, he simply heads towards Gaara with his great speed, and well. The sand is not able to return at the same speed, leaving Gaara vulnerable. Kakashi explained. Pretty good, but I don't understand why he doesn't use the Hiraishin. With that jutsu he could have ended the battle a long time ago, said Asuma, smoking his cigarette. Well, maybe he has a plan and maybe it has to do with the invasion, so I don't see a problem, said Kakashi, whispering so that the others wouldn't hear him. Could be on the battlefield. Naruto kept dodging and hitting brutally. Gaara's armor was cracking too much, so much so that it seemed like Gaara was about to break. Naruto broke away and made hand seals. Futen. Tsuneru Senpu. Sacred Whirlwind. Naruto launched a small jet of wind that then spread strongly, creating a strong miniature tornado that surrounded Gaara, who surrounded himself with his sand like a dome. You could see how this one got quite deep cuts. It's not a light trace. Other hand seals. Kaiten. Ryuken no Jutsu. The burst of fire came out and merged with the tornado. A large tornado of fire surrounded the sand boy. Gaara. Tamari worried about her brother who was literally surrounded by a tornado of fire. Damn, that guy is too good. Kankuro had sweat running down his forehead. Naruto stopped breathing fire looking at the jutsu he just did. Actually, I just made up that combination. I should give it a name, he thought. It will be later. The fire continued to burn until it was finally extinguished. The sand dome had turned into glass. A fist went through the glass. This was Gaara's, who was looking at Naruto with an angry look. Looks like you're out of sand. Hee. Gaara laughed. You're a fool. I can create sand whenever I want. Gaara put his palms on the ground. Suddenly, sand started to rise around Gaara. I absorb minerals from the soil and the earth, creating sand from the earth itself. I can even have more sand than before. But a lot of sand rose up around Gaara. So I turned all that sand into glass for nothing. That's fine with me, Naruto said to himself in a sarcastic tone. Come and give me your blood. A large wave of sand headed towards Naruto, but it's still the same. Naruto activated his Sharingan and dodged the large wave of sand. Stop escaping already. Gaara shouted in anger. I don't think so. The Uchiha kept dodging Futen. Renkuden. A large air bullet came out of Naruto. Gaara's sand protected him, but in a blur Naruto appeared in front of Gaara, hitting him hard. Naruto did not let him and continued hitting. Gaara's sand returned and attacked. Naruto disappeared in a blur. You wretch, your blood will be mine. An exorbitant amount of sand swirled in front of Gaara. Under Naruto's feet, sand swirled and trapped his feet. The large amount of sand headed to crush Naruto. However, a silver flash was present, dispersing the sand. Thanks to the speed, Naruto appeared on the Hiraishin kunai at the top of the wall. He's getting crazier and crazier, he said. DSK, I will have your blood no matter what it costs me. A small dome of chakra grew around Gaara, while more sand swirled around it inside the dome. Gaara made seals and covered his left eye. Gaara from inside the dome slowly traced seals while whispering outside the dome. The sand formed an eye, with which Gaara could see Naruto at the top of the wall. It can't be, he's going to do it now, it's not supposed to be time yet. Temari thought, this is bad, and we can't stop it, it would be suspicious. Kankuro thought. I have an idea. The Kyuubi was interested, I could try my new special technique. Special technique? That's right, it was a jutsu created by me. Lately you've been creating jutsus, and that, Kiyomi and Sasuke have also done it, but they haven't shown it to me. I didn't show them mine either. Okay, do your show, I'll continue accumulating chakra. Do you know about the invasion? Well yes, I heard everything you were talking about with Myth, as Menma was there. Anyway, show your show. It's okay. Naruto crouched down, now what will he do? Kurenai wondered. Well, it seems like he was going to do the Chidori, said Kakashi. It's a good option, considering that it has to go through that layer of sand, said Asuma. Well, let's see it in action. Will he do the Chidori? Said Kiyomi. Apparently Sasuke was attentive to Naruto. It's the first time I'll use it in combat, I hope it goes well. Naruto went through Hant's seals, there were only 4. Ox, ram, tiger, monkey. Naruto grabbed her wrist and extended it downward. Suddenly, lightning began to sound, and the thunder of birds sounded. That's the Chidori, but he made one more seal, Kakashi thought. Naruto's rays did not intensify when a circle of rays appeared around him. The rays that revolved around him united in his hand, increasing the power with every second. But what is he doing? Everyone was wondering why Naruto was taking so long. However, everyone was shocked to see how small purple sparkles began to flash. Get ready. Naruto was ready. The electricity in Naruto's hand gave a reaping burst, accompanied by the sound of increased electricity. The rays went from being blue to a dark purple, which seemed to have flashes of phosphorescent blue. All the rays around Naruto continued to coalesce in his hand. What is that? Said Kiyomi, impressed by her friend's jutsu. I don't know, that's new. It looks like an improved version of Myrakiri, but this one looks more powerful, much more. Thought the one-eyed ninja. Naruto grabbed his arm and prepared it to push off, the wall breaking only with the rose of his hand wrapped in lightning. Naruto launched himself at great speed from the wall. Naruto's hand broke the wall, while his hand left a purple trail in less than 8 seconds. Naruto had already reached the ground. Gaara's eye barely managed to see Naruto. Out of fear, he sent the sand that revolved around him to attack Naruto. Naruto's Sharingan worked, predicting the sand's attacks. Naruto moved sideways, dodging the sand's attacks, which collided with the ground, raising large debris. Naruto's eyes saw everything in slow motion. He jumped and bounced off a piece of debris. He jumped again, dodging a blast of sand, sliding on the ground, dodging an attack on his head, got up and turned forward, dodging another blast. Naruto closed the distance in less than 6 seconds. It's a great speed. Kakashi had uncovered his Sharingan to see Naruto. The Uchiha managed to see some spikes coming out of the sand dome, however, Naruto dodged it with great skill and extended his arm. Shiden. Purple electricity. Naruto extended his arm, listening to the sound of birds on a large scale. Naruto's hand easily passed through the sand wall, the purple rays piercing strongly through the other side of the dome. There were a few seconds of silence until my blood. It's my own blood. Gaara gave a heartbreaking scream from inside the dome. Gaara. Temari shouted her brother's name. Now the final touch. Naruto took out his hand, while the purple rays were still attached to the dome. Naruto used Shunshin to get away. The purple lightning in the dome began to shine until it exploded, expelling rays in all directions. Finally, purple rays remained on the ground, slowly they disappeared. That jutsu, it's pretty good, Minato thought. And combined with the Hiraishin, it's a creepy combination. A cloud of dust did not reveal the Gaara's condition, however it dispersed, showing a Gaara with blood running down its mouth and burns on its arms. The most serious thing. A hole in its right shoulder from which too much came out of the red liquid. Georgia. Gaara. Temari covered her mouth, she never thought she would see her brother like this. Unfortunate. Kankuro shouted from the box. What kind of jutsu is that? Kushina said to herself, not long ago no one could touch that boy, that jutsu touches him once and leaves him in that state. Gaara's sand rose, healing him little by little. It seems that some of the Ichibi's chakra flows into the sand, that makes it heal him, but I won't let you win. Naruto threw 4 Hiraishin kunai around Gaara. The Jinchuriki of the sand rose little by little, however, Naruto passed through Hant's seals. Yuinjutsu. Chakura Kiksh Barrier, Chakra Absorption Barrier, white lines extended to the Hiraishin kunai, then Kanji appeared inside the figure. What is he doing? Kushina asked herself, excited to see Fuinjutsu in action. Apparently it is a chakra absorption barrier, generally more people are needed, but he managed to extend his own chakra through the Hiraishin kunai, achieving the chakra barrier, a pretty smart move. Minato was impressed with the Naruto moves. Gaara was surrounded by a small barrier, he instantly felt his chakra go, thus kneeling and the sand moving less aggressively. The kanji barrier disappeared. Gaara was kneeling. Okay, it's time to end this. Naruto went through hand seals again. Fuinjutsu. Gajo Fu and Naruto's fingertips lit up in purple fire. Oh no. If he hits Gaara with that, it will screw up my whole plan. I can't allow this. Orochimaru made seals for his spies so that they could notify everyone to start the invasion. Naruto started running towards Gaara. Shit, there's no time left, it's time to start. Orochimaru gave the signal to start towards a ninja who was hooded in the crowd, which was Kabuto, who wore a mask similar to those of Anbu. Naruto continued running towards Gaara just as he was about to engage the jutsu. The sound of a large explosion was heard throughout the stadium. Naruto turned his gaze towards the Hokage's box when he saw a large amount of smoke coming out of it. The second he was distracted, Gaara's arm was surrounded with sand, creating a large claw of the material. Gaara directed the large reinforced blow towards Naruto, however before it touched him, Naruto disappeared in a flash towards the kunai on the wall. Naruto watched helplessly as the purple flames disappeared from his hand. Damn, I guess the plan to stop Gaara disappeared, but at least he's weakened. Naruto watched as feathers began to fall throughout the stadium. A Jinjutsu, easy to dispel. Naruto, with sign language, warns his fellow genins about the Jinjutsu. What's wrong with Naruto, why is he looking this way? Ino asked himself. Shikamaru observed Naruto's signs. It's sign language, he's warning us of a Jinjutsu. Shikamaru, Sakura, and Ino observed the feathers that fell and how some civilians fell asleep. It's a Jinjutsu, we can dispel it easily, said Sasuke. Kiyomi nodded. Now Naruto turned his gaze to the Jonins, who were prepared to counterattack. Damn, I'm starting early, said Temari, who launched herself into the sand followed by Kankuro. The two grabbed Gaara and began to climb the wall. Temari, while climbing, watched as Naruto looked at them seriously. Why aren't you following us? Are you confused? Kankuro, Gaara and Temari left the stadium heading out of the village towards the forest that surrounded the leaf. Naruto quickly did a shunshin towards Sasuke. It seems I couldn't stop Gaara. The explosion in the box distracted me. Naruto apologized. Don't worry about that. Kakashi appeared behind them. For now we have to worry about that. Kakashi pointed to a bunch of sand and sound ninjas who stood up in the stadium and tried to attack the civilians, but they were stopped by Konoha ninjas who appeared from the nothing. Okay, the first thing we have to do is wake up the civilians from the Jinjutsu and direct them to the shelters that have my barrier seals, the hospital, and Anbu barracks. I also put seals on the Hokage heads. I know there is a hiding place there, yes, but the problem is how are we going to wake up the civilians at the same time? There are too many of them, and we Konoha ninjas are less than the merger of two villages. Let's trust the ninjas of our village, but answering the other question, I don't know, we could wake them up one by one. Oh. You could make a shock wave with your chakra to disrupt the civilians' network and cut off the Jinjutsu, said the Kyuubi. It's good, but my chakra is not powerful enough to do that. You forget that now you have me. Get ready, it will be the first time you will use my chakra. I'm ready. The Kyuubi pushed an amount of chakra through Naruto's network. Everyone watched as some thick mustaches appeared on Naruto's cheeks, his hair became scandalized, and his eyes changed from black to a dark red with a torn slit. What's wrong with you, Naruto? Kiyomi asked. I'm just trying something new again. Naruto's voice was thicker. Okay, now expel as much chakra as you can. But Naruto put his hands together in the ram seal and gathered chakra and then expelled it forcefully. A large pulse of red chakra escaped from Naruto, making a peculiar sound. The people who were asleep were awakened. Well, the Kyuubi's features disappeared. It seems like you already know what to do with that chakra. Not completely, but we have to move now. Well, Sasuke and Kiyomi, you can go after those from the sand. You can go with Shikamaru and Sakura. Naruto, you stay here. You are going to help us against the ninjas who try to attack. The other genins can defend inside the village. Okay, let's go there. Kiyomi and Sasuke headed toward Sakura. Sakura, you have to come with us. Ah, for what? Asked the lazy man. We can go after those in the sand, so we can stop them, said Kiyomi. It's a bummer, but since okay let's go. Sakura was nervous, she was in the middle of an invasion, it was a pretty dangerous situation. Don't worry, Sakura, we can do it, said Sasuke. Okay, let's go. The four ninjas were about to launch, but were stopped by Kakashi. He performed hand seals, Kuchius no Jutsu. Kakashi summoned a small dog with a small blue trench coat with the kanji for Ninkin, while he had a miniature Konoha ninja band. Hello Kakashi, what do you need? Hello Pakken, let me do something first. Kakashi tore off a small cloth that Naruto had on his right arm. What is that? Sasuke asked. Apparently it's Gaara's clothes, it must have stuck to my body, said Naruto. Can you smell this? Pakken, always the little dog, sniffed the piece of cloth, which had some of Gaara's blood on it. Okay, I got it, it's almost outside the village, Pakken said. Well, you can take these four ninjas to him, said Kakashi. Okay, you guys follow me, said Pakken, disappearing in a blur with the four genins. At ready Naruto Kakashi took out a kunai and uncovered his Sharingan. See Naruto took out his Jakudo from the seal, infusing it with lightning chakra. Now things get serious, and he also activated his Sharingan. A green blur landed in the middle of the two. Well, let's show our flames of youth. Go ahead and read. Yes, Guy-sensei. Lee responded to his adult version, well since. Out of the village Tamari and Kankuro running carrying their younger brother, who was breathing slowly. Damn, that Uchiha almost managed to completely defeat Gaara, said Kankuro. Well, now we just have to escape. Kankuro heard how the leaves of the trees moved and footsteps were heard. Hey, you don't believe the Konoha ninjas are following us, right? And it can't be they. Must be busy with the ninjas inside the village. Pakin continued jumping from tree to tree, followed by the 4 Konoha ninjas, each of whom was silent in their thoughts. I can smell them, they are about 300 meters away. How problematic, having to follow them all that way. Stop complaining, lazy. This is for the good of the village. Sakura hit Shikamaru on the head. Kiyomi and Sasuke became alert as they heard the sound of air cutting. Everyone down. The twins shouted. Everyone came down from the tree branches when about 12 sound ninjas landed in front of them. You won't get past here, leaf ninjas, said one who seemed to be the leader, or something like that, since they all dressed the same. If these guys keep getting in the way, it will be harder for us to catch up with Gaara, Sasuke thought, until he realized something. Hey, where is Shikamaru? Everyone asked, as they had noticed the absence of their pineapple-haired friend. Just when they were thinking as quickly as possible, a shadow came out of the bushes, stretching out until it caught the shadows of all the sound ninjas. Damn, you really know how to hide, don't you? You shouldn't complain, now go after Gaara, I'll buy time. Shikamaru came out of the bushes, controlling the sound ninjas with his shadow. Damn it, let us go, you brat. Oh, truthful. It's not like you guys can do much in that state, you know. The 3 remaining Konoha ninjas continued on their way, trying to reach the sand user and his brothers. About 3 minutes had passed. Tamari and Kankuro kept getting further and further apart. Tamari felt a bad feeling, a feeling of danger that alerted her to something nearby she didn't want to see, but it was necessary. She slowly turned her head only to see 3 leaf ninjas chasing them. Okay, we'll see you. Kiyomi said. If so, then my work here is finished, said Pakin. Be fine, thank you for everything, Sasuke said. Pakin nodded and disappeared in a ball of smoke. They're too close, and we haven't even gone that far from the village. I can still see the Hokage faces. The sand girl thought desperately. I have no choice. Tamari let go of her arm. His brothers. Kankuro, you keep carrying Gaara, I'll stop them for a bit. You're crazy, not to belittle yourself, but you can't handle the 2 Uchihas, maybe the girl with the pink hair, but don't worry, I'll try to buy time. TSK, it's okay, don't regret it. Kankuro continued moving forward. It was the priority before Gaara woke up and got out of control. It seems that Tamari is trying to buy time. I can fight her. Kiyomi began to move forward. Okay, Sakura, and I will go after Gaara. Sasuke and Sakura were after Kiyomi. Tamari released a large burst of air. Sasuke grabbed Sakura and jumped strongly. Kiyomi went through hand seals. Kaiten Gakakyu no Jutsu. Kiyomi launched a large fireball that intensified thanks to the air. Tamari had to jump out of the great range of the attack. In this battle I have no advantage, but everything is so that he escapes, thought the girl from Suna. Kiyomi with her great speed reached Tamari and kicked her in the stomach, passing through hand seals right away. Kaiten. Hasenka no Jutsu. Small fireballs came out of Kiyomi's mouth. Tamari jumped in a display of acrobatics, narrowly avoiding several fireballs. She made a big spin and landed on the ground, surrounded by a large circle of flames. Tamari didn't have time to think when Kiyomi landed on another branch. Kaiten. Gakakyu no Jutsu. The great fireball was heading dangerously towards Tamari. Oh no, Tamari tried to jump, but the big explosion managed to hit her, burning her a little without thinking. Tamari launched a large gust of wind trying to keep his distance. Never in my life have I been forced to use random attacks. I guess this is when ninjas take it seriously. Kiyomi quickly appeared in front of Tamari. Shit. Tamari tried to jump, but Kiyomi managed to land a blow. The girl slid on the ground and gave an upward kick, taking the fan away from the blonde the Uchiha kicked, sending the girl crashing into a tree branch. Rain. Chidori Senbon. The lightning needles stabbed into the skin of the girl, who screamed in pain. The electricity ran through her body, paralyzing her. The war fan fell a few meters in front of them. Now you are useless, Kiyomi said. Tamari growled, grabbing her arm where one of the needles rested. Kiyomi threw himself through the trees trying to reach his brother. With Sasuke. He continued advancing with Sakura behind Kankuro, who was the only one carrying Gaara now. Damn, those 2 are still following me. I have no choice. Kankuro stopped and let Gaara continue alone, since he had woken up. They won't be able to get past here. Kankuro took out his puppet. I'll have to defeat him quickly, or else Gaara will escape, thought Sasuke, who stopped to defeat Kankuro. But don't worry, Sasuke, I'll stop him, said a voice behind them. Shino. Is that you? Where were you? The Uchiha asked. Let's say they forgot about me, said Shino. I take this opportunity to apologize for having forgotten about Shino. I really apologize for my mistake. Well, I'll leave it in your hands. Sakura, you better help Shino. Gaara is a dangerous opponent, and I'm really afraid that he'll use you as a distraction, Sasuke said. Okay, good luck, Sakura said. Sasuke nodded, he continued advancing at high speed trying to catch up with Gaara. It was easier now, because apparently he was moving slowly. A few meters passed until the Uchiha made a big jump and landed a few meters in front of the Retreat, who also stopped. You no longer have an escape, Gaara said, the Raven Man. A light laugh came from Gaara's mouth. It's true, there is no escape, but from me. Gaara raised his head showing how his right eye was different. It had a black sclera with a yellow pupil and a black four-pointed star. Gaara's sand swirled frantically around the boy, Sasuke staring with his Sharingan at what was happening. The Gaara sand stopped swirling when the figure of the Retreat was shown, who now had a large sand arm with a Gaara claw at the end. The arm that formed the arm joined in one way with the pumpkin and then finished the deformation. With a kind of tail. This will be more difficult, but apparently the sand no longer works as a defense. Sasuke observed how the sand no longer revolved around Gaara. He had to be careful, he was fighting an uncontrolled Jinchuriki. With Naruto. Dodging an attack from a sound ninja, Naruto sent a spinning kick sending the ninja to the ground. How will Kiyomi and Sasuke be? The thought interrupted his battle position. Maybe I should go now, I wouldn't forgive myself if something happens to them, Naruto. The Uchiha left his mind when he heard how they shouted his name. He looked ahead seeing how a sand ninja was about to stab him. Fortunately, Kakashi appeared, defeating the ninja by cutting his neck. You should be more attentive, said the sensei. I know, but are you worried about Kiyomi and Sasuke? Yeah, I don't know, I left them with the Sand Brothers and a crazy Jinchuriki. You know, I'm also worried, but Kakashi dodged a blow and cut another ninja's chest. I know very well that those two are strong, and it is my duty as a sensei to trust them fully, so, as is also your duty as his best friend and almost brother, look at those two. Naruto watched as Guy and Rock Lee defeated ninjas with only Taijutsu. At certain times, Lee lost concentration, but he was saved by his sensei who gave him a thumbs up, raising the spirit of the little brow. I trust his student a lot. I trust that everything you have planned will serve to counteract what they have done to us, and you can fight, trusting that your companions will be fine. Kakashi smiled at Naruto, who returned the smile. Well then, Naruto took out his sword from the seal. You know something? I've never seen you fight seriously. I know you've said it sometimes, but I just think you fought Orochimaru seriously. How about you show me your level after a month of non-stop training? Kakashi said. Standing with his back next to Naruto. Well, it could be like this. Naruto disappeared in a blur. Suddenly, around Kakashi a bunch of blinking Narutos appeared. It seems that he is going to start with his brother's technique, it seems that he loves it a lot. Kakashi watched as the multiple Narutos attack different ninjas, cutting them or hitting them in the neck, knocking them out with one blow. It seems like he's serious, he's defeated several ninjas in no time, said Kakashi, fighting against more attackers. Naruto appeared in front of two ninjas, kicking one, he ducked avoiding the other's blow, and cut him in the back with a spin. From his seal, he took out 3 Hiraishin kunai, spinning quickly while kicking them, causing them to stick into the ground. Many ninjas surrounded him, but in 3 silver flashes, they all fell to the ground defeated. It seems that Naruto-kun is in the flames of youth. Guy finished off a ninja with a big blow. I won't be left behind. Rock Lee began to increase his speed. That's how you speak, my dear student. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto warned his sensei. Yes. Kakashi went through Hand Seal's Katen. Kikaku no Jutsu. Kakashi launched a gigantic fireball. Futen. Tatapa. The gust of wind fanned the flames, several ninjas were burned by the combined jutsu. Well, they have a bit of an advantage, said Rock Lee. Rigaa. That doesn't matter, we have our flames of youth. Guy moved at great speed, defeating several ninjas along the way, clearing a large part of the stadium. Wow. I want to do that. Rock. Lee quickly took his weights and at high speed, destroyed all the ninjas he could. Several ninjas jumped towards Naruto. Futen, sucked air gently. Shinkuha. Naruto let out a breath as he spun, causing a large wind scythe to come out, cutting the chest of the ninjas who jumped. They all fell dead. I don't like killing them, but it's for the good of the village. On the roof of the Hokage, Orochimaru and Minato were on the roof. Judging by what Orochimaru observed, the Wise Leaf village from their previous invasion, there were barriers surrounding various points of the village and Minato did not seem surprised. You can take off your costume now, Orochimaru, we already knew about this. Minato said to Orochimaru, who took off all his clothes, showing his pale face again. Wow, I guess you're still just as smart, Minato-kun. Well, let's say that this time I had the help of a friend. What do you mean? Orochimaru was doubtful of who discovered his invasion. Surely you know Naruto Uchiha. Minato smiled at Orochimaru's disgusted face. Damn, that brat is now ruining my plans and without me realizing it Orochimaru thought cursing the young Uchiha well, how about we take the icing off your cake? Minato prepared for the imminent battle against the Snake Sannin. Okay, but first, let me make our battle a little more private since apparently, you are not such a fair man. Orochimaru looked at the ambus that were coming through the rooftops, the Sannin snapped his fingers. Suddenly, 4 people with almost the same Orochimaru clothing appeared from the shadows. The characteristics of these ninjas were that one was a woman, redeed with a hat from which 3 strands protruded, one crossing her forehead, another had quite a physical build, orange hair with some baldness, another who appreciated having a sleeping head behind his face. Mane, and quite pale skin. Finally a boy with dark skin, a pineapple hairstyle and 6 arms. Each. One was a kind of anomaly, or well almost all the 4 of them began to make hand seals. Juinjutsu. Shishi engine, formation of the 4 violet flames, the 4 stood in a square formation, then they placed their hands on the roof, and a bright purple barrier began to rise from them. I think you should already know how this barrier works, Minato-kun, said Orochimaru, preparing himself. I can't touch this barrier, if I do I'll get burned, it's an S-rank technique, those 4 are very good Minato thought. Well, it's time to fight said the blonde Hokage. In the stadium. Everyone jump. Naruto warned his fellow bladers. All the leaf ninjas around him jumped at the warning. Raiden. Friend. Naruto placed his hands on the floor of the stadium from which lines of lightning emerged, spreading like a spider web all the ninjas in the range of the technique were hit by the lightning, burning and paralyzing them, Naruto cancelled the technique right away. The other ninjas only had to knock out or kill their enemies because they were paralyzed. Kakashi observed the panorama, he observed how on the roof of the box there was a large purple barrier. Sensei thought the one-eyed ninja, on the other hand, almost all the sound and sand ninjas were defeated, at least in the stadium. Well, the stadium is almost clear, a giant roar shook the ninjas of the entire village. At the southern entrance to the hillside, a large 3-headed snake, we already have this area clear, the other areas have Naruto barriers, but that area must be somewhat empty, if that snake enters it will not hesitate to cause destruction, in addition, we need more protection outside the buildings Kakashi thought. Naruto, come here said Kakashi calling to the little Uchiha. Naruto you have to help defend the village, look over there, Kakashi pointed to the south of the village. Okay, I understand what I have to do, things are faster now Naruto went through hand seals. Kuchius no Jutsu. Naruto put his right hand on the ground. A burst of smoke appeared and a bunch of foxes appeared, only these foxes were a little smaller than Kakashi, on all 4 of their legs. What? Kakashi asked surprised, where are we? Asked one of the foxes, it was dark blue. It seems we are on a battlefield hello. Said Naruto looking up at the big fox. Oh, you are our summoner, right, this is the first time you have summoned a battalion of battle foxes? Asked the fox. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. Well, this is my team, we are a few battle foxes the fox directed his gaze towards about 9 foxes from the same battle. Well, Konoha is under a sudden invasion by 2 villages, we need to advance, defeating ninjas through the southern quadrant of the village, until we reach the edge of the village where a large-scale attack is occurring, said Naruto. Now he sounds like an Anbu, what's wrong with him if he's still a genin? Kakashi thought. Well, where do we start? Said the fox. Well, we just have to go out there, Naruto pointed to one of the exits of the stadium. Okay let's go. By the way, what is your name? My name is Kazuto, a pleasure to serve you Naruto-sama said the fox. It's a pleasure to meet you, and how about you leave the sama okay? But you are my summoner Naruto-sama okay, just let's go. Naruto and the foxes disappeared in a blur. Well, here you go, I hope it goes well. Location. Konoha Center. Naruto was quickly going with the foxes, several ninjas of sound and sand were trying to stop them. It seems that the sound and the sand lean towards the number, there are too many ninjas. Naruto. Jumped and kicked a ninja in the face, he ducked dodging a blow, one of the foxes jumped on the attacking ninja, biting him strongly. The Uchiha turned his gaze, watching as a fox made seals with its claws. What, are you serious? Kaiten. Kakaku no Jutsu. The fox spit out a large ball of dark red fire, the large ball exploded with a ninja exploding strongly. They know how to do jutsus, and they have great magnitude Naruto-sama, look ahead one of the foxes caught Naruto's attention, who directed his gaze forward, seeing how the 3-headed snake was trying to reach the buildings, trying to demolish them. But was stopped by a species by one of the barriers. The barriers are working, now we just have to finish off the big guy, Naruto watched as the foxes advanced, it looks like they're going to improvise Naruto thought, getting ready. Kaiten Futen, Ryuka de Toppa no Jutsu. The foxes shouted their jutsu sending a great flame towards the snake who retreated as it was burned. It's quite resistant, it has to be one of Orochimaru's best summons Naruto prepared himself for a move, he had wanted to summon it to battle for a while. He bit his thumb causing it to bleed, hand seals flying. Kuchius no jutsu. He placed his hand on the ground, instantly, a large ball of smoke of gigantic proportions appeared, from which 8 dark blue tails emerged. A giant fox with a kind of haori and a giant katana. It seems like you're finally calling me for a battle, isn't it, Naruto? The fox, without even the ball of smoke having disappeared, already knew what he had to do. I guess it was time for you to fight, right? This will be fun for you, or I don't know how you'll take the battles, said Naruto. Inform me well, you just have to know that we are under an invasion, and well we have to stop the summon, said Naruto. Okay, I guess my target is that tri-brainhead, Core said. Well yes, well let's go there. Naruto jumped off Core's head, who jumped at high speed. Wow, he's pretty fast for his size, Naruto thought. Hey. Let's get him out of the village, so there's no damage to the infrastructure. Naruto shouted at the big fox. Understood. Core gave a big kick with his hind legs towards the snake's heads, taking it out of the village, or at least from the walls. He has too much strength. Naruto thought in surprise. Core made a great leap across the walls of Konoha, entangled the snake with his tails, and threw it strongly towards the forest. Naruto disappeared in a flash of silver appearing in Core's head. Thank goodness I put that seal on his head while he was there, the Uchiha thought. The snake stood up strongly with a roar. It opened its mouth, releasing a loud hiss, showing its large fangs. We have to teach him a lesson, said Core, passing through Hand Seal's Katen. Kiryu Enden. The great blast of fire came out of Core's mouth that burned the snake and a large part of the forest. Plus Core, you must be more careful, you could hurt the surroundings. I'm sorry, but I've never fought before, I've only trained with the other foxes. This is exciting, Core said apologetically. Okay, I can understand you, let's finish her cleanly, you understand me? Yes. Core unsheathed his katana. The snake emerged from the rubble with severe burns. Time to finish her off. Core took off at high speed against the snake. In the blink of an eye, Core swung his katana, cutting off one of the snake's heads. It crawled in pain, moving frantically. It would be easier if it stayed still. Core tried to cut the snake, but it didn't stop moving. Leave it to me. Naruto activated his Sharingan. He looked directly into the snake's eyes. Naruto's red eyes glowed. The snake froze. All yours. Naruto jumped from Core, who cut off the snake's heads. Naruto landed on Core's head again. Well, you were great help, but for now the combat foxes are more than enough. I understand, but this was fun, Core said, quite satisfied with the battle. Okay, I'll call you again if necessary. Captured Core disappeared in an explosion of smoke. Naruto went through a free fall. Well, for now the invasion is being countered correctly, the barriers are working, and the civilians are safe. He directed his gaze towards the large purple barrier. I guess the Yondaime has his own battle. I trusted him. Orochimaru doesn't stand a chance against him. He looked up at the sky while he was still falling. After this I'll take a break. His body was about to touch the ground when a few centimeters from it, Naruto disappeared in a silver flash. Location. Konoha Stadium. Getting closer to finishing this, Naruto watched as Kakashi and Guy finished off the last ninjas in the stadium. They must be tired. Well, the one in the green suit looks younger than ever, while the Cyclops looks older than he is. The Kyuubi spoke in the Uchiha's mind. Don't be mean to him, said Naruto. One way or the other, Naruto disappeared in the blink of an eye, appearing next to Kakashi. I see you took care of the snake, Kakashi panted a little. Yes, I think I'm going to help Sasuke and Kiyomi. Okay, they went that way. Kakashi pointed in the direction they went. Well, you can continue cleaning around the center of Konoha. My foxes are heading there, so the work will be less difficult for you. Naruto went at maximum speed. I guess we have to continue. Kakashi stood up. Let's continue to demonstrate our youth. Guy disappeared in a blur with his student. He could have left me a soldier pill, well, since Kakashi disappeared in a shunshin. Naruto jumped from tree to tree, leaving more and more of the borders of Konoha. If I remember correctly, Sakura and Shiko left with them. Naruto looked forward where he saw several sound ninjas who were being stopped by a shadow. You are a fool, you know that if your jutsu runs out you will be defeated, said one of the ninjas. It pains me to admit that you're right, I won't last much longer. Shikamaru looked increasingly weakened. Shika, let it go. Shikamaru heard Naruto's voice. He looked up where he saw Naruto coming at maximum speed. Trusting his friend, the pineapple-haired boy released his jutsu, allowing the ninjas to move. Naruto landed in the middle of the ninjas. Jumped Shika. Shikamaru jumped away from Naruto. Raiden. The ninjas tried to hit Naruto. Chidori Nagashi. Lightning chakra ran through Naruto's body, exploding strongly. A lot of rays came out of Naruto's body, electrocuting all the ninjas around him. This was his new version of the Chidori. All the ninjas fell unconscious. Shikamaru came out from behind a tree. You're a troublemaker. Sorry for being late. Damn, I just want to rest for a few moments. Is that too much to ask? Shikamaru dropped onto the tree trunk, resting. Well, you can rest now. Naruto took out a Hiraishin kunai and handed it to Shikamaru. Throw it to the ground if you need help. Naruto quickly jumped between branches. Okay. Naruto continued advancing until he reached an area where the trees were down and it was somewhat burned. It seems like they fought here, it's quite destroyed. Naruto directed his gaze to where he felt a presence. The Uchiha saw how the sand girl was practically crashed against the tree. I guess they beat you pretty badly, right? Naruto said smiling. Leave your arrogance aside, I won't let them do anything to Gaara. The girl tried to get up slowly. I guess you said the same thing when they defeated you for the first time, do whatever you want, they won't win this battle. Attacking Konoha was one of their biggest mistakes. Naruto jumped towards where he felt the presence of Gaara and Sasuke. His sense sensor had improved now that he had Kurama inside him. I must follow him, maybe he knows where Gaara is, after all he seems confident in where he is going. Temari stood up with all her strength and tried to follow Naruto's path. I'm not stupid, I know he's following me, but in that state he doesn't represent that much of a threat, Naruto thought to himself. But Sasuke and Gaara. It was not easy at all to fight against a Jinchuriki. Those were the thoughts of Sasuke and Kiyomi who had reached him and found him. Sasuke launched himself against the deformed Gaara. Die once and for all. Gaara moved his twisted arm toward Sasuke who jumped to dodge his attack. He threw several kunai and shurikens. Gaara covered himself with his large arm that seemed to swallow the weapons. Kiyomi threw herself at the sand boy, tried to hit him and succeeded, but the truth was that it didn't seem to affect him at all. Do you want to die too? Gaara lunged at Kiyomi who tried to dodge, but he seemed to move faster. What? Since when does he move faster if his body carries all that sand? Kiyomi Sharingan predicted Gaara's blow as best he could, narrowly avoiding the devastating attack that broke the ground and detached some trees from his place. It's ridiculous, it's too strong. Kiyomi backed away as much as he could. Sasuke was going to attack. The Uchiha managed to hit Gaara in the face. Disgraceful. Gaara hit back with double the force, making Sasuke crash into a large rock dam. Sasuke couldn't compose himself when Gaara appeared in front of him. Once again he was saved by his Sharingan and dodged the blow by tilting his head. Gaara got somewhat stuck in the stone. The Redeed saw his Gaara and tried a downward hook, but Sasuke moved to the left, dodging the big attack. Once again, the sand claw got stuck in the ground, this time more difficult to get out. Sasuke climbed up, grabbed Gaara's shoulders to propel himself. And giving an acrobatic turn he placed his feet on Gaara's back, trying to bury a kunai that he turned between his fingers. However, Gaara gave a great shake, taking Sasuke off his shoulder. It's incredible how he moves despite everything he has there. Sasuke landed near Kiyomi. I don't know how to beat him, literally no attack works, and sound ninjas are starting to arrive, it's like they want to completely annihilate us, Kiyomi said. Remember that Orochimaru is behind the invasion, it was inevitable that he would want to take us again, so try to tire us out, or even think that we will be so overwhelmed until we fall. Sasuke said, seeing how Gaara's sand was covering more of his body. Damn, the transformation increases, at this rate it will be difficult to beat him, and to think that we are tired from the exam. Sasuke gathered lightning chakra in his hand. But I won't let him touch Kiyomi, I'm also here to protect her. The sound of birds chirping came out of the Chidori that Sasuke was carrying. Chidori. Iso. Sasuke's Chidori lengthened in a second, piercing Gaara as if it were a sword. Erg the Jinchuriki roared at the new wound. Now Kiyomi. The girl went through Hanseal's Katen. Ryuken no Jutsu. Kiyomi sent a giant gust of wind against the deformed Gaara. The jutsu continued for quite some time until the girl was left breathless. When the fire disappeared, it was possible to see how there was a badly burned Gaara. Sasuke's Chidori continued to pierce Gaara. Sasuke didn't waste time and unearthed his technique, cutting Gaara with it again. Sasuke swung his sword several times at Gaara, who lost control. The cuts had paralyzed the Jinchuriki. Sasuke impaled Gaara one last time. Kiyomi jumped and accumulated chakra in her hands, fell at high speed and joined her hands in a hammer blow. Take this. The girl hit Gaara's head, creating a large crater. Kiyomi slowly left the crater. This is more difficult, much more than I thought. Sasuke barely retracted his jutsu. Did we make it? Kiyomi barely left the crater, but Gaara's arm grabbed Kiyomi's right arm. The girl let out a scream because that was her injured arm. Kiyomi. Sasuke tried to move forward, but sound ninjas stood in his way. Get out of my way. Sasuke's Sharingan glowed with anger. He dodged the blows he could and tried to knock him out, but they were more and more ninjas. Damn it, move away. Sasuke went through Hanseal's Kin Senpu. The whirlwind of fire grew around Sasuke, burning everyone around him. Sasuke tried to punch towards the cloud of smoke from which Gaara's arm was emerging, but suddenly, another sand arm stopped Sasuke's punch. Shit, another arm like that. Sasuke tried to break free, but he squeezed him. TSK, let go of me. Sasuke squirmed, but wasn't able to get out of the big grip. A ninja jumped trying to stab Sasuke. He finally managed to make a replacement jutsu. Grrr, stay out of the way. A distorted voice was heard from the dust cloud. Kiyomi was still at the mercy of the one who now seemed like a monster. Gaara now looked like a miniature version of the Shukaku, his upper half now completely covered in sand. The only thing that was not covered was his feet and a small part of his legs. Let go of me now. Kiyomi accumulated chakra in her hand, hitting Gaara's claw hard. It pushed itself to the ground, releasing Kiyomi's hand in the process. Although more than covering her hand, it covered part of her arm, which now I was more hurt than before. Unfortunate thing, your blood will be mine. Gaara. Hit Kiyomi, she collided with a tree. Sand bullet. Gaara swung his arm throwing sand projectiles. There is no time for pain. Kiyomi dodged as best he could the sand bullets that went through several trees and rocks. Gaara appeared in front of Kiyomi. Time to die, Ichiha. He swung one of his big arms to finish the girl off. Damn, no please. Kiyomi closed her eyes, she was too tired to dodge. Holes appeared in Gaara's arms, which distracted him suddenly. Larger holes appeared in his body. A kick landed on Gaara's face and he was sent flying. Are you okay? Naruto landed in front of the girl who was clutching her arm. Why are you always so late? I got lost on the path of life. The boy extended his hand towards the girl. Don't use those stupid excuses, you'll damage the moment. The girl grabbed Naruto's hand. Oh, I'm sorry, damn you, you're late. Sasuke reproached Naruto. I'm sorry, I already apologized for that. You actually didn't. Uchiha Naruto, I was waiting for you. Gaara stood up slowly, as if Naruto's blow had been nothing. I guess you're crazier now, right? That's not that important, is it? After all, I was always crazy. So much that you no longer know what you're saying. Naruto prepared for battle. Sasuke, Kiyomi, if you can take care of the ninjas. Kankuro somehow managed to escape from Kankuro and Sakura, and also the girl is to marry me. I was following, I know you can. Okay, take care of yourself against that monster. He's not a monster, he's just another victim, I'm sure. Naruto uttered his last words before Gaara lunged at him aggressively. The Jinchuriki tried a very strong blow that Naruto dodged, disappearing in a shunshin. He quickly appeared in front of him and hit Gaara's body, which didn't seem to hurt much. It seems that layer of sand on his skin protects him. I should attack the only part that does not cover him, but how much damage can I do to his feet? Come back here. Gaara tried to hit the Uchiha, but he was always able to dodge his attacks. Naruto jumped, avoiding the boy's scratch, turned, and gave an axe kick to the mini Shukaku's head. Naruto backed away, but had to dodge the shurikens of some sand ninjas. Why are we attacking him if we can attack the leaf too? Said one of the ninjas. Orochimaru said he needed one of the Uchihas, and you know what happens to us if we disobey him. The ninjas launched themselves to attack the Uchiha. Damn, now can't be the time for these to come attack. Naruto dodged and turned kicking the ninjas. Gaara tried to catch him, but he jumped. Fuden. Rinkiden. Naruto expelled a large air bullet that collided with Gaara. Naruto landed. Gaara shooed away the dust by moving his gigantic arms and tried to hit again. Naruto turned on his foot, gracefully dodging the attack. Sound of birds chirping. Chidori loaded in hand ready to pierce Gaara. However, a large gust of wind made Naruto retreat. The Chidori was cancelled. Now what? Naruto had to dodge several senbon needles and then dodge the attack of the puppet by jumping. It seems that the older brothers have arrived. Naruto turned his gaze to look at Temari and Kankuro. Am and Sasuke and Kiyomi. Naruto turned again. The two Uchiha boys were being overwhelmed by the ninjas of sound and sand. Oh no, this is bad. Kankuro's puppet managed to grab Naruto. This one was about to stick her needles in, but Naruto changed into a log. He appeared behind a tree, but it was cut by the Temari wind. Fuden. Sajin, woman to Toppa. Gaara sent a large gust of wind with sand that tried to reach Naruto Shunshin and disappeared. Now they won't stop attacking me. Naruto went through a series of evasive movements, trying not to get hit by the different attacks that were chasing him, his Sharingan working at full speed. While with Sasuke and Kiyomi, they were not doing so well. Kiyomi's arm limited her to fighting with only one arm, in addition to the pain causing her to lose focus, while Sasuke was separated from her and was in a sword fight. Without his sword, Naruto performed a sweep, knocking down more sound ninjas. Kankuro tried to attack him with his puppet, but Naruto dodged and dodged. Fuden. Kamitachi Temari sent the gust of sharp wind once again. Naruto dodged. What's wrong with them? It's like they're really trying to kill me. Naruto thought. Maybe that's his goal, or at least that of his deranged younger brother, said Kurama. This is no time to joke. Does this seem like a joke to you? You're right. Naruto was distracted by a large explosion, which came from where Sasuke was. Shit, that must have been a paper bomb. Naruto thought with alarm. Another explosion on Kiyomi's side. What's happening? Naruto was getting more alarmed. The cloud of smoke cleared, showing a Kiyomi against a stone and bleeding from the forehead. Oh no, Kiyomi. Naruto couldn't hold back the scream, his Sharingan shone too brightly. If you ever let her go, I won't forgive you, Naruto said to himself. However, Gaara and Temari wouldn't let it go. Get out of the way, get out of my way. Naruto's Manjikyu didn't wait any longer, the feeling of being close, again, to helplessness, desperation, the fear of losing someone else. Naomi slowly got up holding her arm, she didn't doubt if it was broken or something, because it hurt a lot. Gaara looked at the helpless girl. If I can't get your blood, at least it will be that of someone you love very much, you wouldn't dare, Naruto thought with all his might. He took out a Hiraishin kunai, with his mind so clouded, what would he be thinking? Sand bullet. Gaara ejected a large number of projectiles larger than the previous ones, heading dangerously towards the Uchiha. A kunai appeared in front of her, not a second later, Naruto appeared hugging her to protect her. Time seemed to slow down for both of them, although the one who felt it the most was Naruto. Naruto. What is he doing? That attack could kill him. The girl thought. I won't let anyone else die, I promised him. Naruto's Manjikyu spun at full speed, while shining brightly before the bullets hit the two. A large explosion of black chakra surrounded Naruto. The dust cloud slowly faded away. Heh, how naive, I know he teleported in front of her, now her blood is mine. Gaara thought with euphoria. And it can't be tell. It's not true, please. Sasuke's mind refused to accept what he saw. He couldn't stand having lost his sister and his best friend. It looks like those guys died, I don't think they survived that attack, said a random ninja. I guess Orochimaru will be fine if we leave this one alive, one of the ninjas referred to Sasuke, who was stunned. However, something in the atmosphere changed. Everything around him felt colder and creepier. What is this feeling? It feels too dark. A ninja was trembling at what he felt. Gaara took a few steps back. What's wrong, Gaara? Said Kankuro. This feels bad, very bad, mother says to be very careful, but what? Temari asked T about that. Gaara's lack of stability caused his finger to point towards the vanishing cloud of dust. You could see a gigantic black aura inside. It was a kind of rib cage protecting two figures. Kiyomi opened her eyes slowly. She could feel Naruto's arms holding her protectively. However, when he opened his eyes, he was surprised by what he saw. What is this? Kiyomi noted that she was surrounded by what looked like a light gray ribsage that was glowing. I didn't think I would awaken this ability at this age. Naruto's voice sounded a little hoarser than normal. I never thought they would push me to this point. Why do I learn at the last moment? I will never know why, but I will never trust myself again, no matter how strong I am. Naruto turned his body, still holding the girl by the waist. Naruto. Kiyomi, leaning against her friend's chest, couldn't help but feel worried about Naruto's chakra. It felt too cold and dark. She raised her gaze a little, observing Naruto's Manjikyu shining with fury, a contained fury, which is now slowly overflowing. Of course, I guess you must be confused, since my Manjikyu activated, you must already know that an ability like that is mysterious. Naruto let Kiyomi sit on the ground. Stay behind me, I won't let them hurt you, not again. Naruto closed his eyes and opened them with his Manjikyu spinning. From the ribsage arms appeared that were apparently made of bones. Behind Naruto a spine grew, and at the end a skull appeared with hollow eyes that were then filled with a bright amber color. I guess I have to take advantage of it. SUSANO'. Naruto was now surrounded by the upper part of a skeleton. What is that? One of the ninjas backed away in fear. I don't know, but it's really scary. We didn't know what to do. All the ninjas backed away. See, come on guys, it can't be that bad. The ninja went through hand seals. Kaiten. Kakaku no Jutsu. He launched a large fireball at the large spectral figure. If it really is the perfect defense of the Uchiha, I have to check it, Naruto thought. The large fireball collided with the ribsage. The cloud of smoke left, showing an unharmed Naruto, and apparently, the Susanoo was not affected at all. Okay, although I don't know how to use this, I can help you with that. Kurama contacted Naruto. What do you have? I will only tell you that if you think about attacking he will do it, it works that simple. Besides, the more chakra you put in, the stronger he becomes, although I don't think you have enough power to awaken the full form, said Kurama. Okay, this is more than enough for now. Naruto's Susanoo sent a devastating blow against the ground, creating cracks and a small earthquake. It's pretty strong. Sand bullet. Gaara sent several sand bullets that collided with the Susanoo, it was not affected at all. Naruto closed his fist as Susan's eyes shone, he sent a great blow towards Gaara, sending him flying into several trees. Gaara. Kankuro and Temari worried about their brother. Unfortunate. Temari sent a great gust of wind that when it reached the Susanoo, it divided into two. What? Even gusts of wind are useless. Temari was impressed. Kankuro sent his puppet into attack mode, launching poison senbon, but they only collided with the ribs of the large chakra figure. You should know by now that it's useless. Naruto sounded bored and tired. The Susanoo grabbed the Kankuro puppet and with a light squeeze it broke. No. My puppet. Kankuro backed away, now he had nothing to attack with. Suddenly, Naruto grabbed his eyes as he grunted in pain. It hurts a lot. The eyes were starting to bleed. A red chakra came out of Naruto heading towards his face. You should already know that the Manjikyu has that weakness, why don't you implant your mother's eyes? Kurama said, trying to relieve the pain in Naruto's eyes. I'm seriously thinking about it, believe me. Naruto stopped grabbing his eyes, his manjikyu receding back to his normal Sharingan. The boy's vision blurred for a moment. I used it in Orochimaru's battle, and now, why do I lose my sight so quickly? Naruto asked himself. I don't know, it's certainly the first time I've seen someone lose their sight so quickly, said Kurama. Maybe it's because I activated it at too young an age, said Naruto. MMMC, could it be? Kurama suddenly felt a large burst of chakra. Hey kid, did you feel that? I think so, it was like an explosion. Naruto took out his Hiraishin kunai. I must finish them quickly, you and I know what's coming. Naruto threw his Hiraishin kunai and made seals. Hiraishin style. Multiply. Hiraishin's kunai multiplied, leaving several kunai across the battlefield. I'm not going to waste time with you. Not a second passed. Naruto appeared in the last of his kunai. He had left a silver trail, showing what happened to each of his kunai. Every ninja in range was hit heavily and fell unconscious. Kiyomi, can you get up? Naruto approached the girl again, who was holding her arm. Yes, I'm fine. More than it seems. The girl stood up, a green glow appeared in the palm of her hand. You keep moving forward with that, said Naruto, watching the medical ninjutsu. Yes, but I'm still not very good, said the girl. I have an idea. In that case. Naruto went through hand seals. Kuchiyus no Jutsu. Naruto placed his hand on the ground, from which a ball of smoke emerged that had a small three-tailed red fox. Oh, you are a summoner, I have been told about you. My name is Kurai, you are a medical fox, a pleasure to serve you. Naruto-sama, said the little fox. It doesn't bother me anymore when they call me Sama, Naruto thought. Hello Kurai, I need your help healing my friend here, her arm is very injured, also if you can, check the boy who is there. Naruto pointed to Sasuke, who was slowly approaching. What was that thing? Sasuke asked. That giant thing that surrounded you? Sasuke asked again, he was intrigued. I don't have time to explain it to you now. Naruto could feel a large amount of chakra building up. Okay, at least I know what it has to do with Manjikyu, but I still want you to tell me about it later. I've finished checking your partner here, her arm is a little broken, nothing more, it's nothing that serious, said Kurai. Fractured was never good news. Naruto said, crouching down to Kiyomi's height. I think it's best for you to go to the civilians' hideout, there the battle is less heavy. No, I'm fine, I can continue. No, you're not in a position to fight, it's serious. Naruto sounded stern. But nothing Kiyomi, it's good to try to give more of yourself, but if you give more than you can, you will be left with nothing. Naruto placed his hand in Kiyomi's hand, the Hiraishin symbol appeared in the girl's palm. From Naruto, only for him to become invisible. I won't let anything else happen to you, okay? Naruto tapped Kiyomi's forehead with his index and middle fingers, just as his brother did. It's okay, please take good care of yourself, you too, I need you to help her get to the hospital, and if you can, check how the academy's protection is going. Naruto stood in front of Sasuke. Okay, what are you going to do now? I'll stay fighting the raccoon. Are you crazy? I'll stay to help you. Sasuke, it's not to belittle you, but realistically, tell me how you can help me. Once again Naruto was right, Sasuke didn't know Fuinjutsu or anything to stop a Jinchuriki, more than anything, he would be a kind of target to attack. Shit, you better not die or I won't forgive you. Sasuke extended his hand. Don't worry, I wouldn't forgive myself either. Naruto put his palm on Sasuke's, and the Hiraishin seal appeared, then turned invisible just like what happened with Kiyomi. Well, now that I think about it, I can teleport them straight to the hospital. An earthquake was felt around the entire forest. You have to go, take care of yourselves, you also take good care of yourself. Naruto touched Sasuke and Kiyomi on the shoulder, the two disappeared in a flash of silver. Naruto turned his gaze when he saw a large amount of sand rising, then, there was a large explosion of smoke that covered much of the forest, the smoke slowly dissipated, two amber eyes appeared behind the smoke, shining with menace. It seems that it has already appeared. Naruto looked at the large figure of a kind of raccoon that seemed to be made of sand. The big raccoon spotted Naruto in the forest clearing. The people of the village could observe the figure of the great one-tailed Bijuu outside their village. Many ninjas and even civilians had bad memories of the night of October 10, 15 years ago. Minato from the box could observe the large figure. Really, he brought the one-tailed Bijuu to destroy the village, huh? Heh, I had to ensure my victory, no matter how strong Naruto-kun is, he has no chance against a Bijuu, even if this is the weakest, it's all about crushing the blade. It won't turn out the way you think, I trusted Naruto more than you think, we'll see about that. Orochimaru launched himself again at Minato who stopped his blow. I think you're going to need my help, you have to admit that you're tired, and besides, you're facing a mythical creature that's over 1,000 years old, and that's strong of course, said Kurama in Naruto's mind. I think you're right, we're going to have to show him who the stronger brother is. How much chakra can you give me? Well, it depends on how much you can control. How well do you control your emotions? I've lived long enough to tell you that I can control them very well, okay, I don't hesitate, get ready. Kurama began pumping chakra through Naruto's network. The Uchiha felt how his reserves were refilled and a large amount of energy was taken over. Naruto's eyes turned red with a slit around him, a kind of bubbling chakra began to appear, it covered his entire body, until a kind of ears similar to Kurama's appeared on top. Behind Naruto, 3 tails appeared made of chakra and waving freely. "It seems like this is all you can control," said Kurama. "It feels quite stimulating, it's like a kind of state of ecstasy," said Naruto. "This is how you must feel if you can control it, you are too lucky, normally you would be losing your mind, you still can't control any more tails in this state, you will have to practice more with my chakra. Okay, by the way, how many states do you have?" "There is no time to answer that now, you have a big problem ahead of you." Naruto looked at the large sand tanuki. "Now you will die. Uchiha. You and your village will not be saved from this." Gaara went through hand seals. Fall sleep jutsu instantly, Gaara fell asleep and his body hung on Shukaku's forehead, the great Bijuu's eyes stopped shining and became a little more opaque. Yes. Finally he is free. The cry of the great Bijuu sent a great shock wave. Now it's completely Shukaku. Naruto stepped back a little. "Don't be scared yet, I'm not scared, I'm just taking caution, I'm facing a beast with a sadistic tail. Anyway, now we can deduce a little about the Sand's Fujutsu skills, and they are very lousy. That brat seal was so bad that he couldn't afford to sleep or Shukaku would break free," Kurama scoffed. "Yes, but now that is costing us a fight against a Bijuu. Don't worry, beating him is going to be easy, as you see it's only a partial transformation. To defeat Shukaku, we just have to wake up the brat. Now, you have to think about how to approach him." "Okay, for now this will be it." Shukaku turned his gaze once towards the boy in the clearing. "I'm going to destroy you, and then I'm going to destroy this pathetic village, and then I'm going to destroy more things." Shukaku didn't think about it and launched a devastating blow against the ground that raised a large gust of wind that was heading toward Naruto. Naruto shunshin and appeared elsewhere. Shukaku sent another attack with his long limbs. Naruto continued dodging. From his seal, he launched a large smoke shuriken. "I've almost never used one of these, I guess now I have the chance to try them." Naruto blew on the edge of the giant shuriken. Futen. Shinkijin. At the time of throwing the great shuriken, it obtained a large layer of cutting wind that surrounded it. The great wind saw hit Shukaku's arm squarely, tearing it off, but when it fell it turned into sand. It moved quickly going up the raccoon until he reaches his cut, regenerating his arm. It has quite good sand regeneration. The big raccoon puffed out his chest and raised his arm. Futen. Renkiden. Shukaku hit his belly hard, releasing a truly gigantic air bullet that was heading dangerously towards the Uchiha. Shit, a flash of silver, and Naruto appeared on one of his kunai that he had left on the ground. Damn, the range of his attacks is very large, but Naruto looked at the disproportionate shape of the one-tailed raccoon. He's very slow, he barely even moved, so if I'm very fast, I can easily approach Gaara. Naruto picked up a single kunai from Hiraishin. "But I might need help." Naruto placed his kunai in his mouth and went through hand seals. Kuchiyus no Jutsu. A large explosion of smoke appeared in the forest. "I knew you would call me again, but so soon." "I'm sorry, Core, but I was originally planning to stop this Ujim, I guess it got out of hand." "No, I have everything under control, but I could use a pair of claws." "Heh, okay, and I guess the one-tailed Bijuu is a great adversary." Core directed his gaze toward Shukaku, who smiled with his pointy teeth. "You remind me so much of my annoying nine-tailed brother." Beat up that miserable filthy raccoon," Kurama growled in Naruto's mind. "It will be enough for a 15-year-old boy to humiliate him, come on, Core." "Yes." The big fox jumped on the one-tailed tanuki. Shukaku stretched out his arm trying to land a blow. In the process he grabbed Core's face. "You're nothing against me," Shukaku said amused. "That's what you think." With one of his tails, Core hit the raccoon's face, making him bend his face. When he was released, Core finished him off with the rest of his tails. Shukaku compassed himself. Unfortunate, he sent a big blow with his claw. Core could not dodge it being sent backwards. "Pretty good hit," Core said. "This is not the time to get out of hand, we have to defeat him." Naruto barely held on to the head of the great boss of the foxes. "Oh yeah, whatever you say." Core passed through hand seals. Kaiten. Enden. Core threw a large fire bullet. Shukaku covered himself with his arm, the fire bullet exploded and Shukaku's arm was somewhat crystallized. "Damn, Futen. Renkiden." The air bullet headed towards Core. He jumped and took out his sword with great force and in a great landing, Core buried his sword in Shukaku's shoulder. You could see how it went through and was stuck into the ground. "That's not going to be enough." Shukaku grabbed Core's face and squeezed it. "Not so fast." Naruto performed half a ram seal, and in a shunshin, several clones appeared on Shukaku's shoulder. High explosion maintaining the seal, Naruto gave the order with his chakra, and the clones exploded harder than normal, damaging Core a little. "What? They're not supposed to be that strong," said Naruto. "That's because of my chakra, it's enhancing your jutsus." "That was expensive, I'm sorry, Core." Naruto shouted to his partner, that doesn't matter, just do something. I should take advantage, it seems that Shukaku's arm is coming off. Naruto went through hand seals and being on Kor's head, he launched the Jutsu Kaiten. Kiryu Enden. From Naruto's mouth came the great burst of fire that completely covered Shukaku's right side, who grunted in pain. Kor's face barely came out of the range of the jutsu. Once the fire stopped, you could see how Shukaku's arm was detached and almost completely crystallized. Damn brat. Shukaku stretched out his left arm, Kor blocked the blow with his tails. Naruto jumped and began to run along Shukaku's arm. Naruto ran with great speed, the sand on Shukaku's arm tried to reach him because he knew he was headed for Gar. Waves of sand tried to hit Naruto, but he took out his katana and infused it with Raiten chakra, cutting off the sand that was heading towards him. Naruto threw Hiraishin's kunai upwards, Naruto teleported to him, dodging a large blast of sand. When he appeared next to the kunai, he kicked with the soles of his feet. Multiply. The kunai turned into several Hiraishin kunai. Naruto teleported to each one, changing direction with kicks. All in all, there was a silver light that came and went with several turns, until one of the kunai landed next to Gaara, flashed, and Naruto appeared next to Gaara. Quickly and without wasting time he hit Gaara on the head. The red-haired boy slowly opened his eyes in shock. No, it can't be, I just arrived. Shukaku's arm on the ground crumbled into sand while his other arm began to crumble. No. I won't leave here without destroying anything. Shukaku opened his mouth, a large amount of chakra began to accumulate in his mouth, red and blue spheres began to condense into a purple sphere. Very dark, almost black. What is that? Naruto asked Kurama. It is a Biju lady, the definitive attack of the Bijuus. It is a great accumulation of its chakra in the densest and purest state with great destructive power. I don't know how you will stop it, because it is aimed at the village, said Kurama, alarming Naruto. Shit. Naruto threw Hiraishin kunai towards the ground and then teleported towards a kunai that was on the Konoha wall. He started running as fast as he could, using Shunshin to go faster, until he reached the point where was Shukaku pointing. Everyone die. Bijuadama. Shukaku threw the large sphere of chakra towards the village, creating an earthquake. The large sphere destroyed trees just by touching them. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'll risk everything to protect them. Naruto made hand seals with a Hiraishin kunai in hand. When he finished them, Naruto extended his two hands open with the Hiraishin kunai resting between his thumbs. Hiraishin Dorai. Under guide, Naruto sent a large amount of chakra in the air. Kanji appeared that seemed to unite in the center. The large sphere of chakra collided with the barrier, which seemed to swallow it. Naruto held the barrier with all his strength, his hands holding the Hiraishin kunai tightly. Damn. Naruto's feet dragged on the tiles. The Biju lady sent a shock wave that sent a part of the wall flying. You can't let that thing touch the village, please give a little more. Naruto gave himself support, trying to stop the great attack. In the distance, Shukaku increasingly turned into sand. The dimensional barrier swallowed more and more of the Biju lady. Impossible. Shukaku thought. Naruto gave a growl. The Biju lady was completely swallowed by the absorption barrier. The kanji disappeared with the Biju lady. Naruto pointed his kunai upwards. The kanji appeared again, giving way for the Biju lady to shoot upwards. The large ball of chakra shot into the sky, parting the clouds as it passed and disappearing from sight. Finally it exploded, generating a great light and a great noise. The heat in the atmosphere made it start to rain. Shit, said Naruto, taking a breath. I must admit that you did well, considering that Shukaku was disappearing and that it was a partial transformation, and that yes, in the end the Biju lady didn't have that much power. The chakra cloak disappeared. No, yes, Kurama couldn't lie to Naruto. That doesn't matter now. He turned his gaze to see that the village had not suffered any damage from the Hokage box. Minato watched in amazement as Naruto stopped a Lady Biju. Only he had been capable of that great feat. He never thought that someone so young but with so much power would exist. An injured Orochimaru watched as his ultimate weapon was defeated not even 5 minutes after it had appeared. What? But how did that happen? He shouted furiously. Well, let's say that boy you want is stronger than you think, Minato said, amused. Damn, with the Shukaku gone and thinking I have no chance against this one, I guess I only have that jutsu left. Orochimaru licked his lips in anticipation. Naruto took a deep breath and teleported into the forest. In the clearing, Gaara's figure on the ground could be seen. Naruto picked up his kunai and approached him at a slow pace. Gaara noticed the approaching Uchiha. Stay away from me, don't kill me. Gaara was retreating on the ground. I'm not going to kill you, and I'm not going to hurt you either, see? Naruto, faced with the boy's reaction, placed his kunai on the ground again and raised his hands. See? I'm not going to do anything to you. Gaara didn't know what to think. He had always been the one that people ran away from, but now he was the one that backed away. That bothered him. He had to know how the Uchiha was so strong. How are you so strong? Gaara asked. I've trained a lot, because to protect my loved ones, dear people. Gaara sounded confused. You know, friends, I've never had friends. Gaara sounded strangely sad now. Oh, shit, I forgot, that's the life of a normal Jinchuriki, not like Menma and Me, thought Naruto. I can't imagine the hell he must have gone through, so how about I'm your first friend? Naruto stretched out his hand towards Gaara. That because? Because I know you're not a bad person, you didn't want to do this, or I don't know, but I can't feel that you're bad, you're just confused, how do I know you won't betray me or stab me in the back? Gaara pointed to Naruto accusingly. Because I don't see the need to betray a friend, and you must learn to trust, you weren't just there, you had your brother and your sister. Those two. Yes, I can feel that they love you a lot, said Naruto smiling. Now that I think about it, I can feel a lot of things now, the Uchiha reflected on his thought. It's my fault, I'll explain to you later, said Kurama. Anyway, what do you say, friends? Gaara stretched out his hand hesitantly. Don't worry, from now on, you won't be alone, Gaara finally took Naruto's hand, who helped him up at that moment. The tinkling sound inside Naruto's head rang, the Uchiha jumped, dodging a blow from Temari with his fan. Upon landing, Kankuro pounced on him coming out of some bushes. Naruto simply dodged. Kankuro was not good at all in body. Temari, Kankuro, stop it. Gaara yelled at his brothers. What's wrong, why do you defend him? Kankuro asked. I don't want my first friend to be hurt, said Gaara. What? The two brothers shouted. It's not like those two would have hurt this beast, ha 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 ha. Kurama laughed out loud. You Kurama. Naruto sweated for his new friend. Gaara, how is this your friend? Said Temari. It's a short story, so maybe there's no time to tell it, I'll let them escape, but first Naruto touched Gaara's hand, the Horatian seal appeared and disappeared. Okay, now you can go, I'll visit you as quickly as I can, okay. But now I have other things to do, Naruto said, disappearing in a flash of silver. Gaara was about to jump but fell to his knees. Gaara. The two brothers carried him on their shoulders and started jumping. You don't know how worried I was. To think that you let that raccoon get hold of you, said Temari. You didn't have to worry, but still thank you. Kankuro and Temari were shocked by the deeds. Thank you, who without further ado fell asleep. They only managed to smile and continue on their way. Naruto arrived in front of the large purple barrier. It's useless, you can't touch it or you'll get burned, one of the Anbis told Naruto. I have an idea. Naruto activated his Manjikyu and activated his Kamui. He passed his hand that simply crossed the barrier as if nothing had happened. Upon checking that it worked, he passed his entire body without haste. What did he do? Asked an Anbu. I don't know. Orochimaru went through Hand Seal's Kuchiyas. At that moment he saw how Naruto had arrived. I guess I can take advantage of getting his Sharingan. Oh yeah, this will be the best Hokage-sama. Naruto arrived at Minato's side. Naruto. How did you get through the barrier? A magician never reveals his secrets. Normally I would tell you to leave, but it would be better to guarantee the defeat of this madman no matter what, said Minato. It's a shame that you guys are going to lose, admire my new technique. Kuchiyas. Ito Tensei. Resurrection of the impure world. In front of Orochimaru, 3 portals appeared on the ground, from which 3 coffins emerged. The first had the kanji for Shadame, the second the kanji for Nidame, and the third Sandame. Don't fuck with me, are you going to revive them? Minato was alarmed. However, the third coffin sank into the ground. It's true, the Sandame is in the Shinigami's stomach. It seems that I won't be able to see my dear sensei, but with these two, that's enough. The 2 coffins opened, showing the figure of Hashirama Senju and Tobirama Senju, first and second Hokage of Konoha. Automatically, Kurama's chakra cloak activated again. Believe me, you're going to need it, said Kurama. Naruto swallowed, activated his Sharingan, forever recording the image of the powerful shinobi in front of him, who had just returned from the dead. This is getting out of control. This is getting out of control. Minato clenched his Horatian kunai tightly. What kind of jutsu is that? It just revived the first Hokages. Naruto stepped back a little. Are you afraid, boy? Said Kurama. I don't know what's wrong with you, I have to fight the god of shinobi, and also the creator of jutsus. Naruto observed with his Sharingan the 2 great shinobis in front of him. The 2 Hokages took a step forward and began to move their heads, observing the panorama. This is Konoha. The first Hokage was the one who spoke. Tobirama had his arms crossed and nodded, maintaining his silence. Wait a minute, we're dead. Hashirama was beginning to come to his senses. So you realize, said Tobirama. Tobirama. This is your jutsu? Hashirama said, pointing at his brother. Yes, the second Hokage seemed to be a few words. Hey, you two. Orochimaru caught the attention of the 2 shinobis. So you are the one who summoned us? Said Tobirama. Who are you? Hashirama asked. I am a student of your student. Are you Seru's student? Tobirama said. That's how it is. And where is he? I know he must be old, but he must still be alive, but he is a tough nut to crack, said Tobirama. Well, let's say he's already dead. He sacrificed himself to save the village from the Kyuubi attack, so that's it. No wonder, he should have used the Shiki Fujin, right? You see, Tobirama, once again your jutsus caused trouble. Hashirama scolded his brother. Just know that I saved the village, don't be stupid, Sari did a great job, he protected the village, even if it cost him his life, said Tobirama. That doesn't matter. Orochimaru made a hand seal. The two Hokages stiffened from one moment to the next. You are here to help me defeat these two. Orochimaru pointed to Naruto and Minato. Who are they? Hashirama asked. They are a nuisance, meet the current Yondaime Hokage and Uchiha Senju. Naruto, a total nuisance, said Orochimaru. Hang on a minute, Uchiha Senju. Tobirama asked, narrowing his eyes. He looked towards Naruto, who had his Sharingan active and also saw the Kyuubi's chakra cloak. So Uchiha Senju and also Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, it must be a total weapon. Nidaime is wrong, Naruto is not a weapon, he was born an Uchiha and a Senju naturally, and being a Kyuubi Jinchuriki is something a little more complex, said Minato. That's the thing, huh? Tobirama began to get into a battle position, although he didn't want it, just like Hashirama. What's wrong? Hashirama said, trying to stand up straight again, but he couldn't. Listen to me carefully. Tobirama called the attention of the two shinobi, who got into battle position as well. This technique is not easy to counteract, first of all now. That we are revived, we have infinite chakra, and our wounds will regenerate every time we are damaged, as if that were not enough, we will not disappear unless Orochimaru undoes the jutsu. A question, if we kill him will they disappear? Said Naruto. No, the only way for us to disappear is if he wants, said Tobirama. I don't know if they will find a way to do something, but for now the eyes of the two Hokages looked sharply into the eyes of the defending ninjas. Survive. Orochimaru finished Tobirama's sentence. Naruto's Sharingan spun at maximum speed. Without trust, this is a battle at the Hokage level at incredible speed. Tobirama was already in front of Naruto. What? Naruto could only see the blow, but his body had not even prepared itself. The blow fell hard on Naruto's face, who was thrown backwards. Tobirama did not let him and ran quickly, but this time Naruto anticipated his Sharingan, followed the movement with all his effort, a red trail coming out of his eyes. With his hands he jumped back. He leaned on the ground and launched a kick that apparently went towards nothing. Tobirama dodged it by ducking. That's a good one, Uchiha, but at high speed. Tobirama appeared behind Naruto, sending a blow, but with a backflip Naruto dodged the blow, sending a kick that Tobirama blocked. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Two Naruto clones appeared next to Tobirama trying to give two kicks. Tobirama turned, giving a sweeping kick. The Naruto clones exploded, but one turned into lightning. Paralyzing Tobirama, he didn't seem to care a lot. The original tried the blow again, but Tobirama stopped him. It's not enough, boy. Tobirama delivered a devastating blow at an almost imperceptible speed. Naruto was lifted off the ground, spitting saliva. The only thing Naruto could see was Tobirama's blow reaching his face, crashing into a column. Damn, it's not easy. And you say it, with this three-tailed mantle, you are superior to a high-level Jonin, almost as strong as a Kage, but those two, they are out of range. I tell you, Kurama spoke in Naruto's mind. Katen. Gakakyu no Jutsu. A large fireball was heading towards Tobirama, who made only one hand seal. Suiton. Sujinheki. Water swirled around him and turned in front of Tobirama like a wall. There it is, Tobirama's other specialty, creating water from nothing, said Naruto. Meanwhile, Minato dodged the shinobi god's blows as best he could, right and left blow, and then a spinning kick, all blocked by Hashirama. He's pretty good, none of my attacks can hit him, he has great resistance, and practically every blow he gives is quite powerful, Minato thought. Minato blocked a blow from Hashirama that almost knocked him out of position. The Shadaime pushed the Yondaime with his pure power. He gave a big kick that sent Minato dragging, but he remained standing. If I want to win, I have to be faster and more effective. Hashirama, at an almost imperceptible speed, appeared in front of Minato, but he had thrown a Hiraishin kunai towards the front. He disappeared in a yellow flash. It was pretty fast, Hashirama thought, surprised. Hey, is that the Hiraishin? He's very fast, Hashirama said. Yes, Minato responded simply. Minato picked up his kunai and rolled it gently in anticipation of Hashirama's attack. He disappeared in a flash. In less than a second he reappeared on the previously thrown kunai, his kunai pointing at the back of the Shadaime's head. With force, he buried the stabbing weapon in Hashirama's back, which dissolved into water, showing that it was a replacement. I didn't expect anything less, he made a substitution knowing what my plan was, Minato thought. Minato leaned back, dodging a blow from Hashirama that appeared below him with an upward fist. He attempted a kick that Hashirama blocked. The two began to hit each other, each blocking the other's blows. Orochimaru watched with a macabre smile. The jutsu is working wonderfully, the two Hokages perform well, even though the Ito Tensei does not allow them to use all their power. Orochimaru crossed his arms watching the battle. Naruto's feet dug into the wood, he put his hands in an X and blocked Tobirama's blow that sent out a shock wave. Naruto jumped and sent a kick that Tobirama blocked. Another series of kicks was sent, but Tobirama blocked them all by sending his own blows. Naruto backed away with his hands, crouching, sending a heel kick. Tobirama backed away, jumped and made hand seals. Suiton. Suryudan no Jutsu. Water began to swirl, it turned into a water dragon that launched itself towards Naruto. Naruto jumped dodging the attacks of the water creature, Naruto took out his sword. Futon. Nami. Naruto sent a large crescent of wind that cut the dragon, Tobirama took out 2 kunai and rushed towards Naruto, with a reverse grip, Naruto and Tobirama exchanged cuts, sparks jumped from the clash of metals Naruto's Sharingan working at full speed, dodging the attacks of the Nidaime Hokage. The two opponents came and went, disappearing in blurs with high speed. Naruto and Tobirama jumped, avoiding several wooden roots. It's the Shadaime's Mokuton. Naruto thought, but blocked a Tobirama attack with his sword. Once again, Naruto and Tobirama entered into a back and forth attack. Behind them, yellow flashes dodged wooden stakes. A 3-pointed kunai landed in the middle of the Uchiha and the Senju, in a yellow flash, Minato appeared crouching, releasing a large cut at Tobirama, Naruto, predicting a jump and dodging Hashirama, the large sparks jumped and the sound of metal rang loudly. Minato's kunai pushed Tobirama, Naruto jumped on Hashirama's back and made hand seals. Raiden. Jibashi. Minato disappeared in a yellow flash before the lightning struck the first 2 Hokages, paralyzing them for a moment. Kaiten. Gakakyu no Jutsu. Futon. Tatapa. Naruto and Minato sent the attacks without thinking, however, the 2 Hokages disappeared in a blur. Tobirama jumped again and attacked Naruto from behind, however, Naruto disappeared in a silver flash, Tobirama was not able to follow him. Naruto began to blink and in less than a second, several Narutos appeared blinking, they moved at great speed jumping between the branches, the Narutos attacked Tobirama with ferocity, Tobirama tried to hit, but Naruto always disappeared in the blink of an eye, appearing behind Tobirama or somewhere else, he tried to finish off the clones, but they were not clones. Shunshin level 3 Naruto continued attacking Tobirama from everywhere, but the second Hokage defended himself quite well. It's incredible, despite being attacked from several angles, he can see the attacks I send, it's the power of the jutsu creator, Naruto thought with admiration. This technique is quite good, he can attack me, but I can't attack him, it is very difficult to hit him, Tobirama admired Naruto's technique. Tobirama grabbed his 2 kunai tightly, spinning in the air, sending Naruto back, deactivating the Shunshin. Tobirama jumped and threw a kunai, Naruto saw it with his Sharingan, it was not a normal kunai, it had the Hiraishin seal, Naruto turned his head, slightly dodging the kunai, Tobirama at high speed, appeared behind Naruto who could not follow him, Tobirama he pierced Naruto with his kunai, but he disappeared and turned into a log. Substitution, huh? He could read my movements, or he just priced my Hiraishin with his Sharingan, it seems like he knows how to use those eyes, Tobirama jumped to the side, dodging a downward blow from Naruto that broke the ground greatly. He turned his sword in his palm and attacked without fear. Tobirama countered, tried a sweep against the Uchiha, but this jump, Tobirama turned on the ground and with a kick, he disarmed Naruto who was left without his sword, which was spinning freely in the air above them. Tobirama jumped and tried to cut Naruto, but he dodged and blocked the attacks as best he could. I can see it, I can do it, he turned his body blocking with his elbow, raised his knee blocking the kick. 3 seconds since the sword is out, Naruto was calculating the time in which the sword was in the air, now it began to fall. Naruto grabbed Tobirama's arm, pulling him trying to knee him, but Tobirama blocked it with his palm. He looked up where he saw the sword falling spinning. Naruto propelled himself with his leg and spun upwards, somersaulting forward, the heel of his foot hit hard with the handle of his sword, it shot out, Tobirama almost moved his head, receiving a small cut on his cheek. Not bad, Uchiha said Tobirama, in his years of life or death, not even Jonin level ninjas could do what the boy just did. Tobirama hit, Naruto blocked the blow, but the great force pushed him, Naruto's sandals dragged releasing dust, he looked up and jumped, dodging large water bullets, spinning in the air, making hand seals. Futon. Shinkajoku. The pressurized air bullets traveled at high speed against Tobirama, who began to spin acrobatically. The air bullets hit Hashirama and Minato, who disappeared in a yellow flash, while Hashirama used his pure speed. Tobirama launched himself at Naruto, landing a big blow. Naruto resisted him as best he could and crouched down, sweeping the Hokage's legs, who supported himself with his hands. Naruto made a half-ram seal, and a clone appeared and kicked Tobirama, sending him away. The clone he did Shunshin in front of Tobirama. This one started to shine. Tobirama jumped dodging the clone's explosion, however, more Narutos appeared exploding, making Tobirama retreat. Naruto began to blink, advancing quickly, he reached Tobirama. Tobirama managed to observe him and tried to hit Naruto, but his fist just went through him as if nothing had happened. Tobirama was too surprised, the body finally went through Tobirama, Naruto, gathered wind chakra in his palm. Futon. Rapusho. He hit his palm hard against the surprised Tobirama, he shot out looking back, observing Naruto's evolved eyes. So you two are trapped by hatred, Tobirama wrinkled the seal. He crashed into a branch, getting up almost instantly as his armor and body regenerated. Naruto landed a few meters in front of him, with his Manjikyu activated. So you also have the curse of hatred, huh? For a moment I thought you were different from the others. Tobirama crossed his arms. What do you mean by that? Naruto said. You have the Manjikyu Sharingan, tell me, who did you kill to get those cursed eyes? I didn't kill anyone, Nidame-sama, not anyone dear to me, but I don't understand that curse of hatred. When an Uchiha awakens the Sharingan, their emotions shoot to the top. Once these eyes have appeared, the emotions that shoot the most are love and hate. Uchihas usually gain a lot of love for something or someone. But what happens when that is taken away? Naruto opened his eyes. That's right, his hatred. If you take away from an Uchiha what he loves, only hatred will remain, and that hatred will be directed at all those around him. Naruto backed away. I knew it, the Uchihas are a cursed race, thirsty for power, and are not able to control their emotions. You have never thought that Uchihas could be different. Maybe you have seen other types of Uchihas. Things have changed since the creation of Konoha. You lived since the era of clan wars, where everyone was ruthless, even his clan, it may be, but we did not kill our own. For power. Naruto opened his eyes, remembering Itachi. Could it be that the curse was real? Flashback. 6-year-old Naruto ran in circles around Itachi. It's a new jutsu, I hope it's cool. Itachi laughed softly as he crouched down and told Naruto with his fingers. Naruto ran over only to be hit with his fingers on the forehead. Oh, but why? Naruto rubbed his forehead. You have to stay calm, what did he teach you? Naruto calmed down and took a deep breath, keeping his face calm. Well, for now I'll teach you a new jutsu, then if you want we can go to my house for dinner. My mother is preparing a big dinner, it would be amazing. I really like going to Mikoto-sen's. Yes, I also love my family very much. I'm sure especially Sasuke and Kiyomi. Yes, they are my dear little brothers, I love them more than anything. Naruto looked at him with serious eyes. Of course I also love you very much, you are my favorite disciple brother, Itachi said smiling. And what do you think of the rest of the clan? Isn't it obvious? Itachi turned his gaze while Naruto did the same. The two observed the clan, the buildings with the lights on, people walking talking to others, more people shopping in stores, the air swaying and playing with the leaves of the trees that fell, everything and everything, it was a kind of calm atmosphere. I love everyone in the clan very much, everyone has helped me at some point, they have greeted me, and at some point they have looked me in the eyes and smiled at me, that is enough to have respect for them, they all work for their families and have affection for each other. It makes me happy to see them like this, and we are all part of the same family, Itachi observed, smiling softly. Two ladies who were walking greeted the two boys, who returned the greeting. It's good, yes, it's very good, Naruto said softly. Okay, let's go to the training ground, you have a jutsu to learn. And flashback. No, Tobirama raised an eyebrow. The Sharingan may enhance our feelings, but everyone who learns to love must also learn to hate, even if it is not the Sharingan, or what you felt when you saw that everyone in your clan was defeated. Hashirama and Minato stopped the battle upon hearing this. Orochimaru looked at that in amazement. Tobirama remained silent. My best friend, my sensei, I kill my entire clan, I kill your entire family, what? Hashirama looked angrily at Minato, who had his head lowered. How did that happen? Said Hashirama. I don't know, he didn't tell me, but that doesn't matter, I saw him cry. Before I go, my goal is to find him, and I'll ask him what happened. And you think that if you ask him he will tell you, I know what you mean, but that's why I become strong, not everything is achieved the easy way, so, with that you show me that you don't have the curse of hatred. I can attest to it, said Minato. So you yondaime, Hashirama said. Naruto has always strived with the help of others, he is loyal to the village and has many dear people here, so I am sure he would never betray us, he is Naruto Uchiha of the Leaf. Minato blocked an attack from Hashirama, who did not control his body. So what? Said Tobirama. Naruto opened his palm, chakra began to swirl, a sphere of chakra. What? The Rasengan. Minato watched as Naruto used a technique that he himself invented. I won't let him hit Tobirama with that. Orochimaru performed a half-ram seal. Tobirama launched himself at great speed against Naruto, Tobirama's fist headed towards Naruto, the fist was about to touch him, but… in the last fraction, before the Hokage's knuckles hit the boy, a silver flash cut him off, Naruto appearing in a kunai buried in the branches of the trees that Hashirama had created. Before Tobirama himself opened his eyes, Naruto appeared behind him on his back. Rasengan. Naruto smashed the chakra sphere into Tobirama's back, it began to drill into the resurrected man's body. That was fast, pretty fast, I didn't even open my eyes. Tobirama thought. The chakra sphere exploded, sending Tobirama crashing to the ground, the roof of the box broke, crashing Tobirama into the ground below them. Naruto wasted no time and threw a kunai at Hashirama, the first Hokage. With great reflexes, he pulled out a kunai and deflected the projectile, while with his back, he managed to block a blow from Minato. The kunai went upwards. In a silver flash, Naruto appeared holding his kunai. He threw it towards Hashirama's side and appeared with Shiden in hand. Minato disappeared in a yellow flash. Shiden. The Uchiha crashed his attack against the first Hokage, who managed to cover himself. Hashirama shot out with the purple beam that then exploded. Hashirama rested his slippers on a branch of a large tree, his body regenerating as he traced hand seals. Mokuten. Sashiki no Jutsu. Several wooden stakes came loose from the trunks and were thrown strongly at Naruto. The Uchiha dodged the wooden projectiles with great skill. He could see them in super slow motion thanks to his Manjikyu. It was almost as if he were moving in another time. Struck hand stamps. Kaiten. Ryuken no Jutsu. Launched a large flame of fire against the first Hokage, who covered himself with a wooden dome. Naruto grabbed his sword buried in the ground while pulling out a Hiraishin kunai. With his Sharingan, Naruto watched as the wooden dome opened. Without fear, he threw the special kunai with great speed. The first Hokage easily observed the approaching kunai, grabbed it with great skill, but did not realize its special condition. Naruto appeared walking around. With his sword he cut Hashirama's chest. With his foot he hit the Hiraishin kunai. Kicking it up, he disappeared in another flash, appearing on the kunai above Hashirama, which was shocked by the large wound that they have managed to cause him. If I weren't an Edo Tensei, that wound would have been much worse, thought the first Hokage. Kaiten. Hasenka no Jutsu. Naruto launched a large number of fireballs that collided with the first Hokage. The attack had been at a high speed. Naruto is incredible, a 15-year-old boy attacking two shinobi who made armies run. That kid Orochimaru made an angry face. Once again, Naruto surprised him, and not in a good way. Orochimaru took out a sword from his mouth, threw it at high speed against the defenseless Naruto, but the sword simply passed through him and continued on his way. Naruto landed and jumped towards Minato. No matter how much damage we do to them, this battle will only end one way, yeah. Naruto and Minato were thinking how to win this battle. For Naruto, there was no way to win this battle. He did not know what to think. He felt helpless. If he and Minato ran out of chakra, Orochimaru would order the barrier to be lowered and destroy the village with those who they once loved her. Sealing them would be of no use, as they would not disappear yet, and sooner or later the seal would break due to the strength of the two's chakra. But for Minato, there was only one way to win. Naruto, what's wrong? Yondaime-sama. I only see one way to win this battle, well, I'll just say that, after that, I won't be able to stay here. What do you mean? Maybe I'm going to use this jutsu. No, don't tell me that. That's right, the Shiki Fujin, you're crazy. If you do that jutsu, you'll stay in the Grim Reaper's stomach, and what will happen to Mito and Menma? Jiraiya-sensei and Kushina-san. If you tell me about them, you'll only make it hurt more for me. Naruto watched as Minato squeezed his kunai tightly. But Naruto, I know very well that this is sad, but it's the only way you know. Besides, if I can take Orochimaru with me, we'll get rid of a hassle. I don't know if you've already noticed, but the bodies of the Edo Tensei take longer to regenerate the more damage they receive, Minato thought. We can take advantage of this to seal them. Minato got into a battle position. He could see how Tobirama and Hashirama regenerated. I will not let these two win, the blade will fall this day. Half a ram seal, making the former Hokages stiffen and then give a serious look. Hashirama went through hand seals. Mokuten. Jukai Koten. The branches of the trees did not wait, they attacked and grew frantically. The two opponents disappeared in flashes. Tobirama attacked with kunai. Naruto blocked the attacks as best he could. Damn, his attacks leveled up. Sparks flew from the collision.